diverse analysis to the issues. We give you, the listeners, ample time to share your thoughts on the issues.
Join us from 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, Mondays to Fridays.
For Paper Trends, a paper review show you can't afford to miss. Only on Midas Radio 90.5 FM.
And it's a beautiful morning from this end to welcome you on Midas Radio 90.5 FM here in Ado Ekiti. How was your weekend? I hope you had a splendid one. We're beginning the week on a new note, and we expect that we all stay productive this week. We do what we have to do for our country to become better. Good morning and welcome on Paper Trends on Midas Radio 90.5 FM here in Ado Ekiti. Paper Trends is a paper review show to kickstart your day, where we check through the pages of the newspapers to bring you trending issues across Nigeria and beyond. We'll start by taking the headlines, and then we'll take it a step further into picking the stories one after the other with the help of our analysts. And then we also move forward to open the phone lines for you, our listeners at home, to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the first installment of Paper Trends for the week. Don't forget that you can join us live on Facebook at Midas Radio 905 to be a part of the conversation. Midas Radio 905 to be a part of the conversation. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. All right, we'll start by taking the headlines this morning, and I have with me to begin with the Punch newspaper. So many stories, so many things happened across the weekend, and we're going to be examining some of them. Governors snub 98 billion naira UBEC funds despite education crisis. You find that on page 2. Wike Block installs new NWC in Abuja, coming from the PDP convention. FCT Minister Bochi Governor Saraki Ikpeazu urged reconciliation, unity amid internal party tension. You find that on page 2 this morning. Tinubu at 74, President donates salaries to wounded soldiers' families. You find that on page 6. 2027, Kwankwaso joins ADC, Sparks Obi Alliance talk. You find that on page 22. Political titans Dangote attend El-Rufai mother's burial. You find that on page 16. U.S. cuts Nigerian crude imports by nearly 50%. You find that on page 44. These are the headlines on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Right on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, Atiku, Ribado, Obi, Amechi lead dignitaries to burial of El-Rufai's mother as Northern Governors, Kano Emir mourn. You find that on page 6. PDP convention, Wike to defectors, we've taken back PDP. You find that on page 46. We must resist one-party rule, Benga Hashim insists. You find that on page 48. Bank recapitalization raises 4.6 trillion naira as deadline expires tomorrow. Sparks a sectoral battle for allocation. Shareholders expect delayed returns. Urge cautious real sector focused development. CPPE wants banks to channel funds to SMEs, real sector to drive economic impact. You find all of that on page 11 this morning. 2027, how Kwankwaso's defection to ADC will shape polls. You find that on page 5. Obi Kwankwaso's ticket mout. Ex-Kano governor resigns from NNPP. We are excited. Move will strengthen opposition, says ADC. NNPP reacts. ADC working to adopt consensus option for 2027 presidential candidate, says Bolaji Abdullahi. You find all of that on page 5 this morning. At 74, nation's mood forced me to observe a low-key celebration, says President Tinubu. You find that on page 9. These are the headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And on the front page of the Nation newspaper, Tinubu, why my celebration is subdued majorly. That's what you would find on the front page. But we have many other stories. A federal government tightens airport security with joint screening system. Pensioners still president compel governors to clear areas. Palm Sunday, Khan Abdurazak urged Nigerians not to lose hope. State Police, National Assembly to embed accountability, curb political abuse, says Bamidele. Tinubu donates salaries to Armed Forces Welfare Fund. PDP will contest 2027 polls, says Wike. These are some of the headlines from the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, from the Daily Trust newspaper, 2027, Kwankwaso Atiku Obi join forces against President Tinubu. And also, we have individuals wishing the president a happy birthday. But we have another story here. 24 hours to deadline, some ministers yet to resign. IGP committee recommends transfer of 60% personnel to state police. All right, we have this one many feared killed as gunman hits Plateau community and Saraki, McCarthy, Lamido at Pro-Wike PDP faction convention. These are some of the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. All right, and from the Daily Post newspaper, deforestation, oil spill threaten Akwa Ibom Cross River coastal ecosystem. 10 feared killed, a score injured as gunmen invade another Plateau community. Supporting Tinubu as PDP member, not anti-party, says Fayose. All right, moving on, we have this one former Kano deputy governor, Guazel resigns from NNPP. 2027, those who defected from PDP are like Peter Obi, says Wike. 2027, Oyo Assembly Speaker Ogundoyin joins gubernatorial race. Those who rejected peace have left PDP, says Abba Moro. And Nan's crisis, student leaders reject alleged manipulation of Lagos JCC election. Plateau government imposes 48-hour curfew after deadly attack. These are some of the headlines from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. And it's time for us to start to take these issues one after the other. We are going to be joined by our analyst, and that's the person of Engineer Muyiwa Obayonju this morning to help us see through some of the issues we have right before us. Don't forget that you can still join us on Facebook at Midas Radio 905, at Midas Radio 905 to be a part of the conversation. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. All right, a very good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Esther. Good morning to our listeners. Thank you for having me this morning.
All right, let me start by saying Happy New Week to you.
Happy New Week. Thank you very much. Okay,
we will begin from what we had at the weekend with conventions from the APC and the PDP. The PDP only still ongoing to end today with a lot of excerpts from that convention. We had issues around consensus candidate. We had persons, leaders say if we have individuals arguing or kind of agitated that certain positions at the convention were made a consensus, it's because they were trying to put a party together, and those persons are just trying to destabilize the party. And from the PDP, we also had excerpts from different stakeholders, from Fayoshe to Wike, talking at the convention. And I want to begin by picking this particular one, where former Governor Ayo Fayoshe had said supporting President Tinubu as PDP member, not anti-party activity. Former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayoshe had said that backing President Bola Tinubu does not amount to anti-party activity, despite his membership of the People's Democratic Party. Speaking at the National Convention in Abuja, Fayoshe emphasized national interest above party loyalty, noting that political differences are a normal feature of democracy. And while trying to cite examples, questions were also asked on whether in Ekiti, if we have the PDP on the ballot, if the court says, okay, it's final, just like we have at the moment, okay, we have quite a lot around that. It was asked if he's going to support the candidate of the PDP in Ekiti above the sitting governor. And he said if the candidate of the PDP wants him, it would actually reach out to him. In all of this, he says there is no anti-party activity. Do you also share in his sentiments?
Thank you, Esther. I've always been saying it that I don't believe what we are having in Nigeria is political party. By going by what political party actually means, it is a set of people with a particular ideology or set of ideas on how things should be done. And that's why they come together, people of like mind that believe in a particular ideology. And that's it. So you have yours, I have mine. So those that have the same mind with me, we come together. Those that have the same ideology, they come together and say, this is the way we feel it should be run. And that is what we see in Palace, even right from the First Republic, where you are even running, where you have Action Group, you have NCNC, you have APU, you have MPU, and so on and so forth. You have MPN, PMP, UPN, PMPP, PRP, GMPP. So now it is the same thing. And when you look at their manifesto, when you look at their logos, when you look at their IDs, you know that it's different. Some believe that, the old people should be housed. Some believe that, it's agriculture. Some believe that it's education. Some believe, so now, and they come together and say, well, when you educate the people, you liberate them. Some people say, when you put house upon the heads of people, you make it better, and so on and so. But what we have now is a combination or coagulation. I don't know the word to use, of all of them put together. And that's why you couldn't see actually a politician or a party man amongst them. Maybe you have few of them that you can actually see as a party man. But others have always been seen political party as a means to an end. They have seen political party as a rescue mission for probably for their finances, probably for their ambition, and so on and so forth. So one, it doesn't happen in one, you see them go to the other. But this one, in those days that I mentioned, you see all of them. You can't have there are alliances, there are alliances, yes, there are alliances. But the alliances is party alliances, not individual alliances. So you can see NCNC say, okay, let's join with Action Group. Or you can see Action Group and say, let's join with Northern People's Union, and so on and so forth. Sure that we win party. But the ideology of individual still remains. So, but here, what do we have? We have people that are moving from one place just to achieve their own personal aim, not national interest. Not that there's an ideology. And when you look at the manifesto of all of them, it's virtually the same thing. We're going to solve education, we're going to solve power, we're going to solve education, we're going to solve this and that. And that's it. So that's exactly what's happening again. Because Fauci comes out to tell us that what he's doing now is not anti-party. Then let him tell us the real definition of anti-party. If your party's ideas is different from another party, and you leave your party to not support another party, what is that? It's anti-party by every means and standard. So, but because, the what we now have is that let's have groups, let's have people come together, let's achieve this aim, let's get the power, let's wrestle power. And that has defined all of these people put together that they say they are doing politics. So that's why I could go to that national level to now begin to say what I'm doing is not anti-party. No, it doesn't matter. Even if the president is your brother, once you join and that you didn't join the party with him, now if you begin to support him on publicly like that, nationally like that, you are doing anti-party because you are against the ideas of your party. As a matter of fact, when your party has its own candidate, you leave your candidate and begin to join forces with the candidate of that party and not telling us it's not anti-party. So what Wike is doing, what Fauci is doing, is purely anti-party. So, and there's no other one, because there are no laws in the constitution to really maybe address that. That is why now he is feeling that what I'm doing is not anti-party. But to me, it's purely anti-party. And coming to Ekiti State now, I don't know now how it's going to help Oluyede, because by the time by the time the court finally, by the time I finally put Oluyede in the register, I don't know how far she's going to do it. And don't forget that even before now, one of the Pharisees people that is talking about former Commissioner of Environment, Bisokola Wole, has come out to say he doesn't know Oluyede, that doesn't even know him to be anything. And you know all the basketballs that happened that time, that's like 2 weeks ago, between the chairman of the party and some other party stalwarts and former Commissioner of Environment. That skin is not supposed to be. When you say you belong to a party, you should be seen to be loyal to that party. But when you say you belong to a party and you're working for that party, it's pure anti-party. And it doesn't happen that I help that party. And that's the reason why you couldn't see any party stand. Maybe probably apart from APC. All of them have been having problems. In fact, I was surprised when I saw that yesterday convention, and I really give it to Wike for really organizing that convention. Not that putting the people together, but for the caliber of people that he was able to bring there. I don't know what Bakede and Bala wants to do again, because INEC were there. All the big stalwarts, Sule Lamido, Bukola Saraki, you have Shinda, you have Abba Boro, you have, in fact, there's no other names that remain, except few ones. So now, but Fauci shouldn't have gone there to make that statement. If really wants that party to stand, then you should be able to work at every level. All the people that came from different states, they should be seen, because by saying that, I don't know what the message is sending to the Ekiti delegates that were in that convention yesterday, and by extension, I don't know what message is sending to the people of Ekiti here concerning the candidacy of the party or the person of a PDP candidate that's talking of Dr. Oluyede. So it's purely anti-party. If you want to remain your party, remain. If you don't want to remain your party, fine. The law, like I said, there's no law that says you can decamp. Say today I'm now APC. So just as individuals are decamping, there's alignment and realignment. It's aligned in politics. So you can realign and say I'm no more PDP. I'm now going to APC. Everybody will now know that you are not in PDP. But taking let me not use that one. So, but we'll be in one party and working for another party is purely anti-party.
All right. As before we leave the PDP, Wike bloc installs a new NWC in Abuja. That is at their convention. And, you know, while he was given statements yesterday, he said a lot of things, but he said most importantly that the PDP is back. Can we say following this convention, the PDP is really back?
I want to believe the PDP is back, because now when you look at that convention yesterday, every state of the federation were represented. In fact, some of them you see the crowds that were there. Now, virtually the names, except Bode George, Makinde, like we are seeing him begin to do alignment. We've seen in Kano State, maybe it's going out of PDP. You know, he doesn't have anything at stake. Second time governor. Then Bala Mohammed, we have not seen if there's also speculations Bala is going to APC, though he denied it. And few other ones, maybe Turaki, the acting national chairman that's gone to court. But those people that are supposed to be there yesterday, they are there. And when you see not even one, not even two, because I saw the table of INEC officials. Yeah. I counted the number of people there, led by San. There are more than 10 different directors, 10 different members of INEC represented. In fact, they have the ballot in front of their own table there. And when you see Bukola Saraki, you see Sule Lamido, you see McAfee, you see Chinda, you see Abba Boro, you see Fayoshe, you see the former, the wife of the former Niger State governor. You see all of these people there. Then who else is not supposed to be there? And you said putting that kind of thing together. Because the question I was asking yesterday, when I was watching this, was that now the other people that are not in support. What would they now do after? Would they now override it, or would they now organize another convention? I don't know, because all the people that were saying yesterday is that others should come. that this one is a complete convention, well represented by different people. The Senate were there, House of Reps were there, the former president were there, the former governors were there, the former speakers were there, all the big wigs in the party were there, then all the state officials were represented, all the geopolitical zones of the country were represented. What else? I thought that we would not be. I thought that we have a charade of a convention, but I didn't know that it would be so well organized like this. And so I don't know. He has really tried, but he didn't put that kind of thing together. But don't forget that the national chairman has gone to court. I know in Nigeria we have a lot of frivolous injunctions. You'll be surprised that an injunction will call that convention is not and void again. Okay. And so that will not. But one thing they addressed yesterday that I was looking at their focal point is that they don't want a situation where the party will not be in the ballot. And that's why, to beat the deadline, they have to quickly put this together so that by the time it's certified by INEC, then they can have candidates for elective offices. They said no, they don't want, they are not feeding presidential, but they will have governorship candidates, they will have a senatorial candidate, a House of Rep candidate, they have House of Assembly candidates, speakers. So now all those ones were there, which means that PDP will actually be on the ballot. And going by that number you see yesterday, then it means that PDP is coming out of their coma that they have been. That's my own analysis. All
right, I have this one to add to it. Yesterday, Wike was described as the national leader of the PDP. Should we say his dream came true?
His dream is actually, and as I need to see yesterday, it was in high level yesterday.
Definitely.
And to me, I give it to him. I give it to him for single-handedly putting that kind of thing together, for reaching out to all those people in collaboration with Bukola Saraki, because for bringing Sule Lamido, I didn't know that we'll be able to bring Sule Lamido to that place, bring McAfee to that place, and all these people that I was able to bring. So now these are the people that are in the opposite faction before, and I was able to bring them together. Then I was able to organize across the state of the federation to bring those delegates there. Now you need to see them in where each of them were grouped, and you need to see where would they come from. So now it's a leader. It's a leader. It's only an acceptable leader that will be able to do that. And don't tell me he used money or whatever. Now, if somebody can give you money and somebody may not even attend to you. So now if he used money and his money is able to produce that one, then it's a leader. Some people still believe in him, and many people now in the party now feel that is it not better now, rather than not to be on the ballot, to at least join force with this man, at least rescue this party from this coma and bring him back alive, so that at least we can also have candidates, we can also have people. And don't forget, no matter what it is, some people will also want to, at least there are some states that they are source spot for PDP, despite the fact that the governors the campaign. There are some like places like Delta State where there are issues, places like Edo State, for example, and some other states of the federation where there are a lot of people they are looking for alternatives. And so when an alternative is presented, they are ready to jump up. Many of them they are not happy because now the party through which they want to express themselves is having this kind of problem. But by seeing that kind of thing yesterday and seeing them, like Saraki said, he said they called one of them and said, "Go when I see INEC people there." Now, they now said, look at INEC. They now show the table of INEC. Yeah. There are more than 10 different representatives. So what else? That means it has the stamp of the umpire. And once the umpire is there, then it is recognized. So it's a leader. I won't deceive you. Well, my opinion anyway, everybody can have different opinion. But with what he put up yesterday, it's a leader. And apart from the number, you can, when you look at the APC and PDP convention, you know that at least it's well represented, and so to the world. Because I don't believe that with the problem of PDP, you can have that kind of convention yesterday. I thought it's going to be a scanty thing. I say everybody will say, what are they doing here? But with that kind of thing yesterday, it's a leader. That one is not a title. It's something that he really deserves.
All right, let's go to another part of politics where at the weekend, Rabiu Kwankwaso from the NNPP resigned from the party, saying because of internal crisis. And there are speculations that he would be moving to the ADC, even though he had not officially come out to confirm. We have speculations here and there. There are persons saying, Kwankwasia movement is telling its other members that, okay, we are moving to the ADC. And there had been issues. Political analysts have said, this might be a real race for President Bola Tinubu. Others have said this is the real election coming to play. So do you think we might witness a Kwankwaso I don't know, a Kwankwaso alliance with the ADC. If we have a Kwankwaso alliance with the ADC, can we say the ADC can form a formidable opposition against the APC at this point in time? Even though Fayoshe also mentioned yesterday that big names do not matter at this point.
Yes, these names that we mentioned, though they command respect in political circle, but then it's all about the ability to garner support. It's about what will happen in it's about the ability of individuals to now be able to gather support, individuals to really have the structure we talk about that they have. Is the ability of individuals to be able to mobilize people for their parties, because they are individual, they are one. And don't forget, most of these people, they are siblings, their wives do not support them. Most of them one party, their children another party. Most of them one party, their children and their wives are another party. So it depends on their individual to be able to convince the people. But then I think what is happening in the ADC now is supposed to be a cause of concern for APC. Now, because why do I say that? When you look at that convention of APC, you know that there's really going to be a problem after. And what is the problem that I'm emphasizing is the problem of some people getting angry that they did not allow the people to make the choice. I have problem with consensus. My problem with consensus is that it's not always the best way to go. But APC has already been talking about this consensus. Not today. That is their own trade. That they will just pick individuals over and above somebody and say this is the person that.
I think the ADC is also considering consensus candidacy for their presidential seats.
Yeah. We're not saying they are conventional. I'm coming to ADC. I just want to start now by putting this in the side. Now, so when you look at the APC, and there's no way some people will not get angry. Now, for example, somebody, if I believe that I have the people, I have the support, that I have mobilized my people, the people love me, and so let's go to the field. I know that I'm going to defeat my opponent because of the love that the people have for me in my unit or in my ward or in my local government or probably in the state. And somebody now said, no, we're not going to do that. This is the person we are going to pick, and probably that person is not even as strong, and it's not even a very strong member, or probably that person is not a strong member, or probably that person just decamped to the party, and because of the influence of one influence or the other, you're not picking. Now, there's no way I'm going to be happy, and there's no way I want to give my total support. I see myself as being maltreated, not fairly treated. So then that's one thing that conversion. And at the end of the day, by the time they pick all the people they are picking, those people that at least felt that they have been working so hard for the party to see the party get to the point they are, they will not be happy. And so now, even though the section 77 of the new 2020 electoral law will not allow them to go to another party to seek elective offices, they may be the clog in the wheel of progress. They may be in the party and be working for others. These are the things when we talk of saboteurs. These are the things when we talk of the fifth columnists. So now, when they felt that, like Yoruba will say, if the rat will not eat the beans, then it will go to scatter it and go and cause trouble. So now they may decide there and begin to do some otherwise. So that's one thing about consensus. Now, that what am I bringing up from this? That and at the end of the day, you now see a lot of people now be feeling not happy, now trying to now begin to work for some other party. So now, like that's why I said give them to concern. Move it to ADC as we begin to see alignment and realignment from one party now. So now that ADC may benefit from that. If now at the end of the day, people that find out that after working so hard for this party, this is the way they treated me. They now went to pick somebody that just joined. They now pick somebody that's not new, or they just pick somebody that's not done much for the party. Okay, they now begin. So, but for ADC, now ADC is becoming more stronger by the day, by the caliber of people that are joining them. But then the problem that would be in ADC would be the problem of how to combine, how to select. When a football coach has a lot of good players, now the problem will not be they call it the selection, the selection formula, who is going to be the attack. They have a lot of fine attackers. You have a lot of fine midfielders. You have a lot of fine defenders. Now picking on your choice. How do you not select the best 11 out of them? And if you're not careful, you may make that mistake. That's why the fact that you have fine one, you still lose that election and that football because of your selection. So the problem now, by the time that Kokaso want to join them, there are also speculations that Makinde is coming. And Makinde said he has 10 billion already. I don't know whether for PDP or now that there's a convention and is now maybe want to join ADC. Now the problem will not be who and who is ADC going to combine? Now, you now have Kwakwaso. If you join ADC now, you now have Kwakwaso, you have Obi, you have Amechi, you have their father, Atiku Abubakar, you have, so you now have all those candidates. Maybe Makinde will still join, or Bala will join, or some other people that will still join. Now, in what form is it going to take? There's always been the question of, is ADC not formed because of Atiku? There's always been the question of, can Atiku step down for anybody? And we'll be seeing Atiku lieutenants, people like Dele Momodu, people like Dino Melaye, that saying that, Peter Obi is a fantastic person, but this one is time. Dele Momodu say, well, I think it's only Atiku that can rule. And people are, all those lieutenants that be coming on national television to now give, and they do not give us an impression that this thing is all about Atiku. But the question now is, those ones are speculations until they do their convention and now pick their candidates. So now, the combination is what's going to cause problem. But if they can have good combination, then they will give APC a run for their money. And don't forget, I've just analyzed that there will be some people in APC that will no more be happy with the party, but this their consensus candidate that they're going to pick. So now, they may now want to work for ADC, or they want to decamp to ADC. So these are the issues that's on ground. People, a lot of people will still come into ADC, but the selection, the obedience are rooting for B. The Northerners are rooting for, the Northerners now, they want to take the power back because they know this is what they are bargaining for. And with what is happening now with the APC government, I'm sure they will be taking of that. And when you see some of their leaders talk, you know that they are saying this is not what we bargained for. A lot of things that have been our exclusive right is not being taken away from us. So the best now is to look for a candidate, number one, that will, and this one is not as if they said it, but this is their intention, that has been their intention, to look for a candidate that will do their bidding. It's since 1999, the Northerners have always been putting every candidate on paper to say that this and this and this is what we're going to do. And that's why since Obasanjo, every administration has been favoring them in terms of everything until now. That you now see a lot of dismantling, a lot of geopolitical zones, a lot of South Development Commission, Northeast Development Commissions, a lot of state policing and tax, and that doesn't all go well. The returning central bank from Abuja back to Lagos, a lot of restructuring that is going on. It's not what they are bargaining for. Also, because of that, they are now looking for somebody that will do their bidding. That if they can see that in Obi, or they still believe that the Turaki Adamawa is the one that will do it for them. And Atiku himself still believe that if Obasanjo can leave, drop the military uniform and become civilian, if Buhari can drop civilian uniform, I also can also do it. I have money like they have money. What is stopping me? So it's still that I can still become the president. So using this sentiment of insecurity and every other thing is a very strong force for them to use. But like I said, it's going to be based purely on the selection process, the combination of the president and the vice, Is it Obi against Kwakwaso? Is it Atiku against Kwakwaso? Is it Atiku combined with Amechi? And don't forget, the people of River State have said that we fully support our own and we're ready to back him. Amechi has money, 8-time speaker, 8-year speaker, 8-year governor, 8-year minister. I'm not sure there's anybody that can contest with in terms of finances. He has enough clout. And I don't forget that Atiku has always been doing one thing, always been looking for the bony backs to finance the political campaign. That's why I went and dumped Wike to pick Okowa. At that time, he knows that what is going to Delta State at that time is about 38 billion at a fact allocation every month. And Dr. Okowa, then it was alleged that he used all the money to sponsor PDP. So it's not going to be, if it's Atiku that's the presidential candidate, the vice will depend on the person that's ready to muscle that wheat to bring money. And like people like Peter Obi that say, I know they spend shishi, that would be against him. So it's a lot of calculation. But what we are saying now is alignment and realignment. And now the truth is coming out with the convention. There's a timeline between now, there's a window between now and a particular time, maybe the end of May, that each people have to do their convention. Now APCA is done. The PDP will be done today. Now maybe ADC now will be the next. So and these are the three major ones. Probably we'll see Labour. So it is there that we can now see that now begin to do the real analysis of what can probably things that can happen in 2027.
All right, let me just move away from politics at this point and come to this story on the Daily Post newspaper, where Ohaneze Ndigbo had said it's a miracle how former President Buhari's death ended herdsmen crisis in Southeast. Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization Ohaneze Ndigbo has declared that since former President Muhammadu Buhari left office and following his demise in 2025, the southeast region has not recorded any incident of herdsmen attack. Ohaneze said the sudden and remarkable decline in the activities of suspected herdsmen militias in the southeast region is nothing short of a miracle, one that has provided conclusive evidence that this group were in all likelihood a state-sponsored terrorist during the administration of the late former president. Let me stop there. I think we will not be restricting this to the southeast alone. We want to look at other parts, other regions of the country about herdsmen attack. They are trying to say that ever since the former president left office, there had been a reduction in herdsmen attack, even though we still have issues of insecurity in some areas and the other. What do you think they are trying to say at this time?
Truly, when you look at the activities of Miyetti Allah Kota during the reign of Buhari, they are so powerful. As a matter of fact, I think there was a time that they were given about 100 billion. You know, there are a lot of moves by the then president to really settle them. When he was talking about ranching, what they call it, the route. They said you should be tracing the route. There was time we put it to the state that each of the states should provide land for ranching. They're going to, and every state said, no, we don't want that. And no, to me, I don't want to believe totally that it's the demise of the president, but the creation of livestock, Ministry of Livestock, the Ministry of Livestock, talking to the Miyetti Allah Kota to the fact that you have to, with what happens everywhere in the world is what can happen here. Now, fine, you are a farmer, everybody's also a farmer, but the federal government has created a ministry for you now to make everything available for you. So now, we are going to create ranching for you. Now we're going to put all the facilities for there at the other place. And so that's number one. Number two, and that area is that, sometimes when you have a sponsor, when they say when somebody's father is around, you see the child misbehaving because he knows that there's nothing you can do to me. My father is here to defend me. But when your father is not around, you start behaving yourself because all the things that you have done when your father was there, that everybody's looking at you, they cannot put everything together on your head and make you suffer. So now when they see the body language of Mr. President, then former President Muhammadu Buhari supporting them, giving them every kind of support, that's why you see all of them now coming out. You see all the presidents of Miyetti Allah then always coming out to talk. In fact, it was even putting him out in national discourse, national policies. But now and then you find out that the person that is there is not Buhari, and that there is a Ministry of Livestock Development. So I think that is why all those ones went down. And talking about the issue of Southeast is not majorly, though. Then cattle areas are part of the problem, but they are probably their own. The problem of Southeast then was the issue of unknown gunmen. Now that is being mantled now. So much of their problem is not more of a cattle of this issue of herdsmen, but the issue of unknown gunmen, which is the make of their own people by Nnamdi Kanu. What's the name of this one? Samuel Ekpa. Now then they were staying abroad to now put up from iPod that metamorphosed to MSN, and later of things now have unknown government until now that they are being dismantled gradually by, I think their leader, for the name of this person that just be arrested. And with what Soludo is doing in Anambra State, the law that says that anyone, if they know that you are a herbalist, or I don't know what they call them there, the priest, juju priest, they're going to dismantle your shrine, arrest you. So that one has put pay to some of these things, and with the operation that is going there already. So that one is reducing. Now the people are now heave a sigh of relief that by the opening of their market on Monday, how many trillions of naira they have lost. So now that they are coming out on Monday, and there are forces that are backing up. And then with Soludo's policy, when they discover that you are a Yahoo boy, they're going to destroy your house. They discover that you are a government, they're going to destroy. So all those ones are the ones that is working for them. So it's a combination of factors, not only what they call it, herdsmen attack alone. Herdsmen is part of it. And the same thing for this herdsmen is going on in every part of the country. You find out that the incursion of herdsmen into farms, even in places like Itikiti here and other parts of the country, has totally reduced because we have Ministry of Livestock, and also because now the power they wield that because of the president in power is no more there. So they have to also back down. And so the only thing we have now It's the terrorist that's coming from the Sahel that's coming to terrorize Nigeria. And that one too has internal sponsor. I will continue to say, without internal sponsor, it wouldn't have been able to do like that. There are a lot of action that government has put in place that have been frustrated by the saboteurs of these internal people that are the one benefiting from it, that are the one sponsoring it. And until government reel out names, until maybe the president is waiting for a second time, he doesn't want to truncate his agenda, but until government reel out these names and begin to call it out in public and say these are the names of the sponsor, I begin to arrest them. But I know, just like what they call it, the harassment is going down now. If the president take the bull by the horn, naturally it will fizzle out without even much problem that is going to cause them. But because the people that are still sponsoring them are the one giving them information, giving them intelligence, they are the one giving them the money, giving them arms and ammunition. Now, if these names are there or these people are arrested, then by the time you stop the issue of repentant terrorists, repentant all these people, they are not repentant, then you go all out for them. Then you find out that it also go down completely. I've seen the second time, and if the president comes in, I'm seeing the second time of now this thing going down completely, because by that time there will not be need to be requesting for the help of individuals. Then you'll be able to take the book by the horn and be able to solve it. But again, I'm saying a situation that if the president did not return and a weak person returns, I don't want to be let me not be a bad negative, let me not give negative prophecy. But if Nigeria did not vote well, then the whole thing may come back to square one. But I don't hope that will happen. So that's why we just need to, as we monitor, we also begin to pray that Nigeria gets it right in 2027.
All right, then let me take this final one quickly before we open the phone lines, where the Nigerian Communications Commission has directed mobile network operators to compensate subscribers in areas where network quality falls below prescribed standards. They said affected users will receive airtime credits calculated based on their average spending patterns and their presence within local government areas where service failures occur. Is this visible?
I think I'm not sure that the fine given to MTN in 2020, is it 2023 now or 2024, to pay some certain amount of money because of their default. They said they refused to pay it. And government did not do anything about it. You see, these people have become a clog in the way, and it's not their fault. You see, there's nowhere in the world where you have investors in the country, there's no control mechanism. Government must have a control. That time when all these people are coming in 2001, when the GSM operation is coming down to Nigeria in 2001, the government in Southwest wanted to put a control mechanism by wanting to establish their own net. But because of saboteurs, because of greed, because of covetousness, now you now say they use the MTN came there and bought all the strong men that want to make O-Net operate. Now O-Net will be the one determining the price, because there will be competition between government own and the private own, but they destroy it. Now, in a situation where these people are the only the one providing internet access, provided the communication system for us, then why would they not be doing all this? But I think that Nigeria has its own communication satellite that is providing internet access at a very small amount of money, very low cost. Then everybody will have been discarding them. They will not be able to do this. The same way it goes for the digital television, where Nigeria cannot invest in digital television. We now have South Africa coming here to now begin to increase tariffs every month because they don't have competition. It's the competition that drives this. Everybody that's talking about Dangote and say they are becoming monopoly, less one or two people also establish refinery. You find out that there will be favorable competition, positive competition, and the people will enjoy it. But especially where it is only these GSM operators that are the one providing internet access. It's only Nigeria that only GSM they are using to do government business, and that's why it's even risky. And that's why tapping or no tapping is very easy. So now we expect Nigeria to have launched a satellite or get some other people to bring this thing for us, so that once there's competition, they'll be able to do it. But then all this thing that NCC is saying, it doesn't hold water. They are just they are part of it, just like Electricity Regulation Commission, ERC. That they are the ones who supporting all these discourse, where they are supposed to regulate them. So to me, I don't see that coming to fruition, because they will not be able to give. And by the time they even want to give you, they will just give you. They say want to give you 5 minutes extra, and that 5 minutes, you call somebody like this, prayer is done. So even if they say they give you 10 gig, they know how to manipulate your 10 gig. That within a call, they told the whole 10 within one browse, the whole 10 gig is gone. I think the government really need to be strong, and government is not monitoring these agencies to ensure that they carry out their duty effectively, like the Electricity Regulation Commission. How can we allow DISSECT to be charging estimated billing, whereas the law says they should meter every house? How do you expect an individual community to be purchasing their own transformer, purchasing everything, whereas the duty of this DISSECT to put transformer where they are developments? So, but they will not do that. Even when you complain to them, they have actually nothing they are going to do. And these people know that they are not going to do anything. Probably there's a rebate that is going to them. This is Nigeria. And until there's an enforcement to ensure that the agencies perform their duty optimally, it's never begin to see this. Or else they will just make that announcement and there's nothing that will come out of it.
All right, it's time for us to take this conversation home this morning, and the numbers to call are 0704 100 1905 or 0915 090 5905. You can drop your comments on Facebook at Midas Radio 905. Hello. Hello. Oh, that's from your end. Hello, good morning. You can do well to call us back. Nibot Olushola on Facebook says, let's wait till 2027 and see how many governors, senators, those big wigs that Wiki will produce. Let's pick this one. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your name? All right, talk to us, Mr. Ayotunde.
Okay. About the convention head by the PDP, the person of Wiki. As the engineer was just praising the Wiki, the leader, he tried, he's able to call these people, they attend. All those that attended that convention, they are the people already in APC who just have not declared themselves openly.
You
because
think so?
The way UK is doing, destroy his own party to give way for APC. Is it a normal something? And he's telling them that the PDP will not have a presidential candidate. And they are still following him. So it means those people are already APC. Because UK, one leg is APC, one leg is PDP. What kind of politics is that?
All right.
So I don't need to praise him. He's not a leader at all. He doesn't try for anything.
All right. Thank you for your own opinion right there. He feels Wike is not a leader in its real sense. Opinions are his anyways. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Ola from Italy.
All right, Mr. Ola.
Yeah, let me comment on the issue of the PDP convention. Look, before the convention itself, the former governor of Ekiti State, two-time governor, Ayo Fayose, who is one of the PDP chieftains and an ally of Wike, was brought to Channel Television. He was saying it categorically that it's in support of the Ahmed Tinubu, the president. So, if somebody like that, who is an ally of Wike, and Wike has categorically said it numberless of times that is supporting Ahmed Tinubu. So, if he's telling us that those people that left his party with their mandate to another party, that they are going to collect their mandate, it's just rhetoric. So the convention is more or less an actualization of their support for another mandate for Tinubu. Good morning.
Thank you for your own opinion right there. Good morning, Midas and Engineer Obayanjo. Whether Wike organized a good convention or not, Nigerians should not look their way even in 2031. Together with his junior partner, Fayose, they believe they are wiser than the rest of us. And with Fayose's romance with Pibat and Bao, I still desire to know the true meaning of anti-party activity. Ola from Ire Ekiti. Let's pick this call. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Olukunle Alaketo. I'm calling from Adoki.
All right. Talk to us.
I commend Engineer Obayanjo for his analysis. But the way I see things, maybe is different from the way others see it.
Let's have you quickly.
Nigeria is not working as a country. That's the way I see the whole
at the macro level. And that's the way I see it. Nigeria is not working as a country. Then why are we forcing ourselves to be a country when we are not a country?
Wow.
That's the problem now. Everybody now
yes,
they are
country.
saying, okay, now we have the entire political system gravitating to one party state. No meaningful opposition. Opposition is even campaigning for the ruling party.
We have oppositions
so where
now.
do we go from here? That's my question now.
All right. I think of the first thing I will be answering from there is, as far as we know, Nigeria is a country, and not just a country, a sovereign one at that. Secondly, we have oppositions. You might feel they are not formidable enough, but we have oppositions. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is Mommy Funke for
All right.
God bless Nigeria. And the glory of this country will surely be restored, whether the devil likes it or not. Nigeria is a country, my country. To stop degrading this our country. Well, let me talk about Kwankwaso. You know, when Kwankwaso came back, it's because of the dethronement of the emir of Kano by Danjuje. So his party restored him back. That is why he came back. Kwankwaso movement in Kano, it has been scattered ever before this time. So as he is leaving that place now, let's sit in the limbo, waiting for the dice to roll. I wish them the best of luck. The PDP should put their hands together. Whether it's wicked or it's not wicked, let them come together and be one. Okay, now they are conducting a convention. Some people stay out. So when those people that cannot even put their house in order, it's those people that will be ruling. Anyway, they may be ruling the country that is different from our dear country, Nigeria. Good morning.
Thank you for your own opinion right there. Oludare Williams says, good morning. All these headsmen in the southeast has lost their stay. They cannot bully any state or region again because their leader, former president, well, I can't say their leader, former President Muhammadu Buhari was a president for the whole Nigeria. He said power has shifted, that's why. Well, your opinion. Hello. All right, that from your end, Dr. Maule Barra says, good morning. In the life of any nation, there comes crucial moments. Leaders take decisive actions aimed at salvaging their people from impending disaster. Let them take actions that will raise Nigeria higher than its status of a nation endemic with corruption. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good morning to you.
Thank you. I'm Paulon from Nigeria.
All right, sir.
Now, concerning this PDP issue, sentiments don't solve problems. Emotions don't even solve problems too. Those people are saying, UK is this. You may not like UK, but for me, UK is principled. Now, if you see the people who attended that convention yesterday, we know that they are all in that PDP. It is now left for the PDP itself, either right or left, to put their heads together and become one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your opinion right there. Engineer Bayojo will need to leave on the show this morning.
Okay, Nigeria is a country, a sovereign state at that, the giant of Africa. No matter politics we are playing, let us start playing this kind of politics. Nigeria is a nation. Every country has its own time of challenges. Some are even passing through their own. You never see their citizens come out to begin to malign their nation because of politics. Nigeria is a sovereign state, sovereign nation, and it's a country that God has blessed. No matter our challenges, we are going to surmount it. We are going to move over it. The glory of this country will also be restored, I believe. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, Paper Trends returns tomorrow by 8 in the morning, rather 7:30 in the morning. We can't pick any more calls at the moment. The Paper Trend returns tomorrow by 7:30 in the morning. Join me by 10 a.m. this morning as we discuss the convention in real-time statements that came out from there and what to expect ahead of us, ahead of the 2027 general election. I am Esther ISAH. I'm asking you to have a productive day ahead. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
The submissions and opinions on this show are exclusively those of the analysts and the presenters. They do not represent the position of the station. Thank you.
Let's turn it up. This is Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled entertainment non-stop.
The grass is greener on the other side. That's what I thought before I took the ride. I burned my bridges so I'd never look back. But if I had known the life I was searching for was looking me right in the eye, oh. If I had known the life I was searching for was already my own.
Yọ bí ọjọ́ ó lalẹ̀ bí òṣùmàrè Midas Radio 90.5 FM ládó Èkìtì gbangba kedere ló yọ.
máa gbọ́ bó ṣe ń ṣẹ́wẹ́lẹ́ sí mi létí tó ń dùn mí ní jọjọ. Midas Radio 90.5 FM Midas Radio 90.5 FM Àdó Èkìtì máa yí kúrò ń bẹ̀ jọ. Filẹ̀.
ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí láti rí aṣùmágòkè sí torí bí gíga láyé tèmi ó ṣíwájú pé ta láǹtakùn bá kú láti bí dédò ó máa tún takùn lọ dádó wàdó àwáyé àtúnwá tàwé lọ.
nítorí pé I declare myself to be blues for life torí pé mo kọrin bákà wọn.
sí àṣẹmù ẹ̀yin bákà ẹ̀ lọ jókòó ẹ ti ṣe tán àsìkò yìí ti tán ẹ lọ jókòó. Messi ọtí wọ́n ìwà lónìí ẹ̀ everybody náà gbádùn náà ni ẹ̀yin ti máa ń yù ọwọ́ yìí dà ṣẹ́wà ń bẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ti máa ń City ẹ̀yin ò pọ̀ Nàìjíríà náà ẹ̀ pọ̀ ẹ̀kan wà lókè ni ìwọ nìkan ló wà ń bí. Liverpool ṣẹ́wà ń bẹ̀ Liverpool ṣẹ́wà ń bẹ̀ Chelsea. Ọjọ́ wa ń kó bò yín lẹ́nu jẹ́ mẹ́ta báyìí kí ló ṣe yín lè gba báńkò back ni kí ló ṣe yín ok oya all blue the sky is blue ok na ó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ o ṣe brother mi kò ní bàjẹ́.
Bismillahi mo ti dé mo ti dé.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Emma Gbadun Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Mo gbé wọn handicap. Mo kọ́kọ́ gbé ngogo kò lọ. Mo gbé 1.5 kò work. Mo sá ní 2.5.
Of Chelsea, one goal. Done it, yes! Fire in the forest belly.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Emma Gbadun Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó Gàràtàn.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Emma Gbadun Ọ̀túnba Sport tó Gàràtàn.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó gara tán.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó gara tán.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó gara tán.
Ọ̀túnba Sport tó gara tán.
Ọ̀túnba Sports tó gara tán.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ẹ máa gbádùn Ọ̀túnba Sport tó gara tán.
àtúnjẹ́ a máa kíra wa lóní pálántó kí òjò pálámi ọkà yọ́làlà àgbàdàgbèrèsọ tó fẹ́ mọ̀ gbàgbé agbógiri wo ṣe tán ajé ọmọ gbàjàkadì nìyẹn o kèé jọ́ni lọ́wọ́ kó jọ́ni lẹ́nu òkèlè bí yẹn sanwó ẹ má fọkàwé yẹn kó jọra wọn. apá bílà ti fetí kọ ìròyìn eré ìdárayá eléyìí tó kọjá wọn ni wọn pé ìta ti pé ìrántí pé ọlọ́run lókè òdòwọ́ rẹ̀ àjẹ́ pé kọ́gọ́kọ́gọ́ lòun agọ́gọ́ dúgbẹ́dúgbẹ́ ní takèrègbè kò wá sí bákèrègbè ṣe lè tóbi tó akẹrẹgbẹ́ olè lòun àgógó ní gbogbo bí ẹtí láǹfààní àti mọ́ fetí kó gbogbo johnson junction gbogbo ilé epo sílé epo ọ́fíìsì gbogbo ọ̀nà kàrà gbòòrò márùwá gbogbo bí ẹtí rédíò ìsókè lálá tẹ́fẹ́ kọ́mọkọ́mọ lógo ti wọ̀ online gbogbo ọbẹ̀ láti kéyẹn kó ojúmọ́ mọ́ torí pé bójúmọ́ bá mọ̀ ọ̀yẹ́là tí ṣèyà ojúmọ́ àjẹ́ pójúmọ́ tó máa lónìí ojúmọ́ owó ojúmọ́ tó máa lónìí ojúmọ́ ọmọ ojúmọ́ tó máa lónìí àìkú tí ṣe bá lé ọ̀rọ̀ kúlùkùlù sẹ́ òjò òròyìn fẹ́ mọ́ ti balùwẹ̀ wẹsẹ̀ wọ̀wọ̀ afẹ́fẹ́ lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ omi rògbò ẹ̀fúùfù lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ omi rọ̀sà èmi ò ní pọ́yún inú kó jẹ̀dọ̀ yẹ èmi àti yíta jọlẹ̀ pọ̀ àfi bí ike tó bọ́nu ná mo ti ṣe tán mo fẹ́ mọ jẹ́rìlẹ̀ tìbí àpò ẹ̀wà ó yẹ ẹjẹ́ mọ jẹ́rìlẹ̀ èyẹ bí àpò yèrè mo tún ti ṣe tán ẹjẹ́ mọ rẹ́lulẹ̀ lóní kọ́ngbẹ́kọ́ngbẹ́ àfi bí ẹ̀ bá fọkàn nìyẹn o ìròyìn eré ìdárayá eléyìí tí ò lákòófin sàákò nílé yẹ mọ́ fi wé bàtà yan ẹgbẹ́ ta ní ọ̀fàdé gbẹ́nàkú rẹ̀ omi àgbàrá fojú jọ tí èwo nù yín ló fẹ́ fi jẹ búrẹ́dì lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ bólúwa ò fàkọ́lé ITC west lásán ó làwọn bírékìlẹ̀ yà ń ṣe o bólúwa bákọ̀ tí ó pàdé má akitiyan ọlọ́pàá bá ń ṣàṣọjà àti tàwọn àmọ̀tẹ́kọ̀ àfi bí ìgbà téèyàn ṣeré ọwọ́ lásán àjẹ́ pé sọlọ́run àtàbò rẹ̀ olómùká wà láyé ẹjẹ́ àpanupọ̀ ká sọ pé àánú rẹ̀ dúró títí láláì alihamdulilayi kẹsìrà ó dá olóko gbogbo àwọn oníwàwá eléyìí tó kọ mí làlàbẹ̀làbẹ̀ ìgbà arúmọlẹ̀ tààjọ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láfiṣe tí ó fi dùn tí gbogbo òfin kan sí tó tún fi máa jẹ́ lágbára gbẹdọ̀ ní gbídíṣẹ́ náà yẹ ròdòdò èyí lóòrọ̀ tó nínú yẹn o lórúkọ president general wa bàmí káyọ̀dé olúṣẹ́nìrè àgbáwo tí ń gbàtẹ́gùn lórí transformer olúwaṣe tó tọpẹ́ fún mi báyọ̀dé williamsa adélé ọ̀gá àgbà èyí níkànnì tá a wà nìyẹn o lórúkọ ẹnjìnì adébáyọ̀ àyọ̀bánẹ adarí ẹ̀ka tó mọ́tò gbogbo oníṣẹ́ eléyìí tá a fi ń gbòòsà tẹ́gàn èyí níkànnì alárùbáríkà yìí àti lórúkọ gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó ń ta àwọn sàábé eléyìí tá a jọ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ lónìí lórúkọ gbogbo wọn ó ní mò ń kí yín káàbọ̀ èyí sórí ètò lórí ọ̀dọ̀ Midas òní lọ́jọ́ ajé ọgbọ̀njọ́ nínú oṣù kẹta ọdún 2026 nìyẹn o àràjẹlò àràjẹjẹ o à ń jáde lọ́nu ayé lọ ṣe rere lónìí gbogbo ohun tí a bá dáwọ́lé ọlọ́wọ́ bá mi àláwọ̀ àbí yóò jẹ́ oyọrí sí rere èyí lọ́ọ̀dẹ nìkan kan wà nìyẹn o ṣé kí n mọ̀tàn yẹn bá a ti ń lọ lónìí a jáde pẹ̀lú àlàáfíà ara a ní wọlé gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláàbọ̀ ara àkú o aláfẹ́rakù ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lọ adẹ̀kú àmójúbọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ tó tọ́ ó yẹ pàápàá ẹ máa bọ̀ lójú òpó Facebook at Midas Radio 905 at Midas Radio 905 ẹ gbọ́ ní ìwọlé sápá bẹ̀ ẹ láìkẹ́ ẹ kọ́mẹ̀ntì ẹ wá lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣí ara ẹ jẹ́ lọ́kọ́dé klamàkì ẹ jẹ́ dé gbogbo bí wọ́n ti dá wa ma níbo làwọn àtẹ̀mẹ́ wà ó yẹ ẹ gbọ́ ní ìwọlé lápá bẹ̀ at Midas Radio 905 ẹ lọ lùbẹ̀ yẹn pàbíbà ẹ ṣí ara ẹ kọ́mẹ̀ntì ẹ wá lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti láìkẹ́ ó yẹ pàápàá ẹ jẹ́ lọ kàròyìn ẹ torí ìbá méjì kọ́ àdébí ẹ̀yẹ̀ mọ́ sí àjọlẹ̀ ó ní Yorùbá pẹ̀lú wọn lápá bẹ̀ àìsè rẹ̀mẹ̀ mẹ́lòmẹ́kún lè tọ̀ ọ̀túnba bernard fagbemiro ó dídí ọmọ nọ́mbà wà náà ó yẹ ẹ̀jẹ̀ agbéra torí ìbá méjì kọ́ èròyìn yapa yásìkì ló rọ̀ tò ní kọ́ńdà wọn bá àbí fàkókò gbà wá ó yapa pàpà níbo ni wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ èyí lápá àmẹ́yẹ nìyẹn o ẹjẹ́ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti orílẹ̀-èdè ti Botswana èyí nílùú Gaborone ibẹ̀ yẹn lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó ní wọ́n ti láǹfààní láti máa kópa èyí tí a bá ń sọ nípa ìdíje ti fi ẹ̀yẹ tẹ̀lé sísá níbi wọ́n ti láǹfààní láti gbà èyí tíkẹ̀tì àti lọ kópa nínú ìdíje ti nínú díje Commonwealth Games eléyìí tó máa wáyé èyí nínú oṣù kejì ọdún tá a wáyé sẹ́kì mọ́tò yẹn tó bá ti di ní ọjọ́ kẹta títí di ọjọ́ karùn-ún oṣù kẹrin ọjọ́ yẹn gangan ó lọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó ní wọ́n láǹfààní àti máa kópa èyí nínú díje ti qualifier nìyẹn o níbi táwọn eléré sísá ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà èyí tíkẹ̀tì àti lọ kópa nínú díje ti ife ẹ̀yẹ ti Commonwealth Games gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìròyìn eléyìí tó tún alọ́wọ́ tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ èyí lápá ti bẹ̀ àwọn eléré ìdárayá tí wọ́n máa ṣojú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti gbéra wọ́n ti balẹ̀ èyí sí lo Gabon náà èyí ṣáájú ìdíje yẹn nìyẹn wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà lápá bẹ̀ àjọ tó mọ́tò rẹ̀ sísá ìyẹn lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Athletic Federation of Nigeria àwọn àti àjọ tó mọ́tò rẹ̀ ìdárayá èyí National Sport Commission àwọn méjèèjì ti jọ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ èyí lánàá nìyẹn o abala mẹ́fà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ òun lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà òun ni wọ́n ti máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kópa èyí tí a bá sọ nípa ìdíje kò mẹ́sẹ̀ yóò tani lọ kópa nínú òfin ẹ̀yẹ tilẹ̀ nínú òfin ẹ̀yẹ ti Commonwealth Games eléyìí tó máa wáyé èyí nínú ọdún tí àwáyé kankan nìyẹn ó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá ìlú Gabon ní èyí lórílẹ̀-èdè Botswana ó ní wọ́n ti láǹfààní láti máa kópa èyí lápá ti bẹ̀yẹn nìyẹn ó yẹ pàápàá ó dínú díje bọ́ọ̀lù aláfigigbá èyí lórí tábìlì ìdíje table tennis ó yẹ bó ló ṣe wà èyí lápá bẹ̀ ìdíje ti 2026 ITTF World Cup eléyìí tó máa wáyé èyí ní Macau lórílẹ̀‐èdè China ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ èyí tó bá ti di ọ̀gbẹ̀jọ́ èyí nínú oṣù tá a wáyé òní òde yìí gángan òun ló máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ èyí lápàbẹ̀ lánàá wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti yí koto bí wọ́n ti kojú ara wọn èèyàn nínú ìdíje yẹn nìyẹn o ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Quadri Haruna ó tún máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kópa èèyàn nínú ìdíje ti 2026 ITTF World Cup eléyìí tó máa wáyé èèyàn ní Macau lórílẹ̀-èdè China ṣé kí n mọ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹn tó bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lónìí ó di ọjọ́ karùn-ún oṣù kẹrin ọdún tí àwọn àánú rẹ̀ yé èèyàn April 5 kó tó di pé máa parí èèyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ pápápá Haruna Quadri òun ló máa ṣojú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà èèyàn lápá ti bẹ́ẹ̀ òun àtọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Croatia èyí Tommy Slatmuka àwọn méjèèjì ó ní wọ́n jọ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kojú ara wọn tó bá kojú bukata òun àti Sora Matsusima àwọn méjèèjì náà ti kojú ara wọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Japan ó nìyẹn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ méjèèjì eléyìí tí Quadri Haruna tó máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kọ́kọ́ já èyí nínú ìdíje yẹn nìyẹn o bọ́ bá wà tẹ̀sọ́wọ́ wájú àjẹpọ̀ tó máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti tún máa ṣe dáadáa lọ èyàn lápá tilẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìròyìn eléyìí tó tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ èyàn lánàá Haruna Quadri wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti pẹ́ òun àti Tommy Slatmuka àti Sora Matsusima àwọn méjèèjì òun ni wọ́n jọ kojú ara wọn èyàn nínú díje ti fi ẹ̀yẹ ti dàgbà láyé tí a bá ń sọ nípa àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù èyàn lórí tábìlì nìyẹn ó yẹ pàápàá Omar Azar ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Egypt òun ti wà nínú ìpín ẹlẹ́ẹ̀karùn-ún òun ni wọ́n pín sí lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ òun àtọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè ti Algeria èèyàn Mehdi Boulouza àtọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Japan ní yúnyú àwọn méjèèjì yẹn òun ni wọ́n jọ kojú ara tiwọn èèyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ sí àwọn ará ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Algeria èèyàn Stephane Ouache òun máa kojú ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè France Simon Gauze àti ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè China Wen Rulo bí wọ́n ti kojú ara wọn èèyàn lápá ti bẹ̀yẹ nìyẹn èèyàn tí a bá sọ nípa ìdíje ti fi ẹ̀yẹ ti ilẹ̀ àgbáláyé fáwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù tó ń gbá bọ́ọ̀lù èèyàn bọ́ọ̀lù aláfigigbá lórí tábìlì ó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá ó ní mo jẹ́ àyíntàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ pàápàá ẹ jẹ́ ń gbéra lọ́dún díje ẹ̀sẹ̀ kíkan Moses Tauma ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó ń kẹ̀ ẹ̀sẹ̀ fúnlẹ̀ Britain ó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣe dáadáa èyàn lójú àbámẹ́ta ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mo jẹ́ àyíntàn bẹ́ẹ̀ nílùú Manchester èyàn lójú àbámẹ́ta nìyẹn o ìjà kan máa wáyé láàrin Moses Tauma àti Jamie Franklin ṣé kí n mọ̀tọ̀ yẹn ìjà yẹn ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wáyé èyàn ò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ti wádìí ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ mẹ́rìnlá eléyìí tí Moses Tauma tó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jà kò dẹ̀ láǹfààní láti fìdí rẹmi èyàn nínú kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ torí pé lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọmọ ọdún mọ́kànlélógún yẹn ó padà fẹ̀yìn Jam Franklin ó padà fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀jẹ̀lẹ̀ èyàn lọ́kàtì bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé kí n mọ̀tọ̀ yẹn abalẹ̀ ẹlẹ́ni mẹ́fà èyàn Francis Gaga òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀jẹ̀lẹ̀ sí èyàn ò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni tó wá jí ààrẹ èyàn fún àjọ tó mójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ́ kíkà lágbàláyé mò ń sọ nípa Gustavo Olivieri ti ṣàlàyé oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ tí a bá ń sọ nípa ọmọ tó gbóúnjẹ fẹ́gbẹ́ tó gbàwó bọ̀ èyàn lábalẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ́ kíkà ní sáà tí àsìkò tá a wáyé ó ní ẹgbẹ́ fún Moses Tauma torí pé ọmọ yẹn ó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ èyí ò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà táwọn oníròyìn tí wọ́n gbé súnmọ́ Tauma pé ó dà bó ló ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ tún ti jẹjà lórí eléyìí ẹ ti fẹ̀yìn Jamie Franklin ẹ tún ti fẹ̀yìn tiẹ̀ náà jẹlẹ̀ Moses Tauma ní ẹ wò ẹ ṣáàjà mọ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ó nítorí ibà méjì kan ó ní sẹ́ ẹ̀ríjẹ eléyìí ó ló mú òun lómi gan ni o ó ní ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn ó ti padà lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀jẹ̀lẹ̀ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó wá kò tá a nìjà tó kù eléyìí tí mo sì ti tàwọn máa tó máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jà ẹjẹ́ àfojúlédè káàdì máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wò ó bó ṣe máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jẹ́ èyí lápá tibẹ̀ yẹn ó dínú díje ti UFC èyí ẹ̀díje ìpá títa ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Israel Adesanya òun náà wà lórí ọ̀tàn èyí lóye òpin ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a lò tán nìyẹn o òun àti Joe Pifa àwọn méjèèjì kojú ara wọn lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn nínú ìjà tó wáyé lálẹ́ ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta Joe Pifa ó padà fẹ̀yìn Israel Adesanya ó fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀jẹ̀lẹ̀ èyí lápá abẹ̀yẹn ọmọ ọdún mẹ́rìndínlógójì ó ní Israel Adesanya èyàn lásìkò tá a wà nìyẹn o lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó fìyà paná sọ́wọ́ Joe Pifa ó ti wádìí ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ mẹ́rin léra wọn eléyìí tí Israel Adesanya tó máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fìdí rẹmi èyàn àdénù díje ti UFC nìyẹn o ó ti pàdánù èèyàn sọ́wọ́ Strickland ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn ó pàdánù sọ́wọ́ Draco Duplessis ó di méjì àbí bákan náà ó ní Nasruddin Imavov òun náà tó fìyà jẹ ó di mẹ́ta ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin lélẹ̀ tó pàdánù èèyàn sọ́wọ́ Joe Pifa lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ àwọn oníròyìn wọ́n wá lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti bílẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní yẹsà ṣé ẹ máa fẹ̀yìntì ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ mẹ́rin lẹ pàdánù ẹ jáwé olúborí kankan ẹ jẹ́ lọ fẹ̀yìntì lápá bẹ Israel Adesanya ní kí bẹ bọ́lọ̀hún bá ti rìtáyà wọn kéèyàn kankan má fẹnu rìtáyà tó wo owó òṣètò bó tilẹ̀ wó mọ́ láti fẹ̀yìntì èyí lásìkò tá a wáyé oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ bọ́mọdé bá ṣubú àwọ̀ wájú bàgbà bá ṣubú àwọ̀ ẹ̀yìn wò ó ní tó kù lọ́rọ̀ tòun báyé ó ní púpọ̀ òun òbí tó ti ṣubú kó ń dẹ̀ lọ sí àtúnṣe èyí sápá tibẹ̀ nìyẹn ó ní tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ èyí lásìkò gangan nìyẹn ó yẹ pápá kó ń bẹ̀ yẹn inú díje tí eré ìdárayá bọ́ọ̀lù ọlọ́fìgídá lórí ilẹ̀ ìyẹn tẹ́nísà ẹgbẹ́ sáré múrò yẹn wá torí pé lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ìdíje Miami Open ó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá sópin ìdíje Miami Open ti parí ìyẹn lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ nìyẹn ó yábọ̀ wọn ti lura wọn sí ìyẹn nínú ìdíje yẹn Yannick Sinner òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà ìyẹn ìdíje tí abala àtàwọn ọkùnrin òun àti táwọn jọ kojú ara wọn òun àti Carlos Alcaraz àwọn méjèèjì ó ní wọ́n jọ fìyà jẹra wọn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn Yannick Sinner ló jáwé olúborí àmì ayò 6-4 òun ló fi fìyà jẹ Carlos Alcaraz èyàn nínú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ eléyìí tó lákàkì yẹ o ṣé kí n mọ̀tàn yẹn ó ti wá di ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ báyìí o eléyìí tí agbátẹnìsì ọkùnrin tó máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gba ìdíje méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ èyàn láàrin oṣù kan léra wọn sáàjàgbé pé Yannick Sinner bákan náà òun ló kọ́kọ́ gba ìdíje ti Indian Wells eléyìí tó wáyé èyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè India ó tún wá gba ìdíje Miami Open àjẹpẹ́ díje méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà èyẹ láàrin oṣù kan léra wọn bákan náà lábala àtàwọn obìnrin Arina Zabalenka ó fìyà jẹ Coco Gauff èyẹ lábala ti àṣekágbá ìdíje ti Miami Open àmì ayò 6-2 4-6 òun ló fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fìyà jẹ sẹ́ẹ̀rì ìdíje Miami Open ọwọ́ Arina Zabalenka ló wà tẹ́lẹ̀ ó tún ti padà sọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ajápẹ́lẹ́ra wọn òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà èyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ sẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀gbàgbé bá ìdíje ti Indian Wells eléyìí tó jẹ́ tàwọn obìnrin náà Arina Zabalenka ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Belarus òun náà ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà èyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ti wádìí agbábọ́ọ̀lù kejì èyàn lábala tàwọn obìnrin eléyìí tó máa gbàdíje yẹn èyàn lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ léra wọn Iga Swiatek ló dán wò èyàn fún bí àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dún 2022 àwọn náà ti wá láǹfààní láti gbà báyìí o èyàn fún ìgbẹ́lẹ̀ keje èyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ tá a bá wá sọ nípa agbátẹ́nìsì obìnrin eléyìí tó gba ìdíje méjì èyàn láàrin oṣù kan ó ti di agbábọ́ọ̀lù ẹlẹ́ẹ̀karùn-ún eléyìí tó máa dẹ́rù ẹ̀ wò ẹni àkọ́kọ́ tó kọ́kọ́ ṣerú ẹ̀ Victoria Azarenka òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti dán wò èyàn nígbà yẹn gangan nìyẹn o bákan náà ní Kim Clijsters òun náà lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣe èyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ sẹ́ẹ̀rí Steffi Graf òun lẹ́nì kẹta eléyìí tó dánwò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ bákan náà Iga Swiatek ó ṣe fún bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin kó tó di pé Arina Zabalenka òun náà dánwò èyàn fún bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀karùn-ún bó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá ó ní mo jẹ́ àyíntàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ pápápá ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ̀ àwọn èsì ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ eléyìí tó wáyé nínú díje líìgì onípele kejì èyàn tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà èyàn tá a bá sọ nípa Nigeria National League nìyẹn o wọ́n kojú ara wọn lókè ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ kí làwọn èsì ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ eléyìí tó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wáyé ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Rovers FC ìyá méjì sódò òun ló fi jẹ́ gọ́sùn làpábíò ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Stormers òun ṣubú yakata èyàn lẹ́yìn ìkúrẹ́lẹ́ bàbá rẹ̀ ikọ̀ Sporting Lagos ó lọ pamọ́lé àmì ayò 5-6 kan òun ló fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti bojú Stormers jẹ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ikọ̀ ti Smart City òun fìyà jẹ Beyond Limit àmì ayò 2 sódò Abia Comets òun náà fìyà jẹ Crown FC àmì ayò 2-6 kan ikọ̀ City FC látàbújá ó gbàlejò ọ̀ràn lobby stars náà wọ́n mọ́lé àmì ayò kan sódò Atlantic tìlú Òwèrè ó jókòó sílé batigẹ́tù ẹ̀jẹ̀ àmì ayò mẹ́ta sódò ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Kádà Warrior ó fi ìyà jẹ Doma United àmì ayò mẹ́ta sẹ́yọ kan ikọ̀ Mighty Jets ó sàṣàkóso lérí Bàṣírá àmì ayò mẹ́ta sí àmì ayò méjì sẹ́yọ kan ó ló fi fìyà jẹ FC Bàṣírá o ikọ̀ Sokoto FC òun náà ṣe àlejò gba ABS náà wọ́n mọ́lé àmì ayò kan sódò ikọ̀ Solution FC ó fi ìyà méjì sẹ́yọ kan ó fi jẹ Abakaliki FC ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tìlú Àkúrẹ́ òun àti Inter Lagos kojú ara wọn àmì ayò òdòdó ó làwọn méjèèjì gbọgbá ikọ̀ First Bank èèyàn láti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ó fi ìyà jẹ Ọ̀ṣun United àmì ayò méjì sódò Godswill Akpabio òun àti Akwa United àmì ayò òdòdó ó làwọn méjèèjì gbọgbá èèyàn nínú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ tí wọ́n nìyẹn o bó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà ó ní mo jẹ́ àyíntọ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ pápápá ó dínú díje líìgì àjọjẹ èèyàn tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà èèyàn Nàìjíríà Professional Football League ó yá bó ni wọ́n ti kojú ara wọn èèyàn lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá òpin ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a lò sọ yẹn bó ni wọ́n ti kojú ara wọn ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Barawa FC òun àti Katsina United àmì ayò òdòdó ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti dá ikọ̀ Bayelsa United ó fi ìyà mẹ́rin sẹ́yọ kan ó fi jẹ Kanopi làlábàbẹ́ àmì ayò kọ̀ọ̀kan òun ló wáyé láàrin Academy Warrior àti ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Rẹ́mọ ikọ̀ Ìyìnbá òun náà fi ìyà jẹ Abia Warrior àmì ayò méjì sẹ́yọ kan àmì ayò mẹ́rin sí mẹ́ta ó ní kọ́ọ̀tì Kòròdú City òun ló fi pawọ́ níwò fúnlẹ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Niger Tornadoes òun náà fi ìyà jẹ Kon Khalifa ó fi ìyà jẹ Wikitoris sẹ́nu mi àgọ́ àmì ayò méjì sódò ikọ̀ Rivers United òun ló kí Kon Khalifa mọ́lẹ̀ àmì ayò mẹ́rin sí méje òun ló fi ìyà jẹ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Shooting Star ó fi ìyà jẹ Enugu Ranger ó tàn wọ́n wá pápá àṣírẹ́lẹ́kan sàlámẹ́ èèyàn lólùbàdàn àmì ayò mẹ́ta sẹ́yọ kan òun ló fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fi ìyà jẹ wọn èyí ò lápá ti bẹ̀yẹn nìyẹn o bó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà èèyàn tá a bá ń sọ nípa ìdíje líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ èèyàn tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó yábọ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe wà sí èèyàn lórí àkàbà ìdíje líìgì orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ẹgbẹ́ mi lọ sórí àkàbà yẹn ẹjẹ́ wo bẹ́ẹ̀ ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jókòó bẹ̀ ti pọ́n sí èyí ò lápá bẹ̀ ìsókè tí ò bá rẹ́dí àgbẹ̀ mi lọ apá bí ó wà ń bẹ̀ lórí àkàbà díje líìgì orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó yábọ̀ ni wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jókòó bẹ̀ ti pọ́n ẹjẹ́ ń sáré jayé tán torí pé àjà tán èyí a máa fa problem ń gbòòrò ayé ó yẹ pápápá ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Rivers United àwọn ló wà lókè téńté èyàn lórí àkàbà díje ti líìgì orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà ní àmì ayò márùndínlọ́gọ́ta èyàn 55 point wọ́n wà o ikọ̀ Rangers International òun ló wà nípò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì 54 point ni wọ́n ní lápá abẹ́yẹn ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Kòròdú City àwọn wà nípò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta àwọn ní 52 point ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Nasarawa ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin wọ́n wà 50 point wọ́n ní ikọ̀ Shooting Star tilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀karùn-ún àwọn náà ní 50 point lọ́dọ̀ wọn Abia Warrior ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà wọ́n jókòó sí 49 point wọ́n wà ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Bẹ́dẹ̀ Insurance àwọn lójókòó ti pọ́ sípò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀keje Katsina United ipò kẹjọ Plateau United ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Academy Warrior àwọn ló wà pọ̀ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹwàá àwọn mẹ́rin wo ló ń wẹ̀ nínú omi tó ń gbé wọn padà sẹ́yìn ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Rẹ́mọ ipò kẹtàdínlọ́gbọ̀n ó ní ipò kẹtàdínlógún ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà àmì ayò mẹ́tàdínlógójì ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti mẹ́ ikọ̀ Kwara United ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejìdínlógún àwọn ní mẹ́rìndínlógójì ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Wikitoris ipò kẹkàndínlógún ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà àmì ayò mẹ́rìndínlógójì ó làwọn náà ní lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ sáwádì Kon Khalifa òun ló wà nísàlẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tábìlì àmì ayò mẹ́tàlélọ́gbọ̀n ó làwọn ní lápá tibẹ̀ yẹn èyàn tá a bá ń sọ nípa ìdíje líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ èyàn tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó yẹ pàápàá olùkọ́ni Emmanuel Amunike olùkọ́ni kọ́ọ̀tì Atlantic tìlú Òwèrè àwọn ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti sọ̀rọ̀ ṣàlàyé wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ bó ti ṣe lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà òun ó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti sa gbogbo ọ̀pá àtagbára wo láti lè bá lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbalẹ̀ tíkẹ̀tì àti lọ kópa èyàn nínú díje líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ èyàn tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà sáàgbàgbé gbẹ́kọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Atlanta àwọn fìyà mẹ́ta sódò wọ́n fi jẹ́kọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Gateway èyàn ní pápá ṣeré danayama èyàn nílùú Òwèrè nìyẹn sẹ́kì mọ́tò yẹn bó ti ṣe lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà èyàn ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta ó ní fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn wáyé o ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Atlanta ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta wọn wà pẹ̀lú àmì ayò mẹ́tàlélógún èyàn nínú fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ mẹ́tàlá eléyìí tí wọ́n ti gbá Inter Lagos ló wà lókè àmì méjì ló wà láàrin láàrin wọn àti ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Atlanta olùkọ́ni Emmanuel Amunike òun wá ṣàlàyé lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ kò sọ́nà eléyìí tí Continental Lagos yóò gbé gbà àwọn ọba wọn mú nǹkan lẹ̀ ni ó nítorí pé kí ni tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì àti lọ kópa èyàn nínú díje líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ èyàn torílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yẹn òun gbọ́dọ̀ jágbà èyàn mọ́kọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ń ta Lagos lọ́wọ́ ó yábọ̀ ló ṣe máa jẹ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó dínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Kwara United olùkọ́ni Sulaimon Asafa olùkọ́ni Kwara United nìyẹn ó ti ṣàlàyé sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹgbẹ́ oríyìn fáwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù tòun bí wọ́n ṣe fìyà jẹ Nasarawa United pẹ̀lú àmì ayò kan sódò èyàn ní pápá àṣẹrẹ mọ Bọ́lájí Johnson eléyìí tó wà lágbègbè oníkà èyàn nílùú Èkó nìyẹn o àṣìfà sọ̀rọ̀ ó ṣàlàyé ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ pẹ̀lú báwọn ṣe lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kíkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Nasarawa mọ́lẹ̀ àwọn dẹ̀lù wọn lẹ́yọ kan ó ló fi hàn báwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù wọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ pẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù yẹn dọ́kan wọ́n dẹ̀ ní ẹ̀mí ìfarajẹ ó ní sẹ́ ẹ̀rọ mi ìfarajẹ eléyìí táwọn níyẹn ó ló ṣokùnfà rẹ̀ táwọn fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti fìyà jẹ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ti Nasarawa United sáàdẹ̀gbàgbé pẹ́pẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Kwara United wọ́n lé wọn kú o èyàn nílùú Ìlọrin tààràtà wọn ní ká lọ́mọ gbà ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ wọn eléyìí tí wọ́n bá máa dálé èyàn nípínlẹ̀ Èkó nìyẹn o látàrí pé kẹ́nẹ́ wọ́n láwọn olólùfẹ́ wọn wọ́n wùwọ́ ọmọ gànfẹ́ ó lọ̀rọ̀ ìbálẹ́jọ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ipò kejìdínlógún ó ní kọ́ Kwara United wa àwọn àti Academy Warrior àwọn méjèèjì wọn jọ máa kojú ara wọn èyàn nínú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ eléyìí tó kàn tá a bá ń sọ nípa líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ èyàn torílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó yá sí máa gbéra lọ ó dàrin gbọ̀ngbọ̀n èyàn lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ìdíje ti ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọlọ́ọ̀sọ̀rẹ̀ eléyìí tó wáyé èyàn lórílẹ̀-èdè Turkey ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Super Eagles ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rántí pé lọ́jọ́ Jímọ̀ àwọn àti ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Iran àwọn méjèèjì wọn kojú ara wọn àmì ayò méjì sẹ́yọ kan òun lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà òun ni wọ́n fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti bojú ránjẹ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ akọ Adams òun àti Moses Simon àwọn méjèèjì wọn mi àwọn èyàn nínú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn nìyẹn o pẹ̀lú bó ṣe wá wà olùkọ́ni kan tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà olùkọ́ni arísẹ́kọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ti kó àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù padà èèyàn sórí ọ̀dà lánàá wọ́n ti ṣègbáradì kódà bó bá tó di lónìí wọ́n tún máa ṣègbáradì lápapẹ̀ torí pé nírọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀la aago 6 àbọ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀la èèyàn aago orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àwọn àti orílẹ̀-èdè Jordan àwọn méjèèjì wọ́n jọ máa jọra wọn wò èèyàn lórí ọ̀dà gangan nìyẹn o ọ̀la ní fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn òun ló máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wáyé èèyàn ọ̀lápá ti bẹ ìlú Antalya èèyàn lórílẹ̀-èdè Turkey òun ní fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn òun ló ti máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wáyé èèyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n ní fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọ̀la ó ṣeéṣe kí Bruno Onyemaechi ó ṣeéṣe kó má wà lórí pápá torí pé lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ìyàwó Bruno Onyemaechi ó bímọ ó bímọ lọ́jọ́ òní némi ọ̀làmọ̀kọ́ némi ìgbésẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá bímọ Bruno Onyemaechi ó ti gbéra ó ti padà èyàn lọ sórílẹ̀-èdè Portugal láti lọ wo ìyàwó rẹ̀ àti ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọ̀run eléyìí tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ délé ayé ṣé mọ́jọ̀ yẹn àwa tí màbójú máa padà èèyàn sílùú Antalya èèyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè Turkey láti kópa nù fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọ̀la ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo dédé náà ìròyìn tó tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ ó ní pé Bruno Onyemaechi bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí lórí pápá lọ́la ẹ méjì ó yà yín lẹ́nu bàbá bébì ó lọ rèé wú ọmọ àtìyàwó èèyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè Portugal ó yá pápá àpálápá bẹ orílẹ̀‐èdè Morocco ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àtọ́rílẹ̀‐èdè Senegal ó tún ti bá ràn mí ìyọba yìí o torí pé kíni àdúrà ẹyọ kan tèmi ó kàn sí ó ní pé alákòóbá kò ní fi tiẹ̀ kó bá wa ṣé ẹ̀rọ Senegal àti Morocco ó mọ̀ tó ti ka orílẹ̀-èdè France báyìí o torí pé orílẹ̀-èdè Morocco kẹ́sì agbẹjọ́rò wọn lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ tó yá báwa po ẹjọ́ tuntun pọ̀ tó kó kí o gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ àjọ káàsì torí pé kíni sọ wá rí ẹjọ́ tuntun tó fẹ́ gbé lọ yẹn báwọn ọkọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè sẹ́rẹ̀ France báwọn ọkọ̀ tiwọn náà ṣe agbẹjọ́rò ní yẹsà kí ló kọ orílẹ̀-èdè France wọn ni sọ ò rí pé bí ìgbà tí èèyàn hùwà ọ̀dàlẹ̀ àti ìwà máa ṣe ìrànwọ́ fún ni máa hùwà láabi ó níwà torílẹ̀-èdè France ó níwà tí wọ́n wo ẹgbẹ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan kí ló orílẹ̀-èdè Senegal ṣe tó bí orílẹ̀-èdè Morocco náà tí wọ́n fi ní ó dáa ẹ̀kọ́ kan orílẹ̀-èdè Faransé èyí mọ́ra àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó máa jẹ́jọ́ èyí ò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Senegal wọ́n gbá ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọlọ́rẹ̀sọ̀rẹ̀ èyí pẹ̀lú orílẹ̀-èdè Peru orílẹ̀-èdè Faransé wọ́n ti gbà ṣáájú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn ó kù díẹ̀ kí fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lákàndọ́ táwọn onílù ìbílẹ̀ tí wọ́n lùlù gbọ̀ngúdú káàbọ̀ ọmọ abílẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kílẹ̀ lanu káàbọ̀ ọba Áfíríkà káàbọ̀ oríṣiríṣi àwọn orin ọ̀tẹ̀ ó làwọn onílù ńkọ́ kódà nígbà àwọn onílù lùlù tán àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù Senegal ò bóde ní wọ́n bá tún kẹ́sí DJ tó yà ó DJ play orin DJ Showbiz play orin lọ́nà bá tún sa orin sí ẹ̀ mọ àwọn orin ọ̀tẹ̀ ló bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ń dún jìgbàngbà lálàyé náà ń ju orin nígbà àwọn play orin débì kan àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù Senegal wọ́n bóde pẹ̀lú ife ẹ̀yẹ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ní ẹ̀wọ̀ ife ẹ̀yẹ rèé o àwa ni champion àwa lágbà ọwọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ló bí orílẹ̀-èdè Morocco ní pé ẹ dákun ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sẹ́yìn ife ẹ̀yẹ tí àjọ káàbù tí wọ́n ti lẹ́yìn kọlẹ̀ ní ife ẹ̀yẹ títí wa ó lẹ́ lọ fi ń pàdéèdì lórílẹ̀‐èdè Faransé wọn ló dáa sẹ́ẹ̀rẹ́ lè tẹ̀sí ó ní ti ń jẹ́ lábẹ́ òfin ẹ̀yin lọ́ọ̀yà ẹ bá ń wò ó kọ́ wo ni wọ́n pè lábẹ́ òfin wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ń tẹ́ ẹ ṣe yìí ó lóko tí ń jẹ́ lábẹ́ òfin ó dẹ̀ ní ìyà eléyìí tẹ́ máa jẹ sí kèé wá sẹ́yìn nìkan òun la máa wọ́ọ̀rẹ́ ilé ẹjọ́ orílẹ̀‐èdè Faransé tí wọ́n fún yín láyè láti máa dán kábàkàbà yìí wò àwọn náà máa forí ko kò ní pé kíni ṣé wọ́n fẹ́ sọ pé àwọn òòjọ́ bájọ́ káàfù ti gbàgbé ẹ̀yẹ kúrò lọ́wọ́ yẹn tí wọ́n fi ń fàyè gbà yẹn kẹ́ ẹ máa pàréèdì tí ò yẹ pàréèdì èèyàn lórílẹ̀‐èdè tiwọn ìzókè orílẹ̀‐èdè Morocco àwọn ti wú ẹjọ́ tuntun nẹ́nẹ́ wọ́n ti wọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ní ẹjọ́ báyìí o wọ́n ní ó yá orílẹ̀‐èdè ti Senegal àti orílẹ̀‐èdè Faransé wọ́n lẹ́jọ́ jẹ́lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Uganda àjọ tó mójútó bọ̀ lọ́lábẹ̀sẹ̀gbà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ ti ké sí àwọn adarí ayò kan o wọ́n ní ẹ̀ máa relé yín oṣù mẹ́ta ló máa lò ẹ lọ́ máa báyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ lọ́ máa bá wọn ṣeré lé àgbọ̀dọ̀ kẹ́fìn yẹn èyí lórí ọ̀dàn fún oṣù mẹ́ta gbáko látàrí pé kẹ́nẹ́ wọ́n ní sẹ́yìn àwọn adarí ayòye àwọn gángan ló yẹ ká máa pè ní ọ̀bàyé jẹ́ ẹni ibi tí ń pamọ́ rẹ̀ balùwẹ̀ torí pé kẹ́nẹ́ wọ́n ní òbítíbitì àṣìṣe ó làwọn adarí ayòye ti ṣe o èyí nínú àwọn fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ eléyìí tí wọ́n ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti darí ẹ̀ ìgbà wọn lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti máa yí àwọn fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn wò wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ kan wáyé láàrin kọ́bù Imba FC òun àti Police FC wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ adarí ayò mẹ́fà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ òun ló lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti jẹ mọ̀kọ́dọ̀ ìyá ayún tí wọn torí pé kíni wọ́n ní bá ṣe dabarú fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ rẹ̀ àwọn adarí ayò mẹ́fà òun ló mọ̀ sí lápá bẹ̀ fúdi eléyìí o àwọn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà yẹn káàtì ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ máa lọlé lára àwọn adarí ayò eléyìí tí wọ́n ní wọ́n máa lọlé ẹjẹ́ ń káàkọ́ wọn fún yẹn kó má dàbí ẹni pa àwọn òròyìn pọ̀ ṣé ẹ mọ̀tàn yẹn lára àwọn adarí ayò tí ó relé Henry Musisi ó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà nù wọn ẹ máa gbọ́ o ẹ lè rẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ nù wọn ká ẹ lè ránṣẹ́ ìbánikẹ́dùn sí Henry Musisi wọ́n ní kò náà máa relé bákan náà igbákejì adarí ayò Fred Kinyera wọ́n ní kò náà yẹra fáwọn mọ́ à Samuel Mbabale wọ́n ní kò náà máa relé lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ bákan náà ẹni tó jẹ́ fourth official èyẹ nínú ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn John Semakula wọ́n ní kò náà lọ rèé máa wọlé ìyá rẹ̀ tán dẹ́mọ́nù kúlà wọ́n ti sí ibodè bákan náà ẹni tó jẹ́ match commissioner èyẹ fún ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn Christopher Kungonza wọ́n ní kò náà máa relé lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ sáà wá rẹ̀ ni tó jẹ́ referee assessor èyẹ Hilary Kengube wọ́n ní kò náà kó máa relé lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà yẹn wọ́n ní wọ́n máa relé o kèé wá ṣe pé wọ́n máa relé nìkan wọ́n tún láwọn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà yẹn ẹ kó wọn lọ léèwé ẹ jẹ́ wọn lọ tún ẹ̀kọ́ kọ́ bóyá ẹ̀kọ́ wọn ò tó ìmọ̀ wọn ò tó ẹ kó wọn lọ léèwé ẹ jẹ́ wọn lọ kó ẹ̀kọ́ ńbẹ Victor Osimhen àtàmọ́tàsí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó mọ̀ kọ̀kọ̀ mọ̀ kó lé ìwòsàn o lẹ́yìn ìgbà wọn ti ṣe abẹ fún ọ wọ́n ní ó dáa àti discharge yẹn mọ́ relé ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bá discharge mi tẹ́mi ò discharge ara mi ńkọ́ ẹ̀ ń lọ ilé kankan ẹ jẹ́ ìwà ń bí ibi ni wọ́n jókòó sí tára mi ò fi ya Victor Osimhen kọ̀ kò rẹ ilé ìwòsàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí kò kó ilé ìwòsàn lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ó lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣiṣẹ́ abẹ tán ṣé kí mọ́tò yẹn ó kẹ́sì ó ké sáwọn alákòóso kan Galatasaray pé ẹ wò òun ò fẹ́ kó lé ìwòsàn yẹn ẹ ṣàjẹ́ kó ń wà ń bínú kí wọ́n lè máa mójútó wọn torí pé kíni òun fẹ́ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti tètè padà èèyàn sórí pápá bọ́n bá sì ní kó máa relé ó ṣeéṣe kí ọwọ́ yẹn má tètè jiná ẹ fi òun lẹ̀ sílé ìwòsàn ó làwọn alákòóso Galatasaray àwọn bá ní ó dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lẹ̀ lọ ó ní táwọn náà ṣe wọ́n wá pe àwọn security tí wọ́n dà àwọn tó nípa láyà bí rà wọ́n ní ó dáa sẹ́ẹ̀rí Victor Osimhen tó wà nù yàrá yẹn ẹ máa sọ o èèrà ò gbọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ nǹkan kan ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe bó ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà ó ní mo jẹ́ yín yẹn orílẹ̀-èdè South Africa àwọn àti Morocco àwọn tó ti kẹ́sì àjọ káàfù o pèsè fẹ́ gbọ́ ìdíje fi ẹ̀yẹ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ tọdún 2027 eléyìí torílẹ̀-èdè Kenya Uganda àti Tanzania fẹ́ gbàlejò ẹ̀ bí wọn bá gbàlejò ẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ fún àwọn káwọn gbàlejò rẹ̀ ń tà wọ́n torí pé kíni ìròyìn ń gbé bóde bó dàbí ẹni pé ìmúrasílẹ̀ àti ìgbáradì orílẹ̀-èdè Kenya Uganda àti Tanzania ìmúrasílẹ̀ yẹn ò tó wọ́n ní kódà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ pápá ṣeré eléyìí tá a fẹ́ lò èèyàn fúdì ẹ̀yẹlẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ yẹn tí ó wáyé lọ́dún tó ń bọ̀ wọ́n láwọn pápá ṣeré yẹn wọn àmọ́ tí ìrẹ́dì wọn ò tí ì ṣetán o orílẹ̀-èdè Morocco àwọn àti South Africa àwọn ti wá kẹ́sì àjọ káàbò pé orílẹ̀-èdè mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ gbé fi ẹ̀yẹ fún yẹn tí wọn bá ṣetán ẹ bá wọn gbé ń tà wọn o ẹ jẹ́ káwọn olórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbàlejò ẹ̀ ó lọ̀rọ̀ ìbálẹ́jọ́ náà ó dínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ bẹ́bọ̀lù Barcelona mo ti gbé bọ́ọ̀dì bọ́ sókè òkan ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn òyìnbó ọmọ asokòdèrè àlùjọ̀nù àfẹ́ ọmọ asọ̀sàdéyọ òkè ẹjẹ́ ń balẹ̀ nù kan ti Barcelona ó yábọ̀ ló ṣe máa jẹ́ lápá abẹ àfáàrẹ̀ ló pé babalájẹ gbogbo rọ̀nà àwọn ti Barcelona ń gbòòrò ayé nìyẹn o ọ̀bàkà wọ́n ti dá mi lò lápá abẹ ààrẹ wọn yọ làpótà ó ti ṣàlàyé o oníṣẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ oníṣẹ́ rí bí òun ti fi àyè gba Lionel Messi láti kúrò nínú kan Barcelona èyí lọ́dún 2021 ó ní nǹkan tó tọ́ àti nǹkan tó yẹ ó làwọn ṣe lápá abẹ ó nítorí pé ńgbà yẹn gangan ọ̀dá owó awo olókan èèmọ̀ ń dá àwọn lápá abẹ yẹn ó ní báwọn bá yọ̀ǹda báwọn ò bá yọ̀ǹda Messi kó lọ nígbà yẹn tó bá sì wà nù kan Barcelona ó ní ẹ má jẹ́ kó ń tàn yẹn jẹ o ó ṣeéṣe káwọn mọ̀ rí owó táwọn ọmọ fi gbọ́ bùkátà Messi àti pé gan gbèsè táwọn ìbá tó kára bọ̀ ó ní ìbá tó pọ̀ dáadáa èèyàn lápá tibẹ̀ nìyẹn o ó ní ẹ wò ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yín náà mọ àlàkalẹ̀ àjọ La Liga èèyàn lórí ọ̀rọ̀ owó ètò ní ṣe pẹ̀lú owó ọ̀yà èèyàn tàwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù èèyàn sálárì àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù nìyẹn o báwọn bá wá ní kí Messi dúró táwọn ò yọ̀ǹda rẹ̀ nígbà yẹn ẹgbẹ́ ń bọ̀ làwọn ó ti rówó táwọn ó fi máa sanwó ọ̀yà rẹ̀ ó ní táwọn papọ̀ táwọn jà lérò rèé nígbà Paris Saint-Germain sì kówó wá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ fún àwọn alágbábọ́ọ̀lù yẹn ẹ jẹ́ káwọn máa mú lọ ó ní ẹgbẹ́ ta làwọn táwọn ò ní yọ̀ǹda rẹ̀ ó ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan nígbà yẹn nuwo táwọn fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti yọ̀ǹda Lionel Messi kò títí nẹ̀ bàbá àti àgọ́ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ rọ́bà kó lọ darapọ̀ èyàn mọ́kàn ti Paris Saint-Germain èyàn nígbà yẹn ṣé àgbàgbé pẹ́tọ́ òdìbò Barcelona tó kọjá lára tí wọ́n lò láti polongo òbútakò ààrẹ yọ àlàkóta ó ní Lionel Messi tó tà ń gbà ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ ẹ̀ sì tó dìbò fẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀ tó ta asẹ̀tì tẹ́ ẹ ní agbábọ́ọ̀lù tí ń dùn yẹn ná tó ta dànù nígbà yẹn ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹ orí ọmọ ló kọ́ ọmọ yọ àlàkóta ó padà jáwé olúborí òun náà ti wá bòde ṣàlàyé lánàá ó ní báwọn ò bá ta Lionel Messi ńgbà yẹn àfàìmọ̀ táwọn máa rọlú ẹgbẹ́lẹ́mù kú gbèsè ó ní gbèsè yẹn gangan ó ń làwọn sá fún táwọn fi lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ta Lionel Messi dànù èèyàn lápá bẹ ikọ̀ Barcelona obìnrin wọ́n fìyà jẹ kọ Real Madrid lánàá sẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹnu kọ́ tètè bọ̀ọ̀lì kọ́ ikọ̀ Barcelona obìnrin wọ́n ti súnmọ́ àti gba ìdíje ti La Liga báyìí o bí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbà yóò jẹ́ ìgbà ẹlẹ́ẹ̀keje eléyìí tó máa gbàdíje Spanish La Liga eléyìí tó jẹ́ tàwọn obìnrin àmì ayò 3-0 ó ní wọ́n fi pa kọ Real Madrid obìnrin lẹ̀ èèyàn lánàá wọ́n pa wọ́n lẹ̀ bí ẹni pẹ̀rànẹ́ sẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́tò yẹn bí ikọ̀ Barcelona obìnrin bá bẹ́ẹ̀ borí ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ẹjọ́ kan sí àjẹ́ pé wọ́n ti jáde yẹn o èyí ìdíje Spanish La Liga abala tàwọn obìnrin ó dínú kan ti Bayern Munich ẹni tó jí ààrẹ wọn èyí Uniones ó ti ṣàlàyé ẹ ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹ lọ́ fọkànbalẹ̀ ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ rí àríkèénà ó máa dúró sínú kan Bayern Munich èyí fúnṣà àkànṣe nìyẹn o sẹ́ẹ̀ gbàgbé báwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan láti orílẹ̀-èdè Saudi àwọn ti ń kówó wá wọ́n ń wọ àríkèé lẹ́sẹ̀ bákan náà òun la tó jẹ́ pé kọ̀ọ̀kan èyí láti ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àwọn náà ń ṣẹ́wọ́ sí àríkèé pé àlàyé máa bọ̀ ó ti pé ọdún méjìdínlọ́gbọ̀n àbí méjìlélọ́gbọ̀n 32 years àgbà ti ń dé ilé làbọ̀sí ní oko máa bọ̀ ń lé wọ́n á rìtáyà síbi ṣùgbọ́n o ikọ̀ Bayern Munich ní ẹ̀wò ọwọ́ tí àríkẹ́ wà báyìí àwọn gan ò gbàdúrà kó lọ wọ́n ní gbogbo táwọn bá mọ̀ ó làwọn ò fi mú bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn dúró ó ní Ones wá sọ lánàá ó ní sẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ó ṣeéṣe kó lo sáà kan sí ìjà nínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Bayern kó tó di pé máa tàtà rè pé ìjà lọ síbi ó bá kàlá pa bẹ́ẹ̀ bákan náà àwọn oníròyìn bíi ààrẹ kọ Bayern lérè pé ìgbà tẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ olùkọ́ni yẹn ìyẹn Vincent Kompany jò ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló bẹnu àtẹ́lù yẹn pẹ́sẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹgbẹ́ olùkọ́ni tí ò ní ìrírí ẹ tó fún ní àdéhùn ọlọ́dún gbọ́rọ̀ kí ilẹ̀ gbà lérò ń gbà yẹn Uniones ni àwọn òmò kàṣàdédé gbé olùkọ́ni wọ́n ní lóòótọ́ ojú àwọn ti wà lára Vincent Kompany wọ́n ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn náà pe ẹni tó jí ọ̀gá rẹ̀ tó ti fìgbà kan níjẹ́ olùkọ́ni èyàn nínú ọkọ̀ tàwọn èyàn Pep Guardiola wọ́n ní bí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ṣẹ́jú òun làwọn fi bá Pep Guardiola sọ̀rọ̀ pé yẹsà afẹ́ gbé agbábọ́ọ̀lù yẹn tí ń ṣiṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni báyìí wọ́n ní Guardiola níta ni ṣé Mikel Arteta kọ́ o àtàrú ni kìí ṣàtẹ́ta àní Vincent Kompany wọ́n ní Pep Guardiola ní company lẹ́fẹ́ gbé ẹ mọ̀ tí rọ́mọ gbé o ẹ ti rọ́mọ rà ó yẹ gbé ẹ mọ̀ tí ẹ̀rọ lẹ́ẹ̀mejì òun nígbàgbọ́ kó máa ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú kọ̀ yẹn wọ́n láwọn bí Pep Guardiola léèrè Pep Guardiola ló sọ fáwọn pé ẹ mọ̀ wulẹ̀ níyèméjì ẹ lọ rèé gbé lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní ẹ dákun ẹ wò ó ẹ wá wo àtìgbà táwọn ti gbé Vincent company eku ń ké bí eku ẹyẹ ń ké bí ẹyẹ ọmọ èèyàn gáfọ̀n bí ọmọ èèyàn wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ̀ wá rí bẹ́bẹ́ eléyìí tó dá ní sàgbábọ́ọ̀lù yìí wọ́n ní ìyẹn ló dùn máwọn nójú torí pé tá a bá ń sọ nípa ọ̀kan lára àwọn ikọ̀ eléyìí tó rí ẹwọ́ ń bẹ́ ń gbèrò ayé báyìí ikọ̀ báyàmù nìkan bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹ sọ̀hún sí lọ́rọ̀ wọn olùkọ́ni orílẹ̀-èdè Germany Julian Nagelsmann ó ti ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ oníṣẹ́ rí asọ́lé ikọ̀ Barcelona eléyìí tó ti lu àyálò báyìí èyí nínú ikọ̀ Girona Marc-André ter Stegen ó ní ẹ̀wò kò dájú pé ó máa lọ ọdún ìdíje fẹ̀yẹlẹ̀ àgbáláyé o látàrí pé kíni oníṣẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù yẹn mùsèmùsè rẹ̀ kò dá mùsèmùsè èyí ò lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní kódà òun ti lọ rèé bàtà Stegen sọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a wáyé pẹ́sẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ aláyé ojẹ́ jára mọ́ òrùn tó wà lókè yìí ó sì tasọ ọgbẹ́ ó ṣeéṣe o pẹ̀lú tó wà lẹ̀ báyìí ó ṣeéṣe kó mọ́ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti lọ èèyàn sínú díje fẹ̀yẹlẹ̀ àgbáláyé ńgbà wo oníròyìn bílẹ̀ rè pé yẹsà kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan èèyàn tá ìfi ní mú ta Stegen lọ ó ní ẹ tún bí mi lẹ́ni tí ò dá bọ́ọ̀lù fódìdí ọdún kan ebe àmọ̀ kó ní farapa ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń padà bọ̀ ní bóun bá wá mú lọ bí ìgbà tó ń wéèsì sọ́ọ̀tì ni o nígbà táwọn aṣọ́lé mi táwọn ń ṣe dáadáa tí wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá ó lóun ti sọ fún un náà pé ó sì kú bí oṣù méjì tó fi máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbáradì tó bá ṣe dáadáa ó ṣeé ṣe kó padà lọ èèyàn sínú díje fẹ̀yẹlẹ̀ ilé àgbáláyé ṣùgbọ́n tí ò bá ti ṣe dáadáa á jẹ́ pé kó jòkó sápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yọ fẹ́rẹ́ gẹ̀gẹ̀ inú kọ́ Manchester United ẹjẹ́ ń gbórí wọbẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kúnlé ẹ̀ máa bèrè ẹ̀kú ojúmọ̀ ma David Beckham asọ́lé kọ́ Manchester United èèyàn nígbà kan rí àbí agbábọ́ọ̀lù kọ́ Manchester United ẹnu mi àgọ́ tó tún ti jẹ́ balógun wọn èèyàn nígbà kan rí nìyẹn o aláyé sọ̀rọ̀ ṣàlàyé sí gbòòrò ayé oníṣẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ oníṣẹ́ rí tá a bá ń sọ nípa olùkọ́ni Michael Carrick èèyàn olùkọ́ni kọ́ Manchester United lásìkò yìí oníṣẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ń ṣe dáadáa o ó ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ agbóríyìn fún torí bọ́mọ ẹni bá ṣe dáadáa káwé àṣàní mari ẹ̀ àní fi ṣaya oníṣẹ́ rí olùkọ́ni Michael Carrick yẹn ó ní láti bí ọdún mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn àbí kò tiẹ̀ sọ gan pé láti ìgbà tí bàbá Alex Ferguson tó ti kúrò nínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Manchester United ó ní kò tí ì sí olùkọ́ni mi eléyìí tó tó mú yanyan bí olùkọ́ni Michael Carrick ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ló bá sì gbòòrò ayé àwọn èèyàn ti ń dá David Beckham lò àwọn olùyànnànà àwọn náà ó sọ tiwọn lẹ́yìn bàbá Alex Ferguson David Beckham ní kò sólùkọ́ni mi tó dàbí olùkọ́ni Michael Carrick nínú ọkọ̀ Manchester United lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Tottenham wọ́n ti ní kí olùkọ́ni gòtúbọ̀ wọ́n ní ó máa relé o wọ́n ní ó lọ́ọ́ máa tún fún àtẹ̀dọ́ rẹ̀ ìyẹn nílé wọ́n ti wá ń ké sí olùkọ́ni Roberto Di Zerbi pé máa bọ̀ wọ́n á gbaṣẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ yìí kó tó di pọ́pẹ́ sáà parí sáà mọ̀ pé Roberto Di Zerbi ti sọ̀rọ̀ ń tiẹ̀ pé pọ́pẹ́ sáà ò bá parí òun ò lè gbaṣẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tó tí a mọ̀ sọ̀ iṣẹ́ wọn tó ti bàjẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ká parí ẹ̀ lápá abẹ ṣùgbọ́n kọ́ tó tí a mọ̀ àwọn tí ń forí ìyá Roberto Di Zerbi wọ́n ti fi ń bẹ̀ báyìí o pé arákùnrin máa bọ̀ tí ẹ náà ò ní ta o ayé rẹ̀ ò ní bàjẹ́ tán o kó o tó rí olùgbàlà máa bọ̀ wá gbà wọ́n là nínú omi relegation táwọn wá ẹ jẹ́ lóòkè lọ́ọ̀ mo fẹ́ polówó ọjà bí n bá padà dé ìròyìn káàbí méjì àwọn tèmi ti ń dá sí lójú òpó Facebook àjọ kíra wa bá a bá wá kù ń bẹ̀ mo máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti bọ́ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn olùrànlá ó lọ̀rọ̀ ìbálẹ́jọ́ náà ẹ̀ lẹ́bẹ̀ẹ́ wọn jẹ́ ń polówó ọjà mú padà bọ̀.
ojúlówó yàtọ̀ sí gbàrọ̀ gudu irú èyí ò wọ́pọ̀ lágbègbè yìí àwọn nǹkan èlò tí fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ ohun gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ń bẹ lójú kan nílé ìtajà G Favour Multi-Concept Global Venture kò sí èèyàn tí ò nílò ohun tí G Favour ń ta yálà ní bọ́ndù ni tàbí lẹ́yọyọ alára tó tà àbí fúnra ẹni lówó tí ò gún pa generator television fridge deep freezer washing machine microwave blender water dispenser AC lóríṣiríṣi ó pọ̀ ńlẹ̀ ní G Favour Multi-Concept Global Venture àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ ilé bí àga àti tábìlì bí àfihàn ọba àwọn iná tó rẹwà lọ́pọ̀ pọ̀ yọ̀kú chandelier àwọn electrical àti electronic materials náà gbẹ̀yìn industrial ladder àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ó pọ̀ ńlẹ̀ jọ kódà tó fi mọ́ solar panel inverter àti battery ẹ kàn sí G Favour Multi-Concept Global Venture ní number 21 Okesa Street Adó Èkìtì àti number 8 Ojúmọ̀ṣẹ́ Erégùrù Adó Èkìtì ẹ máa pe 0803 385 6500 tàbí 0903 054 4860 G Favour Multi-Concept Global Venture gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ń bẹ nílẹ̀ lóní bìbà.
ẹ̀yin olùgbọ́ wa nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì àti agbègbè rẹ̀ ẹ gbọ́ o àrùn onígbá méjì ìyẹn kọ́lẹ́rà kò mọ ọmọdé bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni kò mọ àgbà kò mọ ọkùnrin kò mọ obìnrin kójú sì má bàa rí bi gbogbo ara lògùn rẹ̀ ẹ tọ́jú àyíká ilé yín ẹ rí wípé gbogbo oúnjẹ ilé yín wà ní dídé ní gbogbo ìgbà ẹ sì rí wípé ẹ ń fi ọṣẹ fọwọ́ yín lóòrèkóòrè tẹ́ bá ti wá kéfín pé ọmọ ń ṣe ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ṣáṣá àbí bí ti ń ṣe ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ náà ní dàgọ̀rọ̀rọ̀ látẹnu ẹ tètè kàn sílé ìwòsàn fún ìtọ́jú tó péye.
Midas Radio 90.5 FM ló ní a máa ké tán wípé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ dènà àrùn onígbá méjì láwùjọ wa.
ìgbà tó tó gbá ní ṣèbálẹ̀ àgbọ̀nmi ìran kọ̀ǹkọ̀ tó tó kọ̀ǹkọ̀ ní ṣèbálẹ̀ odò Midas Hotel irú kan ṣọ̀wọ́n láwùjọ òkúta ẹyẹ tí ó ṣe bí ọ̀kẹ́ òsì nígbó ẹja tí ó wọ àrògìgbà lójú òsínlálẹ̀ odò kìnìún olólà jùlọ bá ẹranko mo débẹ̀ mo bá a bẹ́ẹ̀ àyíká tó fọkàn ẹni balẹ̀ ìgbàlejò tó múnú ẹni dùn iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná oníwákàtí 24 láì ṣẹ́jú rárá yàrá tó tutù fọkàn ẹni balẹ̀ pẹ̀sẹ̀ oúnjẹ àjẹgbádùn máwọ̀ ẹni dán àjò bí ilé táwọn tó fẹ́ ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ tí ń gbádùn ara wọn ààyè wà láti ṣe conference ayẹyẹ àwẹ̀jẹwẹ̀mu ìpàdé iṣẹ́ àti ètò lóríṣiríṣi 15 to 19 Midas Avenue along University Road Adó Èkìtì nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì láwà Midas Hotel ọ̀gá ni ẹ jọ̀ọ́.
Àlàyé ẹja ọsàn ló ń bọ̀ yìí o.
ọmọ sí à backside everything just dey shake.
ọyọ kan mo ní a máa ra gabo ọmọ ẹlẹ yìí o orin tí mo ń wò ni.
máa backside dúró tí ń bọ̀. ọmọ ẹlẹ wá sí báyìí jọ.
fi mí lẹ̀ leave me o.
èwo lẹ̀ ń dánwò ẹ̀yin ọmọdé wọ̀nyí mo díjú ó yẹ fílẹ̀ kíá.
ọmọ ẹjọ́ please rescue me.
bára ẹ̀dá sóhun jàre oníwọ̀kuwọ̀ ọmọ ṣé aṣọ ló wọ̀ yìí àbí àkísà.
ọ̀rọ̀ wa dọwọ́ ẹ̀yin òbí wà yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ojúṣe wa bó ti tó àti bó ti yẹ ká kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin nípa bí wọ́n ti lè gbégbé ayé tó nítumọ̀ lórí ìrìnsí wọn ibi tí wọ́n jẹ̀ sí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ àtọ́n tí wọ́n mu bí wọn ò ṣe ní wọṣọ níwọ̀kuwọ̀ àti irúfẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ tí wọ́n bá ń bá rìn tó fi mọ́ kíkọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ọkùnrin nípa bí wọ́n ti lè máa bá wọn obìnrin ṣe láwùjọ tí ò sì ní dọjọ́ iwájú kí wọ́n máa ṣìwàwù láàárín ìlú iṣẹ́ dọwọ́ yín o Midas Radio 90.5 FM Ládó Èkìtì ló ṣí wa létí pé ìwà ọmọlúàbí ló yẹ ká máa hu káwùjọ wa ó lè dáa.
ẹ káàbọ̀ padà látòkè lọ́wọ́n oyè eré gbogbo tẹ̀sẹ̀ tìrín ẹjẹ́ múrò yẹn ọjọ́ ń rebi àná òrùn rebi àti wọ̀ ẹjẹ́ ń lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kàrò yẹn torí ọjọ́ ń lọ ókè àwọn wo ló ti wà lójú òpó Facebook at Midas Radio 905 126 shares 50 reactions 51 comments ó kéré oyè ẹ máa like ẹ fi comment sí ẹ wá lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti share rẹ̀ ẹjẹ́ ó lọ sọ́wọ́ wájú sí ibi abẹ́tò ìdè ó ti yá máa wọ 500 shares ká máa wọ 1k shares kí ló wà ń bẹ̀ tí o ti bẹ̀ kú ẹgbẹ́ oge yàrá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ ẹgbẹ́ ẹjẹ́ ó lọ ọwọ́ iwájú sí Samuel Yẹ̀rú Ọ̀kẹ́ ó ti ṣí àrẹ̀ Ọlásùnkànmí Òkè òun náà ti jí lójú oorun ẹsẹ̀ ó ń ṣí àrẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ Razak Oze òun náà ń ṣí àrẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ókè òun náà ń ṣí àlọ́wọ́ lápá Abdulrazak Ozize òun náà ń ṣí àlọ́wọ́ Olúwadéṣọlá Akínkùgbé Usman Fàkúnlé alàgbà aríkúnyan àwọn tó ti ṣí àníyàn o Jẹ́gẹ́dẹ́ Táíwò òun náà ti ṣí à lápá àtibẹ̀ yẹn ókè Òní Olúwaṣẹ́gun òun náà ṣí àrẹ̀ ó lọ sọ́wọ́ iwájú Ògúnsákídáyọ̀ ara àwọn aláǹṣẹ́ ara ètò ènìyàn Nasta Rombika òun náà ṣí àlọ́wọ́ ókè ó ti ṣí àrẹ̀ Gọ́dé Daniel Délé òun náà ṣí àlápá àtibẹ̀ yẹn ókè John Ọláwálé Adéòtí Adéwálé Daniela Akínyẹmí Òjó Awọ̀lúmọ̀tẹ́ Christopher Digema ara àwọn tó ń ṣe àníyàn Prince Ayọ̀mídé òun náà ń ṣe àrẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ lójú òpó Facebook ẹ̀yin yòókù ń bolẹ̀ wà ó yẹ ẹgbẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí ṣe àtìyàn wọ 1k ẹjọ́ wọ gbogbo ohun tí mo fẹ́ mọ̀ rí nìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti wá sí àtà ẹ mọ̀ láìkì yẹn náà mo fẹ́ gbéra pápá torí ìjọba àkókò ọjọ́ tí ń rebi àná òòrùn rebi àti wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ṣí àrẹ̀ ẹ láìkì ẹ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ tí ì darapọ̀ náà ẹ̀yin náà gbórí wọlé mo padà bọ̀ wá ka kọ́mẹ̀ntà ẹ̀jẹ̀ sáré múròyìn káàbí méje kí n má dáwọ̀ èèyàn lágara Jamin Defoe agbábọ́ọ̀lù tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹnu kan tó tẹ́ mọ́sọ̀ ó ti gbaṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni fúngbà àkọ́kọ́ báyìí o nínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù onípele kẹta kan Working FC ibẹ̀ ni ó ti mọ̀ ṣó Workings àná ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta èésàná ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kéde rẹ̀ èèyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùkọ́ni tuntun fúnpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù wọ́kẹ́lẹ́sì èèyàn lápá ti bẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n gbaṣẹ́ èèyàn lọ́wọ́ olùkọ́ni gòtúdọ̀ àwọn olùkọ́ni bíi méje kan ó ní kò ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Tottenham Hotspur ó ní wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wojú báyìí o èèyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tó ṣeéṣe ká fi rọ́pò rẹ̀ olùkọ́ni gòtúdọ̀ bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn alákòóso kan ti Tottenham Hotspur àwọn ti ní ẹ̀wò àwọn ò ní gba olùkọ́ni fìdí ẹ̀ mọ́ olùkọ́ni táwọn bá máa gbà báyìí àdéhùn ọlọ́dún gbọ́rọ̀ làwọn máa fún ọ àwọn dẹ̀ máa fún láǹfààní láti tún ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù tó ti àmọ̀ sọ láti tún tòbí ẹni tó gbani o lára àwọn olùkọ́ni eléyìí tí wọ́n wá ń wojú kó ṣeéṣe ká gbéṣẹ́ fún òun láti rí olùkọ́ni Sunday Ìjà olùkọ́ni tó kù nínú Nottingham Forest wọ́n fẹ́ gbéṣẹ́ fún náà bákan náà olùkọ́ni Ria Masen sẹ́ẹ̀rẹ́tì olùkọ́ni Ria Masen olùkọ́ni yìí òun ló kó wọn gbá ìdíje Carabao Cup final tí Mourinho kó wọn gbàǹjo ní olùkọ́ni yẹn ló kó wọn gbà Ria Masen ó ní wọ́n tún wojú tiẹ̀ náà bó ṣeé ṣe kí wọ́n lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbéṣẹ́ fún èèyàn lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ okay. bákan náà olùkọ́ni Roberto Di Zerbi wọ́n ń wojú òun náà olùkọ́ni Robbie Keane agbábọ́ọ̀lù tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹnu kan Tottenham Hotspur ní wọ́n ń wojú òun náà olùkọ́ni Mauricio Pochettino olùkọ́ni orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà báyìí wọ́n ń wojú òun náà lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ìjọ tí kò Tottenham Hotspur tó fìyà paná wájú Atletico olùkọ́ni Mauricio Pochettino ó wà lórí ìjókòó lọ́jọ́ yẹn eléyìí tó wá ń ṣe àwọn èèyàn ní ok eléyìí tó ń ṣe àwọn èèyàn ní òun lolùkọ́ni eléyìí mò ń padà bọ̀ wá kà á ṣùgbọ́n olùkọ́ni ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà olùkọ́ni Ruben Amorim wọ́n ń wojú tiẹ̀ náà bó ṣe é ṣe kó padà wá sínú Tottenham Hotspur eléyìí tí wọ́n ń ya àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù àti àwọn olólùfẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ti Tottenham Hotspur lẹ́nu ó ní olùkọ́ni kan tó ti kọ́ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Tottenham Hotspur sòdírí ọdún 2008 sí 2012 òun ló fi ṣiṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùkọ́ni ṣùgbọ́n fún dídí 20 ọdún báyìí olùkọ́ni yóò tí ì ṣiṣẹ́ o ikọ̀ Tottenham Hotspur ní ó wu àwọn káwọn gbé olùkọ́ni wá kó wá gba iṣẹ́ nù pẹ̀lú àwọn Tottenham làwọn olólùfẹ́ bá dára ṣe é gbádùn ṣe é mọ̀ tẹ̀ ń ṣe ọ̀gbẹ́ni gbẹ̀ngàn ọmọ nìyí Negredo Fuji Scorpido ìjàkíjàkí wa kíni ọ̀gbọ̀nà sukù wa ilé gbàgbé mọ̀ ọ̀gbọ̀nà sukù wa èèyàn Ibrahim Diaz ẹ kí àwọn ará lé.
A kí àwọn olólùfẹ́ wa nìkan ní Midas Radio pé a kú ojúmọ́ adé kú ojúmọ́ ní tí sọjá ajé àbàwọn lájẹ lọ́wọ́ ni o àníbá wọn lọ́rùn ẹ kú ojúmọ́ yàrá lé.
Usman Tawa mo ti rí àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ yín mo ti rí ó ti yé mi báyìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínabí Adéwálé ẹ̀yin náà kí àwọn ará lé.
A kí gbogbo àwọn ará lé káàkiri ibi tí ẹ ti lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti mọ gbọ́ wa fún ti àárọ̀ tó ní pé a kú ojúmọ́ mọ́ ojúmọ́ aláyọ̀ lónìí ajẹ́ fún wa òní ọjọ́ ajé àràjé jẹun o gbogbo tí ń jẹ́ ti Ọlọ́run lókè mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa nínú ẹ̀sìn Islam àti ẹ̀sìn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì pé a kú ojúmọ́ yóò dáa fún gbogbo wa o. ẹ ṣeun.
ẹ sún sápá òkè báyìí tó ibẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ bí kámẹ́rà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ sún. ok lọ́jọ́ Jímọ̀ à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìdíje líìgì àgbẹ̀jọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ̀ngàn ọmọ nìyí Negredo ok ẹ ti ẹ má jẹ́ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ o ẹ já bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti inú ìdíje UFC lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà òun tó fìyà panu lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọwọ́ ọjọ́ pífà òun ló fìyà panu sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ló ti ń bòde pé at 35 àbí 36 nìyí ẹ lọ́ọ̀rẹ́ fi ẹ̀yìn tì ìyún náà tó ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin rèé tí Israel Adésànyà tó jẹ́ ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí ó pàdánù lérí ara wọn àwọn èèyàn wá ń pè pé yẹsà ẹ lọ́ọ̀rẹ́ fi ẹ̀yìn tì àbí kí ló tún kù lẹ́yìn rábànà kọ́rọ̀ bùṣe ẹ ti gbà fi ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ wà á sàn góòde ẹ ti gbà fi ẹ̀yẹ ẹ ti àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ yẹn dáadáa bọ́ọ̀rọ̀ bá tún tuntun wá rí báyìí èèyàn á máa gbójú kò kó fẹ̀yìntì ni ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ̀ngàn ọmọ nìyí ẹ já wo ọ̀rọ̀ Israel Adésànyà lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ ó fi ìyàpanu sọ́wọ́ Joe Piffer ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin tí ó pàdánù lórí ara wọn.
Àtọkùn lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà èmi gan wò pé ìgbà tó ti pàdánù bíi méjì la ṣe lè máa wò pé ó yẹ kó ṣe kíni kó ti fẹ̀yìntì tipẹ́tipẹ́ ó ti di ẹlẹ́kẹta lọ ẹlẹ́kẹrin ló ti ṣe kíni.
ẹlẹ́kẹrin ló gùn wíkẹ́ndì.
ló ti gùn ní wíkẹ́ndì èmi wá rí i pé àgbà ti dé lóòótọ́ torí nígbà míì a lè máa wò pé àwọn tó ń ja ẹ̀ṣẹ́ yìí àtàwọn tó ń ja gbogbo kan tán nípa tí kì í ṣe ti football a lè máa wò pé ti football ńgbà míì o lè gbá bọ̀ wọ bí 45 o lè gbá wọ bí 40 even gan nípa football gan amúlé ló ṣe kíní gan ló wọ́pọ̀ sí jù èmi rí i pé àsìkò ti tó láti kíni láti fẹ̀yìntì torí pé tó bá fẹ̀yìntì láyé àsìkò tó yẹ báyà tọkùn gbogbo rẹ́kọ̀d tó ti ní tẹ́lẹ̀ ó lè ṣeé ṣe kó padà ṣe kíni kó padà bá bàjẹ́ èmi rí i pé àsìkò rèé fún láti fẹ̀yìntì àtọkùn.
wọ́n ní ó fẹ̀yìntì kò fẹ̀yìntì àìfẹ̀yìntì Ṣọlá Adésànyà ǹjọ́ ṣeéṣe kó ní ìpalára fètò ìlera rẹ̀ abẹ́ báwo ìjẹun àtijọ́ pífà yẹn àánú ẹ̀ ó ṣe yín bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn lù débi pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń yọ mú yọ lẹ́nu ni ètò ìlera Ṣọlá Adésànyà at that age ǹjọ́ ṣeéṣe kó ní ìfarapa bí ó bá kọ̀ bí ó bá fẹ̀yìntì.
Atọ́kùn èmi rí i pé ó ṣeéṣe kó ní ìfarapa lóòótọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé àwọn tó ń ja ẹ̀ṣẹ́ yìí nígbà tí wọ́n ti fẹ̀yìntì a máa ń gbọ́ kan tó ṣe kíni tó padà máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ fún wọn torí ẹ̀jẹ̀ tá ti bà wọ́n lórí tá ti bà wọ́n lójú tá ti bà wọ́n ní gbogbo.
eléyìí tó ṣe jẹ́ kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ nìkan àtìpá àti gbogbo ẹ̀nà kó sí.
gbogbo setting gan a ti padà sí ibi tí wọ́n gan ṣe kíni tó ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí èmi rẹ̀ rí i pé àbádẹ́ ti ń dé fún èmi rí i pé tí yóò bá tètè fẹ̀yìntì Atọ́kùn ìkan tí àrò kó má padà lọ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Adésànyà èmi rí i pé àsìkò rèé láti fẹ̀yìntì Atọ́kùn.
pé ok wọn ní Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé ẹ lè ní ìtẹ́sọ̀ official.
èèyàn kì í dédé sọ̀rẹ́ńdà báyẹn tẹ́ bá mọ àwọn akíkanjú lóríṣiríṣi wọn kì í dédé sọ̀rẹ́ńdà especially ní boxing àfi tó bá fínúfíndọ̀ sọ pé òun fẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì a rí Mohammed ngbà yẹn Mohammed Ali tí ó adẹ̀rí ọmọ Ogun State náà Peter kẹ́nẹ́ kan mo ti gbàgbé orúkọ ẹ̀ tó pé òun náà wọn fi bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ̀yìntì but pẹ̀lú èjì tí Ṣọlá Adésànyà wà ìta bá ní pé kó lọ fẹ̀yìntì gbígbà tó jẹ́ pé bá a sọ gan o lè mọ́ gbà torí pé ó ti wà lára.
òun gàtẹ̀ tí lóun ò fẹ̀yìntì pé òun sì ń jà lọ ni.
struggle continue dẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ayé so èmi kàn wò pé ìlera ara rẹ̀ torí tó bá ti ń fi ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ túbòtù lóríṣiríṣi ó ṣeé ṣe àmì tó mọ̀ ń gbẹ̀yìn àwọn boxers yẹn tó yẹ pé ọpọlọ ẹlòmíì ẹ̀já ti sá sí lóríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀jú gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ tó bá mọ̀ pé mi ń sì gbé torí mo mọ̀ èmi wò pé kí ló tún wá wọ́n lù ọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kínní títí dórí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin wàá ìwò pé báyọ̀ sì lè padà sí àyè tó wà tẹ́lẹ̀ sí òbí tí ò bá ti rọrùn fún abẹ́tà kò rí sáyìn.
ok ọ̀gbẹ́ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ń dán ọmọ nìyẹn já lọ́dún dídé líìgì àgbọ̀jẹ̀ torílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ẹ sọ́ lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ pé ẹ rí Enugu Rangers bí ẹni pé yóò lu kan shooting mọ́lé abala àkọ́kọ́ fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn àmì ayò òdo ló parí ẹ̀ nígbà abẹ́lẹ́ pé tẹ̀jẹ̀ pé kan shooting start ní òbítíbitì ṣọ́ọ̀tì sójú àwọn tó jẹ́ pé kò wọlé ṣùgbọ́n ní abala ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì shooting mi àwọn nígbà òdi bíi 70 minutes Rangers dá padà lọ́rọ̀ bá di ẹran máa jògì kálukú bá ń wò pé ló fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ó kù bẹ́lẹ́ jákè fẹsẹ̀ wọn ṣe parí shooting fi ẹyọ kan lé ó di méjì sẹ́yọ kan kálukú tẹ̀ tí wò pé kọ́kọ́ yá parí síbẹ̀ ń wo kádàrí àyò fún fèrè kẹ́yìn báyìí shooting kan tó gbé kan lé ni ló bá di mẹ́ta sẹ́yọ kan pẹ̀lú àmì ayò mẹ́ta sẹ́yọ kan ikọ̀ shooting ti wà nípò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀karùn-ún àwọn àtikọ̀ tó wà ní last continental slot ipò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta ni sábà pé yàn mẹ́ta méjì ó lọ CAF Champions League ẹyọ kan ó lọ CAF Confederations Cup ẹni tó bá wá gba FA Cup ẹni tó bá gba Presidential Cup àbí òun President Cup lẹ́pẹ́ báyìí òun náà máa ṣe ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹrin tó máa lọ CAF Confederations Cup so yàn mẹ́ta ni ó jáde lọ díje CAF láti líìgì ẹni tó wà ní last slot lórí CAF lórí continental ticket òun ẹni tó wà ń pò kẹta Ìkòròdú City 52 points ló ní Shooting Star wà ní 50 points ẹ jẹ́ àwo chances ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù shooting láti qualify fún láti rí tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì àti lọ sójú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà nínú ìdíje àjọ CAF gbà ní sáà yìí ṣe àǹfààní wà wọ́n ti dá fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ṣe méjì lé ní 32 matches sọ pé week 32 náà wà week 32 náà wà báyìí ok pẹ̀lú week 32 ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ kó bí abí mẹ́rin àbí márùn pẹ̀lú bó ti wà yìí ṣé kò shooting lè lọ continental.
Atọ́kùn lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà èmi rí i pé ó ṣe kíni kan lọ ṣùgbọ́n ikọ̀ tó wà níwájú ikọ̀ shooting ìyẹn Ìkòròdú Atọ́kùn èmi rí i pé ẹni tó bá ń tẹ̀lé Ìkòròdú dáadáa ní sáyé a rí i pé Ìkòròdú yìí èmi rí i pé ìṣòwò gbábọ́ọ̀lù wọn ó mú yányán gan gidi even tó máa lọ sí ìta gan tó ń lọ sí ìwé nígbà míì wọ́n máa ń fìdí rẹmi nígbà míì gan wọ́n á dó ti alátakò tó yẹ pé tó bá múra Ìkòròdú City yìí wọ́n á bẹ ta ọ̀mẹ̀ ọkàn ṣe kí ni kán tí ń nà ẹ̀ mọ́lé èmi rí i pé àǹfààní ṣì wà fún shooting ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tó bá bá ju wọn Ìkòròdú yìí èmi ò rí Ìkòròdú pé Ìkòròdú City yìí ó ṣe kan bọ́rẹ́lẹ̀ èmi ò rí Ìkòròdú ṣùgbọ́n èmi sì rí i pé pẹ̀lú kan tó wà nílẹ̀ football ni kò sí kan tí ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ èmi sì rí shooting pé 60-40 ni fún un.
60 pé.
Ìkòròdú ó sì máa Ìkòròdú lá lọ ṣùgbọ́n 40 fún shooting pé.
pé shooting star sì lè jàgbà. ok àmì ayò méjì ló wà nílẹ̀ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé.
ó depend lérí bí shooting bá ṣe múra sí toró dàbí pé ẹnujọ́ mẹ́ta nǹkan ti ń change dáadáa fún wọn èmi wò pé kán gbìyànjú sí kò sí nǹkan tí ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ níbi bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá mi ò dẹ̀ rí wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí ò lè pegedé so níwòye ti tèmi kán bá túbọ̀ múra sí ó ṣeé ṣe kán gba position yẹn mọ́ Ìkòròdú City lọ́wọ́ ọ̀ kán rí mẹ́sì ibi tí wọ́n wà.
ok ọ̀dà bákan méjì náà là á bá yó gan ó dé adé nínú àjọ CAF mo sọ ìròyìn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Congo kan jò ní Veron Mosengo Omba tí mo ní àtẹ̀nà rẹ̀ ti parí gẹ́gẹ́ bí akọ̀wé àjọ CAF ṣe é rántí Veron Mosengo Omba ó ti kọ̀wé fi sẹ́lẹ̀ lánàá o òun ò ṣe mọ́ òun fẹ́ lọ rèé di ààrẹ àjọ tó ń tó bọ́ọ̀lù láṣẹ̀gbá lórílẹ̀‐èdè Congo kódà bó ti sọ gan làjọ CAF ti ní àwọn sọ̀pọ̀tì ẹ̀ àjọ FIFA náà ni àbó bá jẹ́yìn òní máa lọ kódà ẹni tó jẹ́ ààrẹ tó fẹ́ fipò lẹ̀ báyìí òun náà ní ó wù òun kó jẹ́ pé Veron Mosengo Omba ló máa gbé pò lẹ̀ fún gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ lójú ẹsẹ̀ ó ní wọ́n kéde ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà Samson Adamu ọmọ bíbí inú Amos Adamu tó náà ti gbà kan rí jẹ́ ọ̀gá àgbà nínú àjọ CAF arákùnrin ni wọ́n kéde gẹ́gẹ́ bí akọ̀wé àjọ CAF fìdíhẹ́ acting general secretary fún àjọ CAF ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn Ọmọnìyí oríire rèé fórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
atọ́kùn oríire ni ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n ní pé ti ọ̀rọ̀ ẹjọ́ tó wà ńlẹ̀ èmi rí i pé.
ẹjọ́ ti lọ àkàtì ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹjọ́ mọ́ báyìí ẹjọ́ ti lọ ẹjọ́ ti kó wájú CAF.
ìyẹn ti lọ ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí i pé oríire rèé ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ nípa atọ́kùn ni pé ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà mélòó ló ti lọ sí CAF tó ṣe kíni tó táàrí pa tó ṣe kíni tó padà mọ́ fún orílẹ̀-èdè ìdárayá ti Nàìjíríà èmi rí i pé jẹ́ ká wò ó gan òkè ẹni tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí èmi rí i pé àsìkò rèé fún Nàìjíríà gan pé kóun náà gbìyànjú pé kákan tẹ̀ host ti CAF tournament kan bóyá bí kò ṣe bí CAF Champions League final o bó ṣe ti Nation Cup o bó ṣe ti tóbìnrin o kákan tẹ̀ gbìyànjú káwọn náà ṣe kíni ká nípa káwọn náà bọ̀ host ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí i pé oríire gidi ni fún Nàìjíríà tọkùn.
ok ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn Ọmọnìyí ẹjẹ àwò báyìí ó ti pẹ́ tí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Omba yìí tó ti yẹ kó fipò ilẹ̀ tí ò fi ilẹ̀ ó ṣe jẹ́ ẹ̀yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n da ẹjọ́ nù ló ṣe fi abẹ́yìn òru bẹ́ẹ̀ torí ìgbà tí mo rẹ̀ pé ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wàá rántí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè DR Congo ni o ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wàá rántí báyà kó yẹ kó resign ó ṣe jẹ́ ẹ̀yìn ìgbà tí àjọ CAF dẹjọ́ nù tán kó ṣe ti resign nígbà tá a sì lẹ́jọ́ wájú àjọ CAF bóyá tí Àdàmú ìbá ti wà ń bẹ̀ ní táìmù tá a lẹ́jọ́ bóyá ìbá ti àbí kí lẹ́rù abẹ́mi ni mò ń overthink.
rárá ṣírò torí pé ìta bá wọ ọkàn àwọn èèyàn náà nílé tàbí nígboro ẹ rí i pé irú ìbéèrè á wà lọ́kàn wọn pé kó tó di pé wọ́n da ẹjọ́ nù ò bá ti kúkú resign ó ń wò pé tó ń bá bóyá àṣegbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pé jẹ́ kí n ṣe lè tán kí n dẹ̀ mọ́ lọ lé.
kó ṣe ṣe kó náà pé jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ ṣe lè tán náà
kó tó di pé máa resign torí tẹ bá fẹ́ resign níbi iṣẹ́ kì í ṣe pé ọjọ́ yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀rù ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ rò sẹ́yìn pé ìgbà báyìí ló tọ́ sí mi láti pé kí n resign èmi ń wò pé ó ṣe ẹjọ́ yẹn tán gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹlẹ́ran ara ló dẹ̀ resign so má fi ilé ti tèmi ó yẹ kó ti resign kó tó di pé wọ́n á gbé ìdájọ́ yẹn jáde níwòye ti tèmi.
atọ́kùn torí pé ibi tó yí sí ni la sọ pé kó ti resign kò sọmọ ọba yìí kọ́ Nàìjíríà ló wà ní position tí Congo wà yìí káwọn náà la ṣe la wà ní position a lè sọ pé kí ọmọ ilẹ̀-èdè wa náà kó ṣe kíni kóun náà resign àá sọ pé ìwọ náà dúró ẹjọ́ yìí bá wa dúró ti débi tó lápẹẹrẹ kí wọn náà tó ṣe kíni kó tó kọ̀wé fi ṣe sílẹ̀ èmi rí i pé atọ́kùn kò sẹ́ni tó máa ṣe ta ni òun náà máa resign èmi rí i pé ọgbọ́n ni gbogbo kíní géèmù náà fi play pé tá bá ti gbẹ́jọ́ yìí lọ sí ibi tí a ti mọ̀ pé kò sí lọ́dọ̀ wa mọ́ màá fi ṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ ni.
àti pé gẹ̀yàn mi gán kàtí ẹ̀ sọ sáà lẹ́jọ́ ni ìbẹ́jọ́ tá a pè owó òpẹ̀jọ́ sáà san ni àsan owó òpẹ̀jọ́ náà èyí wà tá a kàn lọ waste time ara wa ni lọ́nà ó sàná. lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àjọ CAF bẹ́ẹ̀ mo wà CAF ní àwọn sún ìdíje ife ẹ̀yẹ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ kúrò ní eléyàn 24 24 teams ló ń gbà báyìí wọn ni yóò di 28 ṣùgbọ́n o àwọn ò tí ì lè sọ ìgbà tí wọn ni Patrick Motsepe sọ lánàá pé ti 2027 orílẹ̀-èdè Kenya Tanzania àti Uganda òun náà ló máa gbà ṣùgbọ́n kan máa wáyé ní 2028 ìyẹn ló máa jẹ́ 28 teams lẹ́yìn ti 2028 yìí ó dọdún mẹ́rin ká tó máa gbá Nations Cup lẹ́yìn ọdún mẹ́rin yìí láàrin ọdún mẹ́rin tábà ti gba 2028 tán ọdún mẹ́rin ló kàn láàrin ọdún mẹ́rin o CAF Nations League ìlà máa gbá bíi ti UEFA Nations League yẹn àwa náà máa gbá CAF Nations League ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn Ọmọnìyí ìgbésẹ̀ àjọ CAF wọ́n fẹ́ sọ kúrò ní 24 teams wọ 28 teams bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọdún 2028.
atọ́kùn èmi náà rí i pé lóòótọ́ àlè máa wò pé ìkan tí CAF ń gbìyànjú àti ṣe pé ìkan tí òun yẹ̀ sí ni football ti kọjá ibi tí gbogbo wa fojú sí atọ́kùn ẹ jẹ́ ká wo Champions League tí táwọn gbá náà a rí i pé àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìkan náà ṣe kíni náà ti yọ kúrò ńbẹ̀ bíi ìwé go nígbà míì tó yẹ pé tó bá ti ní ìwé go báyìí ilé ara ẹ̀ wà dúró síbẹ̀ ni pé alátakò má ṣe kíni kó má mi àwọn èmi rí i pé ìkan tí CAF náà ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe ni pé òun náà ti ń wò pé ó ṣeéṣe pé pé kó tó di bíi ọdún bíi 5 mẹ́wàá síwájú náà pé FIFA World Cup náà àwọn náà ti lè gbìyànjú náà pé káwọn náà sọ tí wọ́n dídá bíi league format kò sí kan tí ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ní football ó dẹ̀ dọ̀là báyìí kan ní World Cup tá a fẹ́ lọ gbá o ó ti dá league format ẹ̀ tó wá ti tọ́ọ̀pù láṣẹ kí ni lágbèfẹ́ lọ èmi rí i pé nǹkan tí káàfù ń ṣe àwọn náà ń wò pé football ti kọjá ibi tí àfojú sí ni èmi dẹ̀ rí i pé lóòrè tèmi tí ó bá ti ní pé á ní ọwọ́ màgòmágbónú kò béwude lọ́dọ̀ tèmi àtọ́kùn.
ok ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akalabi.
kò béwude náà.
ẹ̀yin náà fara mọ́.
technology tí wọ́n advance sí ni so táwa kò dé yẹn náà ká dúró sójú kan pé tí àjọ káfóró nu but èmi ń wò pé ṣé kò ní dí ara wọn lọ́wọ́ ọdún méjì ní tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n gbé lọ sí ọdún 4 tó bá sì yẹn náà ló máa favour wa tàbí tó máa mú kí bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá kó ṣe déédéé ká faramọ́.
ok wọ́n ní ẹ faramọ́ ẹ já kúkú gbẹ́rì wò kí o kọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ ńlẹ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn ọmọ ní ìnẹ̀gẹ́dù wọ́n bí Kylian Mbappe pé ikọ̀ wo ló wà inform jù lágbàlá ayé Arsenal ni Bayern ni Real Madrid ni àbí ikọ̀ yòókù Kylian Mbappe ní àárín àwọn mẹ́ta náà ló wà wọ́n ní Arsenal ó ní Real Madrid ó ní tàwa ni ó ní lágbàlá ayé báyìí kò sí ikọ̀ tó wà inform ju kọ̀ Bayern Munich lọ ó ní ikọ̀ tó wà inform jù báyìí ó ní ẹ mọ̀jà àtàrà wa Bayern ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yẹn ní tí wò pé alákùnrin rí ọ̀rọ̀ ìsọ báyìí ṣe mọ̀ntẹ́ ṣé Kylian Mbappe right láti lè mú Bayern Munich gẹ́gẹ́ bí ikọ̀ tó wà ń fọ́ọ̀mù jù báyìí lágbàláyé.
Atọ́kùn ọmọ tó ń ṣe ìbílẹ̀ nìkan tó bá bèèrè lọ́wọ́ pé ikọ̀ olówó àìfọ́ọ̀mù jù kò sẹ́ni tá a rí ikọ̀ Bayern Munich sílẹ̀ tá a lọ ní ikọ̀ Arsenal ikọ̀ Barcelona ikọ̀ Real Madrid wọ́n ṣe kíni wọ́n á lọ mú kò sí ẹni ká wo díje Champions League tí ikọ̀ Bayern yìí ti gbá lóòótọ́ a lè máa wò pé bóyá ikọ̀ Arsenal náà wọ́n ní ṣé níbẹ̀rẹ̀ sáà ní league èmi rí i pé ikọ̀ Bayern tó wà ní láti gbà tán ti wọ bíi abala kejì Champions League yìí kò sí ikọ̀ tán bá lọ lé wọn tán ní mi àwọn mi mọ bó ṣe ní defence kí defence ẹ ṣe kí ni kó tanná lẹ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ikọ̀ Bayern yìí lọ́wọ́ abáyé kí ò bá mi àwọn Olise á mi àwọn bí Olise ò mi àwọn Diaz á mi àwọn even Jackson gan òun gan mọtibí gan ọlọ́gbọ́n ti tiẹ̀ ni èmi rí i pé kò sí even ọwọ́ wájú ikọ̀ even táwọn wájú ikọ̀ Bayern Munich gan tó bá paná táwọn mi àwọn ọwọ́ àárín gbùngbùn wọn gan even ọwọ́ ẹ̀yìn wọn gan èmi rí i pé ikọ̀ Bayern àtọ́kùn lóòótọ́ èmi náà gbà pé ikọ̀ Bayern yìí ni ikọ̀ tó wà inform jù lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá a wà yìí.
ó dáa ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akalabi ṣe ẹgbà Bayern Munich ló wà inform.
lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí tá a wò dáadáa kálukú ló ní opinion titi ẹ̀ but níwòye titi tèmi tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Arsenal lágbàáyé lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí àwọn náà ò ṣe fọwọ́rọ́ sẹ́yìn torí pé tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ láti ọwọ́ ẹ̀yìn láti bí goalkeeper mọ́ defender midfielder débi striker nkankan gbogbo ẹ̀ ló pé but mi ń wo Bayern Munich yẹn ká má tanra wa jẹ àwọn náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ tó pé ṣùgbọ́n ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí èmi náà faramọ́ tíìmù wọn pé
Bayern Munich ló wà inform
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
ok ó dá ìdíje ti ok apàbò ni ti mọ̀ jẹ́ ń gbé sọ́sọ́wọ́ àwájú náà ìdíje Kazeem ọ̀wọ́sọ Easter competition ó wáyé lánàá ikọ̀ takú ti Jésù àwọn tó fìyà paná SVI òun ló fìyà jẹ wọ́n àmì ayò 3-0 wá sọ fún takú ti kókó padà sẹ́sẹ̀ wọ́n tiẹ̀ ti lù wọ́n náà tó padà sẹ́sẹ̀ Jésù ẹ̀ takú ti Jésù fìyà paná o SVI fìyà jẹ 3-0 MK Wonder òun àti Zinu ẹ̀sìn kojú ara wọn Zinu jáwé olúborí àmì ayò 3-2 ní tó bá wá di lónìí láago káàbọ̀ ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Jordan FC òun àti Rona FC àwọn méjèèjì ó mọ kojú ara wọn aago 7 ní kọ́ gìbátò òun àti Aziko FC àwọn méjèèjì náà mọ kojú ara wọn bó ṣe máa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wà ìyẹn tá a bá ń sọ nípa ìdíje ti Kazeem ọ̀wọ́sọ Easter competition eléyìí tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lápá bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ pápá àgbéra ìjọ tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti rà ń kojú ara wa lọ́jọ́ Friday ẹnìkan ló béèrè ìbéèrè yẹn lọ́wọ́ mi lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ mo ní kó ní sùúrù n ó sọ lónìí àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù orílẹ̀-èdè round fún àwa tá a wo ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ yẹn bí wọ́n ṣe wọ orí pápá wọ́n gbé báàgì dání bíi báàgì ọmọ sùkúù wọ́n gbé máyà báyìí mo ní fọ́nrán fídíò síbi ó wù mí kí n fi hàn lójú òpá yóò dáa lọ́jọ́ ti lọ bí wọ́n ṣe tò lọ́wọ́ àwọ̀tá wọlé wọ́n gbé báàgì dání ẹnìkan wọ́n bi mí léèrè pé kí ló fà á ṣe báàgì náà ṣé wọ́n tó fi ń ṣé wọ́n ti fi báàgì gbá bọ́ọ̀lù pé kí ló dé táwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù round tí àwọn gbé báàgì dání bí ọmọ iléèwé sẹ́ẹ̀rì tí wọ́n ṣe o wọ́n fi ṣèrántí àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tí wọ́n jáde láyé ní ọjọ́ tí ogun Iran bẹ̀rẹ̀ gangan ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àkọlù kan ṣẹlẹ̀ síléèwé alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ kan lórílẹ̀‐èdè Iran lọ́jọ́ tá à ń wí ìròyìn jẹ́ ọjọ́ 28 ní oṣù kejì ọdún yìí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ February 28 ìròyìn jẹ́ ọmọ ayé pé kò dín ní èèyàn 170 tí wọ́n gbé ẹ̀mí mì nínú àwọn 170 àwọn ọmọ iléèwé wà ń bẹ̀ àwọn olùkọ́ wà ń bẹ̀ ọjọ́ yìí gangan ni ogun middle east ń ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Iran gbogbo wọn wà ní wàhálà yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ èèyàn 170 ló gbé ẹ̀mí mi ọmọléèwé wà nù wọn olùkọ́ wà nù wọn ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn ọmọ nìyẹn gẹ́dọ̀ ìgbésẹ̀ àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù orílẹ̀-èdè Iran fọ́tò rẹ̀ wọ́n gbé báàgì dání lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan láti fún láti àwọn ọmọ tó gbẹ̀mí mi.
atọ́kùn ìgbà tèmi náà wo ìdíje mo kọ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí tó bá jẹ́ bí kọ̀mọ́tẹ́tọ̀ wa ń tura àti ṣàlàyé mo rí pé ok èmi rí pé atọ́kùn ìkan tó bójú mu ní lóòótọ́ torí wọ́n fi bọ́lá fún àwọn tó ṣe kíni tó gbẹ̀mí mi ní pàtàkì àwọn ọmọ tó jẹ́ bíi ọmọ kékeré láàrin àwọn tó ṣe kíni tó gbẹ̀mí mi èmi rí pé ìkan tó bójú mu ni gidi níwòye tèmi.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé ogun ti parí báyìí báwọn tó gbẹ̀mí mi ṣé wọ́n ti bógun.
lóòótọ́ ni tabaníkàwò àwọn tó gbẹ̀mí mi wọ́n ti bógun lọ àmọ́ ṣe rí bá ṣe ń ṣe láyé bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń ṣe ní lóde ọ̀run ẹ rí i pé ẹ máa wo àwọn táwa náà ṣe rántí ní Nàìjíríà ń bí kò lè ṣe ká mọ́ ṣèrántí àwọn ọjọ́ yẹn ṣé June 12 ní ká sọ àbí February 14 tí ìṣe tiwa tá a ṣà ń celebrate ẹ̀ so ní tèmi o kì í ṣe nǹkan àbùkù pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe ó dáa láti máa ṣèrántí ìdá ẹ wo January tó máa ń bọ́ sí àyájọ́ àwọn akọni àwọn sójà sí yẹn tó máa ń ṣe remembrance wọn so níwòye ti tèmi ó bẹ́tà bẹ́ẹ̀ a lè sọ pé nǹkan àbùkù ni.
ó dáa wọn ló bẹ́tà bẹ́ẹ̀ ó dáa bá ọ ẹgbẹ́ fẹsẹ̀ kan yàánú kọ́ Manchester United ọ̀jẹ̀dí kúlẹ̀ máa bèrè nọ́mbà wà wọn bàbá yọjú sí alójú òkú Facebook nǹkan ò ní í ṣe yín kò ní í sẹ̀mí yẹn adẹ̀kú òmùra mi ò ní í yan tán ẹgbẹ́ rọra filẹ̀ lóní bẹ́ńbẹ́lẹ́
yẹn. àwa ti mọ̀ àwa náà láṣẹ wá sí bẹ́ẹ̀ àti rẹ́dì so kò sí nǹkan tí ń bọ̀ lókè tí ilé ò gbà.
wọ́n ti kọ VIP
sáìbì ti yín ẹgbẹ́ni kó lè àbèrè
ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé
ẹ bá ti fún iṣẹ́ ìran mi èmi ló yẹ kí n máa sọ fáwọn ará mi ẹgbẹ́ bá ti ń lẹ̀ sí wa pé àwọn ti rí náà kátó mi fẹ́ fi ṣe surprise pass.
bí mo jẹ ráìbì gan mo pé wà déètì ẹ mo ti.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni kó lè àbèrè sọ mi pé àwọn rìdíìmù ni ó wà sísìn.
ó dà kí rìdíìmù ṣèṣìn ó ìyẹn lọ́wọ́ àárọ̀ àwa tá a jẹ́ ṣífù mọ̀mọ́ á take over níbi ọwọ́ ọ̀sán.
yẹ́sà kí ni ti yín
ní tèmi níbi òkú ìyá Kúnlé Àbèrè.
kí ló kàn yín bẹ.
ẹ ṣe lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹ tó béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ ló fẹ́ di ẹ̀ gbọ́ Kúnlé Àbèrè sífù mọ̀mú CBN ní Adó Èkìtì
ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀yin ni
ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni so tí n bá sí níbi òkú ìyá even tí n bá lápọ̀tímẹ́ǹtì.
ní ẹ mọ wà ń bẹ wá sí ni o kò sáyè wá sí.
rárá Kúnlé Àbèrè gan gbọ́dọ̀ sọ mi pé kò sáyè wá sí ikú jẹ́ wá sí Tabligh Allahu Akbar.
ó tó ṣe ẹyẹ Mr. Tabligh.
ok mo ní kí n mọ ọ̀rọ̀ lọ ok ẹ ó dà.
ẹ ṣe o ẹ máa já àkètò mímí lọ ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ ìwọlé àmú lọ tí ó rọ wá sí fún yín lọ́jọ́.
bógo ti ń jẹ́ tọ́lọ́run Allah màá mú àwọ̀lùmọ̀tẹ́ Christopher yẹn àwọ̀lùsù palace màá mú un dání màá dẹ̀ mú Fasco alumílíọ̀nù màá mú dání awóṣèyí là òun náà á mọ̀ bá mi gba owó fáwọn tó bá náwó fún sheik so sheik máa pawó lọ́jọ́ yẹn àádẹ́ẹ̀dín àkàrà ìyẹn ṣe pàtàkì sí mi kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ẹ lè gbàgbé owó àtàkà.
méjèèjì yẹn ṣe pàtàkì.
àfiṣe ni.
wọ́n á dín àkà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀lù nígbà tí gbogbo nǹkan bá ń lọ lọ́wọ́.
àfiṣe lọ́rọ̀ owó àtàkà fún yín ọlọ́run ṣàánú Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kúnlé á máa béèrè akó òmùra ọjọ́ òkò lágbára Ọlọ́run. ó dà ikọ̀ Manchester United ní àníṣe tó bá dòpin sáà kò sí ní tọ́ka àwọn pẹ̀lú àwọn ará adìẹ yìí mú o báwọn ó bá tiẹ̀ rà àràkúnlá sọ gbági ni kò sí ní tọ́ka àwọn pẹ̀lú àtàmọ́tàsé báwọn ó bá rà àràkúnlá sọ gbági ni pé ṣùgbọ́n àárín gbùngbùn méjì ni ó wọlé ń bẹ̀ nínú list tí wọ́n dúró tẹ́lẹ̀ mẹ́fà ni wọ́n ti wá sọ́kù méjì báyìí ikọ̀ máa yù yọ̀ǹda ọkọ̀ méjì lánàá àwọn méjèèjì dandan lówó orí túláàsì lásán òbúra agbábọ́ọ̀lù ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Newcastle Sandro Tonali bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé Tonali ti bóde yọ ti bọ̀ mọ́ pé àlóhun tóun bá ti kúrò Newcastle Italy ya òun ò dó lórílẹ̀‐èdè England mọ́ ikọ̀ máa yù ní dey play àwọn ọkọ̀ fanisẹ́ ó wà níṣẹ́ whether you like it or not ó wà wọ́n tún wá nàka sí agbábọ́ọ̀lù míì nínú ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Tottenham Hotspur Nottingham Forest ẹnu mi àgò Elliot Anderson ikọ̀ máa yù níṣẹ́ rí àwọn méjèèjì báwọn bá rí wọn gbé ẹgbẹ́ ní sáà tí ń bọ̀ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn ọmọ ní ìnẹ̀gírẹ́dò ṣébi tí kò máa yù náwó sí ṣébi ó yẹ wọn náwó sínú.
atọ́kùn ló tọ́ ni ẹ jẹ́ ká wo amúlé ikọ̀ Man United ilé tó wà lójúlé fún wa lẹ́mẹ̀ àdìpé ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun ọwọ́ wájú wọn náà Sesco wà ń bẹ̀
kún wà ń bẹ̀ Mbeumo wà ń bẹ̀
àdẹ̀rí pé àwọn mẹ́ta yìí látìgbà tí Kárìkì ti dé àdìrí pé ó yàtọ̀ nígbà ju ti ọwọ́ Amorim lọ wọ́n tan náà àní gbogbo náà láti pé Casemiro ń lọ àdẹ̀rí pé tẹ́wà ti sí Casemiro ń gbà mí tí Bruno náà ṣe àbí pé iṣẹ́ òmùyẹ́sì fún àdìrí pé àní gbogbo wọn máa ń ṣe kí ni ó máa ń sọwọ́ kan jà mọ́ ń bẹ̀ ọwọ́ ẹ̀yìn wọn náà àdìrí pé tí Martinez àti àwọn yòókù wa ti wà ń lé even Maguire gan gbogbo àrí pé ọwọ́ ẹ̀yìn wọn náà ó mú yányán ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí pé Tòlání atọ́kùn ẹni tó bá ti mọ ọmọlédè Italy dáadáa nígbà míì àwọn náà wọn fẹ́ máa kúrò lé o àwọn pẹ̀lú ọmọlédè Spain wọ́n gbìyànjú pé kán máa dúró sí líìgì tọ̀dọ̀ wọn èmi rí pé Man United nípa ti Tòlání kán gbìyànjú pé kán ní plan B fún torí Tòlání tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ó mọ̀ kan tó ń sọ o ó dẹ̀ rí pé Italy yìí ọmọ ibẹ̀ ni ó fẹ́ padà sílé ni ó ti gbìyànjú láti sọ fún wọn pé òun fẹ́ padà sílé ṣùgbọ́n agbábọ́ọ̀lù kò sí kan tí àwọn lè ṣe ń gbà míì even wọn ti lè sọ pé àní ikọ̀ èmi nígbàbọ̀ fún wọn tán bá ti rówó tán dẹ̀ rí àwọn kan tó ṣe kíni tó tẹ̀lé wọ́n lè yí èrò ọkàn kan padà lọ sínú ikọ̀ yìí ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí pé ọwọ́ àrẹ gbogbo Man United àtọ́kùn lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n nídìí láti ṣẹ́ mẹ́ dáadáa.
ó dà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé David Beckham ní láti ìgbà tí Sàlẹ̀ Ferguson ti kú òun ọkọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Man U òde kóhun tiẹ̀ mọ́wulẹ̀ fòlòlò fọ̀hún láti bí ọdún mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn owó ò tí ì rí olùkọ́ni kankan tó mú yányán tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ nù kan Man U bí olùkọ́ni Michael Carrick ó ní lẹ́yìn Alex Ferguson ẹ tún gbé fún Michael Carrick ṣé David Beckham right.
ẹ ṣe Ọ̀túnba opinion tiẹ̀ òun ló sọ Ole Gunnar Solskjaer àtàwọn tó ti wá tán ti lọ èmi gbé fún wọn torí pé Carrick lọ́wọ́ tó wà yìí àwọn kan ń sọ pé bá ń torí pé wọn àti ìsọ di olùkọ́ni òun ló jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ sì mọ ṣemúṣemúṣe tán bá ti bá gbélé lọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùkọ́ni pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí nǹkan ó yí dande fún torí pé àwọn kóòtù tó ti wá látẹ̀yìnwá náà arélè tó yẹ pé interim ló bá wọlé tán wá permanent as a coach tó yẹ pé nǹkan wá padà yí fún so lójú ti tèmi o Beckham ò rí ọ̀rọ̀ òun sọ torí pé àwọn tó wá náà wọ́n ti gbìyànjú tiwọn kó tó di pé wọ́n lọ.
pé ẹ gbà pórí sọ
mi ò gbà bẹ́ẹ̀
ọ̀gbẹ́ni gbé gọmọ ní nàìjíríà dùn.
atọ́kùn àlè máa wò pé bóyá torí Carrick àti Beckham wọ́n jọ wà ní atọ́kùn kò dẹ̀ sẹ́yìn láti jọ wà náà báyìí even kan gbé iṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni fún ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí lẹ́nu náà màmá sọ pé kò sí olùkọ́ni nínú kọ̀ọ̀kan tá a gbọ́dọ̀ dárúkọ pé tó mọ̀kẹ́ tó èmi rí i pé atọ́kùn ó kàn tẹ sọ pé torí pé òun àti ẹ̀ jẹ́ bí ọ̀rẹ́ ni ọ̀dọ̀ ṣe kan jọ gbá bọ̀ papọ̀ èmi rí i pé olùkọ́ni kan tó wà nínú kọ̀ọ̀mọ́ ìrìnàtẹ̀ tó gba Europa fún wọn.
olùkọ́ni Jose Mourinho
so ibi la fẹ́ fi Mourinho sí.
ó gba community shield ó gba Europa Eric Ten Hag wá ó gba FA ó gba League Cup Louis van Gaal wá ó gba FA Cup David Moyes wá ó gba community shield eléyìí ò tí gbà kankan ẹsẹ̀ tó fẹnu wà rọ̀.
atọ́kùn ọjọ́ wà ní so èmi rí i pé nǹkan tó ń sọ òun kàn tẹ̀ sọ pé torí pé ó jẹ́ èèyàn ti tòun ni ṣùgbọ́n pé lẹ́yìn bàbá alẹ́ fásitì àtọ́kùn èmi rí pé rárá mi gbà àtọ́kùn.
ẹ̀yin náà gbà ṣe é rí ní tí mo ń sún mi lọ́rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè England náà wọ́n máa àìpọ̀ ara wọn kọjá àbíkẹ́ àfù bàbá bàlù kan máa ń taná lórílẹ̀-èdè England tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ England kó taná kékeré báyìí iná tí ò lè ṣáàjì fóònù wọ́n àìpọ̀ ẹ̀ wọ́n ẹ̀yin tẹ̀mí rí lọ́rọ̀ Beckham náà ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè England ní Carrick ó sì lè lẹ́yìn látàyè Alex Ferguson tó fi dàsìkò yìí ṣé orílẹ̀-èdè England kan ti gbé ṣé kọ́ Man U kan ti gbèsè fọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè England kankan rárá òun náà lọ́mọ orílẹ̀-èdè England àkọ́kọ́ tí ó tún kọ́kọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn ẹ lè máa wò pé ẹja àìpù ẹ̀ díẹ̀ kí sẹ́ ilé bàbọ̀ sí lọ́wọ́ àwọn olùkọ́ni tó ti wá tó ti gbà fi ẹ̀yẹ kí lẹ fẹ́ ni wọ́n ṣe
ṣé torí ṣé wọ́n gbìyànjú tó ni.
ok ẹjẹ ń gbọ́n táwọn èèyàn sọ lójú òkú Facebook náà ọwọ́ ọlọ́mọlúṣọ́lá kú ẹ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ òótọ́ ni Carrick ń sọ àpò òótọ́ ni Beckham ń sọ ó ní Carrick tó ti wọrí ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ mẹ́wàá láì ra pléyà kankan ó ní olólùkọ́ni wo ló lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ọwọ́ aláfolúsọ́lá kú ẹ̀ ló sọ yìí.
àwọn pléyà tó wà nílẹ̀ ńkọ́ ṣé wọ́n dá ni àmórí mi ò mọ̀ wọ́n lò ní atọ́kùn àmórí mi ò mọ̀ wọ́n lò fọ́nmítà àmórí mi ń lò fún kọ̀ Man United ò lè gba àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ ṣé ìbẹ́mò ibi tí ìbẹ́mò ti wá ní Brentford Sesco ṣé wọ́n ṣàgbọ́bọ̀lù tó dá ni tó tanná gidi ni èmi rí i pé rárá mi ìgbà tọkùn.
ẹ̀yin ò gbà ẹ ṣàgbà ẹjẹ ń gbọ́ ẹ̀yin méjèèjì ẹgbà ẹjẹ ń gbọ́ táwọn aráalé ó sọ àwọn aráalé ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀.
sọ́ọ́rì Ọ̀túnba ok kí Carrick báyìí lọ́wọ́ tó dé báyìí tán parí sísìn tí ò bá rí nǹkan kan gbà ṣé Beckham àṣì dúró lérí pé lẹ́yìn bóun ò tí ì rẹ́ nìkan so aṣáwa sọ pé òun ló dáa jù pẹ̀lú bó ṣe ṣe gbaṣẹ́ kò tí ì gbaṣẹ́ náà tó jẹ́ ìtẹ́rìmù òun nẹ̀kọ́ lákọ́kọ́ wá tí ó dẹ̀ wà ní position at the end of the day wọ́n rìn kan gbà.
sẹ́sẹ́rì tí kúlẹ̀ abèrè ń ṣe é sì ń bí mi nú. alẹ́ mi ni ẹgbẹ́ iṣẹ́ PR kìíní fún kí n máa bá yín tó ẹgbẹ́ àjùmọ̀ bíbẹ́ mi náà sọ fún mi pé update ti dọ́dọ̀ tó náà tètè. àwọn tó yẹ kẹ́jọ́ pé mi ní pè wọ́n jókòó tí mo sọ fún wa pé nǹkan báyìí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ o ilé mi ni ẹ pa ilé mi ni ẹ dè sí o èmi ní kò yín lọ ọbẹ̀ o ẹ ti pín lẹ́jẹ̀.
ṣé ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe wáàsí níbi òkú
mo fẹ́ ṣe billboard sí junction Adébáyọ̀
ó bẹ́tà kí gbogbo ayé máa rí.
èrò ń bọ̀ gidi o.
ẹ máa múra láti Kwara o Kwara Ìbàdàn ẹ gbórí wọlé o.
Mr. Kebe o tó ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Tottenham Hotspur ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ń bí àwọn olólùfẹ́ wọn nú ẹ dákun ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ ẹ wàá rí olùkọ́ni mọ́ tó ju olùkọ́ni Glenn Odu lọ olùkọ́ni Glenn Odu yìí lára olùkọ́ni méjì wọ́n kéde tó bí àwọn olólùfẹ́ nu wọ́n kéde olùkọ́ni Harry Redknapp ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ káwọn pè padà wọ́n lọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ káwọn pè olùkọ́ni Glenn Odu náà padà àwọn olólùfẹ́ ló ti ẹ̀dá àwọn tí ẹ̀sìn lẹ́gbẹ́ Harry Redknapp ṣe bó lọ́rọ̀ àwọn olùkọ́ni tó ní àṣeyọrí jù nínú kọ́tọ́ tí a mọ̀ sọ̀ olùkọ́ni Harry Redknapp wà èwo ni Christy Glenn Odu tó jẹ́ pé láti bí 20 ọdún sẹ́yìn bàbá ò ṣe iṣẹ́ ẹyọ kan ẹ wá lẹ fẹ́ gbé iṣẹ́ fún kó wá gba iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìgòtúdọ̀ tẹ́ ẹ ti fọwọ́ sí júwèé lé fún àwọn ò faramọ́ eléyìí ní tàwọn o ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn ọmọ nìyí.
Atọ́kùn àlè máa wò pé lóòótọ́ ó ti pẹ́ tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni mọ́ pé ọgọ́ ti pẹ́ èyí tó dẹ̀ fi fúbọ̀ sí kíni
ó ti advance.
ṣùgbọ́n àlè máa wò pé bóyá tá a bá gba ti ọwọ́ ọmọdé ẹ̀ lè má gba tinú ẹ̀ o bíi tàwọn àgbà ni o ẹ lè wò pé gbogbo nǹkan tó mọ̀ tó ń kọ́ lẹ̀ ńgbà yẹn pé fúbọ̀ ti kọjá ibẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí tó wà nù kọ́ tó fi sínú bíi tẹ́ ẹ̀yìn ò mọ̀ tó ṣe kí tó lè fi ṣe olùkọ́ni.
pé ọgbẹ́ àyè ní padà ń kọ́.
ó sì lè wà bẹ́ẹ̀ Atọ́kùn ṣùgbọ́n èmi wò pé lóòótọ́ ọgọ́ ti pẹ́ tó ti ṣe olùkọ́ni mọ́ ọgọ́ ti pẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tọ́jọ́ gan tí wọ́n pẹ́ gan àmọ́rí tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ òun lọ́tún tó ń ṣe lósìn kí ló fi ṣe kí ló fi dà ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí i pé ó lè wà lóòótọ́ Atọ́kùn kó lè bàjẹ́ gbọ́ alẹ́ nu pé olùkọ́ tó ti pẹ́ tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n èmi sì rí i pé Atọ́kùn àwọn tó sì wà nínú iṣẹ́ yìí tó wà lẹ́nu géèmù yìí tó sì mọ nǹkan tó ń lọ nípa fúbọ̀ lọ́wọ́ báyìí nìkan ṣe kí nìkan lọ gbà Atọ́kùn.
ó dáa lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ wáyé láàrin orílẹ̀-èdè Belgium àti ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà ṣé mọ́tò yẹn ó yà àwọn olólùfẹ́ lẹ́nu o torí pé aṣọ ìgbábọ́ọ̀lù táwọn méjèèjì wà àtòrílẹ̀-èdè Belgium àtòrílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà aṣọ ìgbábọ́ọ̀lù jọra wọn o díẹ̀ ló kù àwọn àbámọ̀ sí agbábọ́ọ̀lù mọ́ fúnra wọn lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn wọ́n lọ rèé bí wọ́n lè rè pé yẹ́sà kí ló dé tẹ́ wá aṣọ ìgbábọ́ọ̀lù kan náà orílẹ̀-èdè Belgium ní ẹ má bínú aṣọ táwọn kó wá orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà ò sọ fáwọn pé n táwọn ó wọ̀ nù pé àwọn ti wò pé ọ̀tọ̀ lásọ tí wọ́n wọ̀ pé aṣọ ẹyọ kan làwọn sì mú wá ń tà wọn wọ́n bí Amẹ́ríkà lè kẹ́ kí ló dé bẹ́yìn lẹ wà ń lé kí ló dé yìí náà pààrọ̀ aṣọ yẹn Amẹ́ríkà ni sẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ pàwọn náà nífẹsẹ̀ wọn sẹ̀mí àwọn àtòrílẹ̀-èdè kan ó gbá bọ́ọ̀lù lọ́jọ́ Tuesday orílẹ̀-èdè Mexico làwọn ó sì ti já yẹn aṣọ ìgbábọ́ọ̀lù kejì tó yẹ kí àwọn lò àwọn ti fi sọwọ́ sórílẹ̀-èdè Mexico pé kóyún lẹ́ẹ̀bẹ̀ káwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù dé bá ń bẹ̀ ẹyọ kan tó wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ilé Amẹ́ríkà náà ni ní bínú ni wọ́n sàmánéèjì fẹsẹ̀ wọn sẹ̀yẹn parí kánilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ni ọ̀tọ̀ ní tẹ́ẹ̀mù ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí adúláwọ̀.
ní ṣaláì mọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ní tòótọ́ torí pé èmi wò pé tẹ́ bá lọ fún bóyá friendly match àbí any match tẹ́ fẹ́ lọ bá opposition gbá ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ máa mú aṣọ bíi oríṣi bíi 2 sí 3 kan máa mú dání bí jẹ́sí jọra wọn kó tó di pé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni wọ́n á ti change tó yà pọ́n mú extra dání but èmi wò pé àwọn tó wà nígbanu tournament yìí tàbí ìdíje yìí ó yẹ kí wọ́n ti wò ó gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ̀ mọ́ prepare fún nìyẹn kó tó di pé ẹ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ lọ fún máàcì so ẹ má aṣọ kan lọ táṣọ bá fàya tàbí tí nǹkan kan bá ṣe aṣọ èwo lẹ fẹ́ fi replace ẹ̀ but ìgbà tó ti jọra ẹni tó pọ́n mẹ́stra dání ó ṣeé ṣe kí wọ́n change so níwòye tèmi ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó.
ok wọ́n Ọláfolúṣọ́lá kú ẹ̀ ó ní olùkọ́ni tó tí àmì tí wọ́n mọ̀ tó ní àṣeyọrí jù ní tó Pochettino má sọ pé gbé jáṣeyọrí kí ló olùkọ́ni tí mo dá kọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan Harry Redknapp gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Pochettino kú ṣùgbọ́n àwọn sẹ́tì olùkọ́ni Harry Redknapp ti ṣe é lẹ̀ nígbà Pochettino dé ó mọ̀lẹ́ òun náà ṣe ṣàwọn àṣeyọrí ńbẹ̀ pé olùkọ́ni ń sọ ikọ̀ di ìlú mọ̀ọ́ká olùkọ́ni ló sọ ọkọ̀ tó tí a mọ̀ sọ di ti gbogbo wa mọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ́ngàn ọmọ nìyí olùkọ́ni Mikel Arteta ikọ̀ Arsenal àti àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí agbábọ́ọ̀lù Arsenal tó 6 ló ti padà wálé láti national team àwọn ní júrí o eléyìí tó padà káyìn ó ní Piero Incapié ó ti wálé Martin Zubimendi wọ́n ti ní kí òun náà kó máa padà bọ̀ ńlé nọ́ọ̀nì Madueke wọ́n ń gbá àwọn ìgẹ́sì irúgbìn lọ́wọ́ lálàyé DSM mọ́ wọ́n ní kó òun náà padà kó máa relé William Saliba bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí bí agbábọ́ọ̀lù 10 ló wà ńlé báyìí tí wọ́n lọ international break àwọn kan ní well play Mikel Arteta ti dé ọjọ́ tuntun ìwọ ló sọ fáwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù ká máa DSM mọ́ ká máa padà wálé ẹ jẹ́ àwọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ṣé ǹjọ́ ṣeéṣe kó jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ làwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù ní ìfarapa àbí tactics ni mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ká wò ó ń bẹ̀ yẹ béèrè méjì mo ní ń bẹ̀ ó yá.
Atọ́kùn èmi rí i pé gbogbo wọn kọ́ ni ló ní ìfarapa tactics wà lára wọn kankan lára wọn ṣùgbọ́n tó bá wo ti Madueke tó bá wo ìdíje yìí a rí i pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí Madueke ṣe kíni
kó ti farapa
kó ní ìfarapa ẹni tó bá rí Madueke a rí i pé ó ṣeé ṣe kóun ṣe kíni kó ní ìfarapa ṣùgbọ́n èmi sì rí i pé ṣẹ́dá àwọn Saliba yìí àwọn yòókù yìí èmi rí i pé lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí kó má yọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ lẹ́nu pé ẹ̀kan rí wọn lẹ́yìn ọwọ́ ẹ̀yìn ikọ̀ Arsenal ni ṣùgbọ́n èmi rí pé kì í ṣe gbogbo wọn ní tactics èmi rí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn kankan wà lára wọn tó yẹ pé ìfarapa gidi ló wà lára.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ o God forbid èmi náà bá yẹn gbàdúrà rẹ̀ káwá lọ gbà pé gbogbo àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù ní ìfarapa wà lára wọn lóòótọ́ lọ́dẹ̀ má dùn eke orúnkún Pierre Nkapie wọ́n ti ń ṣe àyẹ̀wò sóun lọ́wọ́ Leandro Trossard hip ló fi ṣèṣe bí Eberechieze calf injury Bukayo Saka wọ́n yẹ òun náà wò lọ́wọ́ Gabriel Magalhaes orúnkún William Saliba ankle Julian Timber calf injury Declan Rice wọ́n yẹ òun náà wò lọ́wọ́ Martin Zubimendi orúnkún agbábọ́ọ̀lù 10 ìfarapa káwá gbà àwọn ilé lọ ní ìfarapa wò lóòótọ́ àkùdé wo ló ṣe ṣe kó bá ikọ̀ Arsenal ṣé nǹkan ò ti dé báyìí.
ẹ ṣe Ọ̀túnba nǹkan dé o tó bá ṣe é ṣe tí mẹ́wàá ẹ̀ bá ní júrì tó fọ́ gan kó lu ẹ̀ mọ́ kó mọ́ jaraburabu láti wọ́ ni torí pé àwa rí i pé àwọn tó di ikọ̀ Arsenal mú gbogbo wọn ló ní júrì but níwòye tèmi kì í ṣe pé wọ́n ní júrì àtẹ̀tà ń dọ́gbọ́n sí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà àtẹ̀tà ń dọ́gbọ́n sí ọ̀rọ̀ ara ẹ̀ ni pé àní ní líìgì iṣẹ́ gbogbo tó bá gbà ṣó dárú ọgbọ́n ìrísà mi rò pé irú ọgbọ́n tó dà ìpó tún ṣẹlẹ̀ rí.
bó ṣe é ṣe kó mọ̀ jẹ́ njúrì.
ó ṣe é ṣe kó mọ̀ jẹ́ njúrì tó bá tiẹ̀ máa jẹ́ minor.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ̀ngàn ọmọ ní yìnyín gírẹ́dù tó bá lọ jẹ́ njúrì sátẹ̀tà òrógò.
tó bá ti jẹ́ njúrì kan lọ sí fídà tìmù kan lọ kó àwọn fídà tìmù kan parí sáà ní torí gbogbo àwọn tó ẹ̀ka yìí gbogbo wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ló ṣe gé ní kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn gbogbo wọn ló ń gbá ìdíje ló ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìdíje fún ikọ̀ Arsenal yàtọ̀ fún amúlé wọn ráyà dẹ̀ rí kò sí kan tó ń ṣe fún Spain ó kàn táwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ àti mọ̀ pé wọ́n á padà wá tí wàá múlé ni wọ́n kàn wá kó àwọn academy síwájú ẹ̀ ni ìkàtẹ́ mi kàn tẹ̀ rí ni pé atọ́kùn tó bá yẹ pé lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n ní júrì tèmi dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe pé ń júrì Arsenal kúkú gbàgbé líìgì ni o atọ́kùn.
ó dà gẹ́gẹ́ dẹ́ta ìwé ni ọ̀ game plan mọ̀ ní kẹ́mi má mà gọ́ra mi àríyànṣá mẹ̀ bámidélé ó ní àtẹ́tà play game plan ẹbí nítorí àkíwòmẹ́ ó lásán àdáràn ẹ jẹ́ sí ojú òpó lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n kí n tó ṣí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ̀ngàn Ọmọnìyí ẹ ní àṣekágbá ìdíje UEFA Champions League àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù yìí ẹ mú mẹ́ta tí ó tò síwájú yín èwo lẹ́ẹ̀ lò nínú píà mẹ́ta yìí Vinicius Kane àti Dembele àwọn kan nù Kvaratskhelia Haaland àti Yamal àwọn kan nù Rafinha Mbappe àti Salah àwọn kan nù ẹ sì fẹ́ gbá ìdíje UEFA Champions League final.
ẹ bá ń ka lẹ́kìnní.
Vinicius Junior Kane àti Dembele Kvaratskhelia Haaland àti Yamal Rafinha Mbappe àti Salah.
màá mú Harry Kane first one yẹn.
ẹ mọ yọ ẹ ní yọ síra wọn bí wọ́n ṣe tó bí mo ṣe pé yẹn
first second third
bí àyẹn first second third.
Dembele
Kane àti Vinicius àwọn tẹ́ lò àwọn tẹ́ yóò lò tìyẹn mi ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé.
màá lo first yẹn
Vinicius
Junior
Kane
àti
Dembele
bẹ́ẹ̀
àti Dembele lẹ́yìn yóò lò kò sẹ́ni tí ó lo Rafinha Mbappe àti Salah.
kí ló dé tẹ
Rafinha Mbappe àti Salah Rafinha atọ́kùn Rafinha kì í ṣe agbábọ́ọ̀lù tó yẹ pé o lè dédé depend lé lórí o lè off Rafinha máa off dáadáa ní match Salah àgbàtìdé atọ́kùn Salah tẹ́lẹ̀ kọ́ Salah ló ń gbá bọ́ báyìí ta ló kù síbẹ̀. Mbappe wọ́n á máa traffic náà lónà.
Kvaratskhelia Haaland àti
Yamal atọ́kùn Yamal ó lè dánìkan mú gbogbo bọ́ọ̀lù ó wéṣẹ̀ ẹ̀ pé ibùdó kan kẹ́yìn nìkan ní kí ló máa bí yín pé kí lè fẹ́ ṣe.
0915 lẹ́dẹ̀ kan Vinicius Junior kí àti Dembele gbogbo yìí náà sí.
àwọn èlò sí rọ̀ tó máa ń pé tó máa di trophy báyìí tó wọ́n máa ń ká wọn lára tọkùn.
tí wọ́n máa ń kan tí wọ́n ń
ṣe. ó dà 0915 0905 905 0704 100 1905 jẹ́ ǹgbà pẹ́jọ́ kàbí méjì kí n tó máa lọ ìlú ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́.
ẹ̀lú ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́.
ó kọ yín ibi ẹ̀ tí ń pè.
ìyá ọba ni mí ló ń pè látàkùn.
ó yẹ gbéra pápá àpọ̀jọ́ lọ.
lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn players Arsenal yẹn ni mi rí pé ó ń ṣe gbogbo injuries yẹn lórí o. àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé precautionary moves ṣe so that wọ́n ní aggravate àwọn injuries.
náà ṣe sá padà wálé.
so and most of these players still are fatigued. ó possible kò yí kí àwọn management Arsenal kan ti bá àwọn national side wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé just ṣèbí friendly matches iná ń gbá ní international break yìí pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ àwọn players wa àwọn ti gbá so many matches o ẹ máa yọ̀ǹda wọn tó bá ti gbá friendly match kan fún yín so mo rí pé gbogbo injuries yẹn
lórí ó ti yé mi bẹ́ẹ̀ kó ojúmọ́.
ẹ máa pé ìtọ́.
ẹ ṣeun ó kọ́ yín ibi ẹ ti ń pè.
ọmọ ìfẹ́ni kálù látòdì kìtì tó dára yín.
ó yẹ gbéra.
nípa ti kóòṣì Man U náà. ẹ à lè sọ pé òun ló máa tẹ̀lé
Alex Ferguson.
torí pé kò tí ì fi hàn pé ìmúlẹ̀ ó gbọ́ ọba ìgbà ilé ìtàn ó bá ìgbà kọ̀ fún Man U kò tí ì gbà kankan wọ́n sọ fún nọ́mbà 1 ó bá ìkó wa dé dúró yẹ kó kó wa dé ká tó mọ̀ pé yóò máa
nípò èso dàpọ̀.
ó dà ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ ìyẹn ti rí 09150905905 07041001905 ẹ jẹ́ sáré kí àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́jọ́ dé olùṣọ́ àgùntàn obìnrin olúwàbùnmi àdùfẹ́ abọ́dúnrin pastor mrs olúwàbùnmi àdùfẹ́ abọ́dúnrin onílọ́jọ́ bí wọn ìgbà ọdún kan ní long life and prosperity bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe lé ẹsẹ̀ mi lágbára ọlọ́run gbalẹ̀ yín ó lé àwọlé yín ó lé gbogbo tí ń jẹ́ tọ́lọ́ ẹsẹ̀ mi nínú owó nínú ọlá àtàkù tí ṣe bálẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ Fákúnlé Abíọ́dún Usman òun náà sọjọ́ bí ẹ̀ lónìí ọmọ léńjẹ long life and prosperity Esther yìí sá ti wọlé ẹjá wà ó kángára wa ká máa lọ ó gbé ọba di ọ̀la àwọn olùkọ́ni nínú ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù àti àwọn olùkọ́ni nínú ọkọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wọ́n ti mú nǹkan lẹ̀ báyìí olùkọ́ni Hansi Flick ó sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ọkùngbàkùngbé kan bóde bákan náà olùkọ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan náà sọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹ má má fi yan lẹ̀ olùkọ́ni orílẹ̀-èdè tó yẹ pé kò mọ tí ń ṣe kóun fi agbábọ́ọ̀lù tòun lẹ̀ kẹ́ mọ́ ló ń lomi òjò nígbà ó bá dọ̀la àáyànnà náà yàn dáadáa ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akínlábí Adéwálé oyè ẹ̀jẹ̀ àrèlé.
adúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo àwọn tó ti bá wa fìfẹ́ gbọ́ láti àárọ̀ tó bá tó dọ̀lẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn akẹgbẹ́ wa àsìkò ìmúra ti Kúnlé Àbèrè yóò ṣojú ẹ̀mí wa sẹ́ẹ̀.
ẹ máa lọ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kúnlé Àbèrè ló fa gbogbo wàhálà yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Gbẹ̀ngàn ọmọ ní ìnẹ̀gẹ́dọ̀ ọ̀gbọ̀nà túkú wa ẹ̀jẹ̀ àrèlé.
ẹgẹ́ tẹ̀ka tí wàá gbọ́ ti àárọ̀ yìí yòókù dọ́là nìyẹn.
ok bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wà mí dọ́fíìsì tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá mi ọ̀dọ̀ Kúnlé Àbèrè mo wà á fẹ́ lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ preparation ọ̀tún bá bẹ́ẹ̀ náà fàgbé mi ró mo gbéra o ó dọ̀la.
Radio stations in town were palm trees, we'd be the one with the biggest coconuts.
This is Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled entertainment non-stop.
Your attention, please.
Welcome to the Knowledge Hub. You're dialed into Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Your prime source for a triple treat of information, education, and entertainment. Stay enlightened with intriguing discussions.
And just to bring you the results, Denver defeated the Lakers 112-1.
ó ní àwọn làwọn ti gbẹ́jọ́ àwọn sórí òkè wọn ní níbo làsíìsì tí ó ti wá ọ̀dọ́ ọlọ́run ọba mi tí ò ní disappoint ni.
Learn something new and enjoy a blend of tunes that will uplift your mind. This is where curiosity meets groove. Exclusive on Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled entertainment non-stop.
This is Prime Discuss.
Who is the chairman of PDP in Ekiti? Who is the secretary? Who is the publicity secretary of PDP in Ekiti?
I will mention them. Allow me to mention them.
Who is the chairman? Because they just came from court now.
Is the chairman of PDP.
Is it after the court pronouncement?
You cannot know. You are in another.
It doesn't matter. Are you doing it in
Engineer Laba is the chairman and post.
They now
there was a time. Let me explain.
I don't need explanation. Everybody knows my chairman. Everybody knows the secretary. Everybody knows the police secretary.
You cannot know because you don't care to know.
I can't know because it is not known.
The reason is that because of the engagement that you have with the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayoz.
This is Prime Discuss. Join us as we dive deep into pressing issues of our time, offering thought-provoking conversations and critical analysis, unparalleled, unabashed, insightful, all on Prime Discuss, only on Midas Radio 90.5 FM, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Our guests bring their expertise and diverse perspectives to the table, ensuring a well-rounded and comprehensive discussion from politics to economy, health, infrastructure, agriculture, social justice to global events, and many more. We cover them all. Join our live audience or connect with us online to voice your opinions and ask challenging questions. Get ready for Prime Discuss, a news and current affairs political show that will leave you informed and engaged. Prime Discuss on Midas Radio 90.5 FM.
once again, and welcome on Midas Radio 90.5 FM here in Ado Ekiti. With preparations for the 2027 general elections, mechanisms to aid the conduct of the coming election have started with the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party charting the course. Insinuations, statements, assertions have been made following the convention, paving the way to ask questions on what to expect with the journey ahead. The opposition parties seem to be pulling so much momentum with the recent resignation of Rabiu Kwankwaso and others we have before now at the party. And even though there are unconfirmed indications it might be defecting to the ADC, that is the African Democratic Congress, we have issues around if the ruling APC should remain jittery despite controlling 31 states and commanding about 90% of members in the National Assembly. This is as the issue of consensus is creeping silently within parties, raising mild dust. And this brings us to ask questions on what exactly lays ahead in the Nigerian political space as we gear up for the 2027 election. So many questions on the table. The PDP convention, questions to ask surrounding the APC. If the APC should be scared at this point, what exactly to expect? What makes this faction of the PDP's convention different from the Ibadan convention, and many other things to unpack this morning. And to help us in unraveling some of these issues is a seasoned political analyst, and that's the person of Mr. Jide Ojo. It will be on board with us in a short while. And I want to welcome you on Prime Discuss on Midas Radio 90.5 FM here in Ado Ekiti, where we intensely explore conversations on policies that shaping us as a nation. Don't forget that you can join us live on Facebook at Midas Radio 905, at Midas Radio 905 to be a part of the conversation this morning. I am Esther ISAH. I'm saying good morning and stay with us. All right, as we launch straight into what we have together this morning, I have with me on the line Mr. Jide Ojo. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Esther. It's my pleasure. Compliments of the season.
I wish you the best of it. It's been a very long time before now. But let's just begin this way. We had two conventions at the weekend, and it came with so much frenzy. We had so much noise, a lot of preparations, and can we say the political season has officially begun?
Yeah, it has. In fact, in one of my columns in the Punch newspaper at the beginning of this year, I said this year is actually for politicking. And it's becoming, I'm being prophetic about that, because when you see that from January through to this month, a lot is happening and a lot has happened within the political space. We have had a lot of defections of governors. We have had defections of lawmakers, federal and state lawmakers. We have also had issues around registration of new political parties, where two have been added to the initial 19. You have had alignment and the alignment of forces, which is still happening. Conventions are being held. Some have held their own, some are planning to have their own. Like this weekend, we had that of APC and PDP. On April 14 and 15, that of ADC will be holding. And then, of course, you have the political parties already doing registration and revalidation of their membership register, which they are going to use to engage INEC before they can conduct their party primaries, which is coming up in less than 3 weeks, in about 3 weeks' time, because the timeline for holding of party primaries is, according to INEC, is April 23 through to May 30th. So a lot of things are happening within the political space. And you can see that it's going to be a roller coaster all through to 2027 first quarter, when we will be having the eighth general elections, which has been scheduled for January 16 and March, February, 2 weeks after January 16. I think February or thereabout.
Yeah.
So this year is going to be politics, and politics.
All right, let's now dig deep into some of the issues we have. There were takeaways from the convention, most importantly, beginning with the APC now, issues around consensus candidates. And while this is not restricted to the APC alone, the decision of the party to return the majority of its national officers at its convention through consensus appear to reflect unity and the internal cohesion. However, questions about the future of internal democracy, not just in the APC, but across Nigeria's political landscape, is on the table. What would be your view on this? Consensus candidate, is it something that would strengthen political parties more? If you want to look at antecedents before now.
Now, this is where I have a bit of... there is nothing wrong with having a consensus, your congresses and convention adopting consensus. However, when you say consensus, if you look at the literal interpretation of the word consensus, it means unanimity of views. That means all of you are agreed. But it's not known, even to the parties and members, that they ever subscribe to this consensus. I think it's just the powerful elites within the system, the political gladiators, that decided to adopt this consensus option. While I will not say it is illegal, the adoption also came with a bit of muzzling of dissidents, muzzling of dissonance, muzzling of any antagonistic views. Let me take, for instance, the two conventions that were held over this last weekend. Both of them decided to do zoning. And from zoning, they said they are going to, the National Working Committee will emerge through consensus. Now, you zoned let me take APC for instance, you zoned the chairmanship position to northern Nigeria and to north central Nigeria. There's nothing wrong with that. With this zoning, what should have happened is to allow the states within the zone for aspirants to buy form and have a shadow election conducted at the zonal level. Whoever now emerges from that should have been the one that they will now affirm at the national convention. But rather, what the parties have done is not just zoning, but micro-zoning to individuals and even states. Take, for instance, Professor Nentawe Yewada. You know, he was handpicked by the, who will say, presidency last year, June, after the resignation of Umar Ganduje.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted a democratic settle and you don't want to waste the time of the delegates, what could have been done is allow the states in the North Central, say, okay, buy form and set a day aside for the conduct of the election for that zone. Whether it's one position or two positions that are zoned to that North Central, allow people to, that will have engendered some measure of competition and the best will have emerged. But what we have found in PDP and APC is zoning and micro-zoning. In fact, not just that, but also Good morning. Also adopting one individual that has already been predetermined to be the national chairman. And that, if you recall, there are people in the South in APC who are grumbling that this system is unfair to them. Now, this has not allowed for the best of the party members to emerge, because you are now doing a kind of carry go. Now, it is not all the members of the National Working Committee that you could say have performed before their return unopposed. Because what they have done is like automatic selection. And what happened at Abuja level is just affirmation or coronation. This is antithetical to the spirit of democracy, which should have brought about contestation of ideas and even balloting. But it seems balloting is getting erased from our political parties and their managers. They rather would want election, but selection. And then, if you want to do kingship, if you want to enthrone a king, then let us know. What should have, imagine INEC now and picking people and announcing them as the next president, vice president, governors of Nigeria. That is what I can liken what the parties are doing. Although I must to say that they possibly have to do this because of exigencies of time and because they are also trying to avoid litigations. So they decided that, you know what, we are going to do the consensus and then we will unpick people across. So eventually you will find out that it's either the president or the governors who has influenced the emergence of many of the people that were affirmed at the convention of PDP and APC. Because these people, the power blocks within the country today resides in the president and in the governors. So, for instance, somebody may have sold Yiwada Nantawe to President Tinubu and say, this is your man, if you want a trusted ally to manage the party ahead of 2027. And of course, it's not limited to APC. Even when Obasanjo was there, Obasanjo was always the kingmaker and the king and the remover of all the PDP chairmen. Because whoever he doesn't like his or her face, he gets them removed. So this is the tragedy of good intentions, where individuals are unpicked in a democratic setting and foisted on people.
But what implication? What implication would this be having on the APC? Because individuals, some analysts have said, it's like we would be waiting in the limbo, waiting for the dice to roll to see what happens. You mentioned issues around probably they are trying to avoid litigation. If we don't have persons that want to contest, being allowed to contest, if these persons are not allowed to contest, in the end, what the APC might be avoiding, won't they come back to that?
Exactly my point. You remember that was what the Makinde faction of the PDP tried to do in Ibadan when they refused to sell the form to former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lami. And they said the forms are they just gave one form to their preferred person, which was this Kabiru Tanimu Turaki. Remember that as at the time Turaki's name was being touted in the media, Sule Lamido wanted to buy form and they didn't sell form to him. And he went to court and the court altered that convention in Ibadan on the basis that his right has been abridged by not being allowed to contest. And that is why, APC is digging his own grave gradually. Because while the people may not have spoken out, there are internal wranglings, quiet discontent, which may snowball. As you said, The dice is still rolling. We never know. I know the politics is about interest. And the interest here is that President Tinubu wanted somebody he could trust to midwife his re-election. And in every National Working Committee, which is why there is so much attention to who constitute the NWC, particularly on the eve of election as we have it right now. The president doesn't want to take chances because in nominating candidates, in conducting party primary, it matters who supervises that process. Do you get me? For instance, you don't want the enemy to be the chairman of your party. You don't want your enemy to be the secretary of your party. If the national chairman's signature and that of the secretary is not on your nomination form, INEC will not validate it. INEC will reject it. Because these two, chairman and secretary, are the signatories to every nomination. Then there is also another very important position in the National Working Committee, which is the National Organizing Secretary. Now, this National Organizing Secretary, their job is to organize party primaries and, of course, congresses and conventions. Now, this is how it works. The person who is your NOC, National NOS, National Organizing Secretary, will determine who will be in committees. There will be committee to go and conduct primaries across the states for the governorship, for the House of Reps or Senate, for State House of Assembly. And this committee will have the chairman, secretary, and it is what they return to the headquarters that will stand, because the chairman and the organizing committee secretary cannot be everywhere. So who gets to be the head of these committees are very important. Remember the APC primaries that in Imo ahead of 20. I think ahead of 2019, or the first tenor of Opus Odima. No, the second tenor of Opus Odima, where I'm trying to recall how the controversy around who won the governorship primary in Imo State. And then the whole thing about this man from Adamawa was the chairman. Eventually, he said it was Opus Odima that won. Do you know that for declaring Opus Odima, after the conduct of the election, Hope has become governor and all of that, this same man was assassinated in Owerri on his way to the airport, because some people believe that he sold that. That was the allegation, that he sold that to give it. So why am I bringing this to the fore? It shows you how powerful the position of National Organizing Secretary is, because he's the one that will constitute, not be a committee, but he will be the chair of that committee. He will be the one to say, you will be the chairman that will go and conduct the presidential primaries. You will be the conduct governorship primaries, like that. So, and these people are so powerful that, in fact, you know what they can also do to you if they don't like your. In the conduct of, when you have bought forms, they will say they want to do screening. And if you recall what happened even in the state and in Osun, when majority of those who contested against the preferred candidate was screened out under one guise or the other. That is the power of NOS. Once the screening committee says you are not qualified,
then you
go. By the time you go on appeal,
election season will be near before you know it.
These are the treachery, and that's why every president, every governor wants to know and be in charge of who controls the National Working Committee and State Working Committee because of power inherent. And that is why this convention that was held has now instituted and put those structures in place. And you will now see that from today, these people will swing into action. And the one primary objective they will have is how to conduct their primaries starting from the next 3 weeks, as well as, of course, managing the registration of members and revalidation. So this is why sometimes this whole consensus arrangement is predetermined, and that's why they always don't or unpick their preferred person, not even candidate, just a person that they are loyal to not be in doubt. And
right.
that is what of this whole democratic setting.
All right, let's go to the convention of the PDP. We are most likely going to be examining this from the political and legal angle. It is confusing that a faction that was suspended by the NWC of the party held a convention and INEC officials were present. The Court of Appeal also recognized the caretaker committee of this faction led by Abdurrahman, saying, okay, you can go ahead, even though the case is still at the Supreme Court. I want to ask, what's the validity of INEC's presence at the convention? And how is it different from what happened at Ibadan Convention? Why were they not at the Ibadan Convention? Because I could recall back then they said, oh, the matter was still in court, and they said everybody should remain within the status quo. Now this matter is still in court. We have the Supreme Court is yet to pass a verdict, and the convention went ahead with the Wike's-led faction. That's the Abdurrahman recognized faction, and the INEC was there. And we have court injunctions amidst all of this. The matter is still in the Supreme Court. How valid is this convention as well?
No, this is it. The Court of Appeal, from what I learned, actually prescribed alternative dispute resolution and give recognition to the caretaker committee headed by Abdurrahman Mohammed. You understand? But they said the Ibadan Convention was a nullity, but that the party was right to have inaugurated a caretaker committee, and that there should be an alternate dispute resolution. So that is probably why INEC was there, because INEC's presence is a kind of endorsement. INEC was not there at the Ibadan Convention because there were 2 court orders that stopped that convention from holding. And then you ask yourself, this appeal court decision was, I think, in January or early February. Why did the Turaki faction stayed and waited and slept on their rights to appeal immediately, only to rush to the court on Friday preceding the convention? There is no legitimate court order that have stopped Wike faction from holding the convention. So I think at least it will subsist until the Supreme Court decides. But can anybody determine when the Supreme Court will sit on this case? Don't forget that their lordship at the Supreme Court are very busy. There are only 21 members of the Supreme Court, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of cases awaiting their attention. So if they do first come, first serve, the case of PDP adjudication may even be after the general election. But whatever it is, I think PDP is sitting on a knife edge, because nobody can say matter of fact how the Supreme Court will rule in that matter. And if it so happened that the Supreme Court now agrees with the Makinde faction that, okay, the Abuja, because we have had instances in time past where the Court of Appeal or the first court of instance, that's High Court or Federal High Court or even Tribunal, will give a judgment. Then the Court of Appeal will affirm that judgment, but it will get to Supreme Court and that judgment will be upheld. We have had that instances in the past. So the fact that the High Court and the Court of Appeal has given judgment that is favorable to the Wike camp, does not mean that if it gets to the Supreme Court, that decision cannot be overturned. Let me give you a practical example. In the case of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, remember that the first court, the tribunal and the Court of Appeal obtained the victory of the government on the basis that no PDP structure in Plateau State. Only for the Supreme Court to now uphold that same election and said the issue of structure is an internal affairs of a political party. So, but unfortunately for about 16 state House of Assembly members, House of Reps members, and senators that were elected under PDP, because for them, the Court of Appeal was the last bus stop, they lost their seat. And that paved way for APC members who are runner-up to become, to get the certificate of return, which is why they are there now. But the governorship election terminates at the Supreme Court. What I'm trying to let us know and our listeners to know is that nobody can say with measure of certainty that this is how the Supreme Court will rule over the issue of convention of AP. And that's why I can tell you, Esther, that party will continue to lose their elected members because as it's now, time is running out for all those who want to recontest in 2027. If they don't defect now and register with their new parties, once your name is not on the party register and that register is submitted to INEC, then you have shut yourself out. And you just imagine you staying in PDP and then winning your election, and then Supreme Court now says the faction that produced your candidacy was the wrong faction. That means you have lost all your investment in that process. So that's why a lot of people will no longer have confidence in put in. In fact, what I learned now is Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State has already inaugurated a committee to start advising on the way forward.
We're still going to come to that, actually.
He is also on his way out of PDP. As it is.
All right.
So that's why, yeah.
At the convention, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, who spoke on the predicament and the reconciliation process of the PDP, said whoever was not present at the convention was on to perdition, while specifically mentioning that Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde thinks highly of himself. At this point, what do you think should really pave way for the other? What is best for the Torakilet faction? Should they just give up that it is over? Because we have only Seyi Makinde and the same Bala Mohammed, and we really can't tell what is going to happen with Bala Mohammed. And Seyi Makinde, we don't know if he's going to be aligning with the ADC or whatsoever. What do you think they should, this faction, the Torakilet faction, should do at this point while waiting for whatever the Supreme Court has to say going forward?
You know what I would advise them to actually take a firm decision is either they are out or they are in. A new National Working Committee has emerged. I think why the Turaki thing went to Supreme Court was that they got the short end of the stick in their initial negotiation talk with the Wike faction. Don't forget that there are media speculations that the two camps have been meeting. I overheard, was there your Fayose saying that the Makinde was demanding that he should be given the control of PDP in the Southwest. And that is absurd. That how can he be there? And Makinde, who came to join the party after him, would be the one to handle, to be the leader of PDP in the Southwest. So I think it's that negotiation that broke down because of certain demands that the camp of Makinde was making. And of course, Makinde has not hidden his ambition to be a presidential candidate in 2027. Now, the reality that stares us in the face, which may emerge in the coming days, not even weeks, is that there are possibilities that Makinde may defect to ADC alongside with some of his loyalists, because as we have seen in the media, he's been having tete-a-tete with Kwakwanso. Remember, Kwakwanso was in Oyo State to meet with him recently, and he was also spotted at the Kwakwanso in Kano during the Salah celebration, ISAH celebration. So now that Kwakwanso has officially resigned from NNPP and has decided to go and join ADC, possibility is that Seyi Makinde has nothing much to lose. In fact, he doesn't have anything to lose.
Definitely.
It's already serving at his second and final term. And it may not be a place for him, since he doesn't want to work for President Tinubu and doesn't want to go and kowtow to Wike. He may just leave the PDP to Wike faction to control, which would be best. So once they just do that, let Seyi Makinde move to ADC with his loyalists. Let them withdraw their pending case in the Supreme Court so that the National Working Committee that have emerged from yesterday's convention of the Wike faction can chart a new course for PDP. And then there will be no more division, because once Bala Mohammed takes his leave, whether going to ADC or going to APC, and Makinde also defect to ADC or any other party. In fact, some are even speculating he may be going to Accord. Wherever he headed, let them just withdraw that case at the appellate court, at the Supreme Court, allow the Wike faction to continue to midwife the recovery of PDP, so that at least those who don't want to apology, those who don't want to defect, can still have a platform like that, which already has a plan. From a party that has held sway for 16 years, they will now be self-assured that their candidacy will not be nullified by the court after all said and done. So I think it will just be best to do that. If you cannot beat them,
join them. Okay, let me now ask this one. Fayose also said big names means nothing in the forthcoming election. But with the recent resignation of Rabiu Kwankwaso, we have the likes of Atiku, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi in the ADC, and a host of others. Can we all tritely agree that big names might not really matter? Because we also have big names in the APC.
Well, he's not saying that for his own benefit. He knows that big names matter. But you see, what happens is that almost all of them in opposition are yesterday's men. They are yesterday's men. And Yoruba will say, can you go from Ogetniri? Once you are no longer at the end of affairs, you become a spent force, you become a yesterday's man. So that and it should come to you as a surprise that Atiku Abubakar cannot even woo his own state governor to join APC. Aregbesola cannot woo his own state governor in Osun to join ADC. They worked as their respective governors defected to other political parties apart from them. No single serving governor is in ADC today. So you cannot even in good conscience say that big names don't matter. Any party you see current elected representative, whether at the executive or legislative level, that you see them migrating to, that is the party of choice. It's like when you see Okada riders going to a particular fuel station to buy fuel, leaving the one closer to them. They already know that those ones have the better meter than the ones that are closer to them, which is why they will tell themselves, see, this is where their meter is better than this one. So for me, big names, small names, all of them matter. Politics is a game of numbers. But who can mobilize more? It's people who are in government that can mobilize more. Because let me tell you the secret they will not tell you. All of them, whether they are in opposition or they are in the government, at the state or federal level, they all use state resources to their advantage, which is against the rule of law, which is against the provision of the Electoral Act, that you should not use state administrative resources to your advantage or disadvantage of other people. But we know they do. They use the state resources and that's why you see at every contestation, the party that is ruling within the state or at the federal will always have more crowd because they have more resources to dispense. That's the party where when you go for the analysis, you can get refund for logistics or they will give you something for feeding, whether it's 5,000 or 10,000. But imagine other parties that doesn't have the crowd and resources. You go to the analysis, you are going to be the one to even pay your way to and fro, and there will be no refreshment for you. So naturally, people will flock towards a party that have resources to offer. And that's why APC is in a pole position to win the presidential election in 2027
You
and
think
to
so?
win in most. I don't think so. I know so.
Okay.
Unless they mismanage the party primaries and then there is a widespread disaffection. Unless that, the APC is in a pole position to win most of the seats available in 2027.
All right, let me come to the kind of politics Fayose and Wike are playing at the moment. There are insinuations that they might be an extended arm of the APC. Do you share in this sentiment?
It's not a sentiment, it's the fact that both of them have admitted to, even at their convention. I watched Ayofayose's interview on AIT yesterday. And he said, well, they will produce
a candidate. But they know they are not going to win.
He said he will not be working for him, and they know they will not win. So what is the whole essence of floating? Do you know how much it means to even buy a nomination form to run a campaign? And then you said they will just fill the candidate, but they know that candidate will not win. So of what essence, whoever they put forward to be the candidate, that means the person is a money minstrel that doesn't know what to do with his resources. Because unless you just want to have your 5 minutes of fame and to have a complimentary card that will say, I'm a presidential candidate in 2027. Yeah, do you know what? It takes billions of naira to run a presidential campaign. That's if you want to be a serious contender. And that's why the Electoral Act 2026 has even reflected an upward review of the expenditure limit for presidential campaign from initial 5 billion naira to 10 billion naira, which means that you can spend up to 10 billion naira. Imagine you now have only 5 million in your bank account, and you say you want to be a presidential candidate. Are you serious? Are you even going to have enough to buy the nomination form? In the 2023 election, PDP nomination form was sold for 40 million. 40 million. Now, given the inflation rate, one would expect that nomination form will be higher. Maybe they will take it to 50 million. Imagine me now, when I know I will not win, I will now go and stake 50 million that I can use for other better purposes to go and take it to a nomination form when most of my party members will not be working for me. I don't get it. And it's not everybody that should be Atiku Abubakar now that can always afford to spend billions of naira at every election, and yet will still come back at the next election. So it is left to their. I mean, while I don't support the kind of politics of Fayose and Son Wike, they are even better to have even stood to be counted that we are doing anti-party, and this is where we stand. Than those who will play PDP in the afternoon and play APC in the night, and there are quite a number of them. Did you know that even the chairman of their board of trustees, former president of the Senate, Adolphus Wabara, actually said he was going to endorse Alex Otti of Abia State for 2027. So even your BOT chairman is not going to support your governorship candidate in Abia if there is one. So this whole anti-party is unhelpful. But I'm saying that it's even better for you to be known for your anti-party that to be doing it Nicodemously, where you will be doing anti-party, and during the day you will be filming and granting press interview, castigating those who are doing it openly. So that's
All right. Before I ask this other question and let you go because of your engagement, do you think with the political movements across board, especially to the ADC, do you think the APC has anything to fear?
Of course, there will always be something to fear. It's most unlikely that if there's an election tomorrow, the APC will win landslide and moonslide in all the states. But you see, the most prized possession is that of the presidency. And that's the one that Asiwaju is more concerned with. As per the 35 state governors of APC, they lose in some states because every politics is local. So if you have not performed in your state and you want to win the election, you may lose. Look at what happened in 2023. Sanfara was APC, but the man, what is his name now? The current Minister of State for Defense, he lost it the election bid. And then also we have 7 governors who contested for senatorial election after their 8-year tenure as governor, who also lost their bid to win senatorial election. So there will be offset at that level. At the state, at senatorial level, at House of Representatives, there will be some offset, irrespective of whether you grant automatic ticket or not. I granted an interview to New Central TV on Saturday night about the demand for automatic tickets by the federal lawmakers. And I said they need to be very careful. Because when you grant automatic tickets, there are states, there are communities where there is a gentleman's agreement about rotation of power. That, okay, this particular time will produce senator for these 4 years. And then the next 4 years, that senatorial seat will move to another town or another local government or another part of the senatorial district. But if you now give automatic tickets to those who are in APC, it then means that if there is an opposition candidate that is more credible, there could be a political upset in those places, which is why the idea of automatic ticket is not entirely a very good option. But I know that I will be able to do a better forecast after party primaries than I can do because right now a lot is still fussy in terms of political climate. There is still a lot of uncertainty. Also, when party primaries have been held and we know who has emerged as candidates, whether those candidates will be credible enough to win or they will not be credible enough to win, it will then be determined after the party nomination process.
All right, this final one before I let you go. Why the ADC have not outrightly named their candidate, but they have said they might also be considering a consensus candidate? If you want to look at the big wigs we have on the front line, who do you think would be the best pair to give the APC a run for their money?
It will be Peter Obi as the presidential candidate and somebody from the north as a running mate. However, it's not going to be a walk in the park because Peter as a person does not have a pan-Nigeria outlook. He's most popular in the south than in the north. In fact, even when you look at the way he campaigned in 2023, he only campaigned in most of the Christian communities in northern Nigeria. So, like southern Kaduna, like southern Adamawa, southern Borno, where you have Christian population. Because in the core Muslim population in the he has not been accepted because of he tried to romanticize the church. The church should rise up and take back your country. And then he was visiting all the big Pentecostal pastors and all of that. that didn't really make him to be appealing to the northern Muslim. And so he's going to, and now he has lost a lot of ground, even though he still remains their best option. He has lost a lot of ground because all the PDP governors in southern Nigeria have now either defected to APC or in the two states where there are still opposition governors, like in Anambra and in Abia. They have both pledged allegiance to work for Tinubu. So you can see the entire South is now APC. The entire 6 states of South is now APC. The Southeast that is 3 out of 5. The two governors said, yes, we belong to opposition, but we are going to work for Tinubu. So, in fact, Abga has even said that they already have a policy since 2011 to always support the party at the center. So, then where will Obi draw his strength? Is it among the social media obedient movement, many of whom don't have voters card, or many of whom are abroad and cannot vote in diaspora, or many of whom are lost faith in his candidacy and the way he carried himself? So, and if put forward an Atiku Abubakar, there are a number of factors that work against him. It's going to be 82 or 83 by next year. So age is not on his side. And then the point is that it is believed that the southern Nigeria should have 8 years of presidency before it goes to the north. So it's going to be upsetting the apple cart. And he may not have, while he may have a very good showing in northern Nigeria, he may find it difficult to sell his candidacy in the 17 states of southern Nigeria. So for ADC, it's a very dicey, it's a catch-22 situation that I don't think, I think they may best be prepared for 2031 than 2027. Because even
you feel the ADC should rather prepare more for 2031. Don't they have chances in this coming election?
This in 2027 is very unsure. It's unsure because, see, let's be sincere with ourselves. I've been a student of politics. I've followed through the political development in Nigeria. I've been an observer since 1999. That's 27 years. And I think it counts for something. See, to prepare for presidency is not a tea party. Right now, if you look at the trajectory of APC, as of 2013, when APC was registered, it has about five governors. By the end of 2013, the number of governors who have defected from opposition to APC, even when they were in opposition, were about 5 or 7. So by the time APC was running in 2015, they already have majority of the Senate in their kitty, majority of State House of Assembly, majority of House of Reps. Now look at the reverse. With APC, APC was unveiled since June 2025. Even many of the gladiators did not formalize their registration until towards the end of last year. It's just in November 2025 that Atiku went to register in his ward in Adamawa. It's not until last month that Peter Obi went to formalize his registration in Agulu, in his home state in Anambra. So if you believe in your party that much, why did you hesitate? It took you about 5, 6 months, 9 months to formalize your membership of that party. Then that's why they could not control, they could not woo their own state governors to join them in their new party. For instance, Peter could not persuade Chukwuma Soludo to leave Abia to join him. Atiku could not persuade his governor to join him. Aregbesola could not persuade his governor to join him. When you see the way the migration, in fact, do you know why I said Peter Obi should get the ticket? When you look at the single donor, single contributor to ADC today is Peter Obi, because his brother in the Southeast, most of them that defected recently defected to ADC. People like Victor Ume, people like this other governor, this other guy from Anambra. Most of them, in fact, as at the time he went to have a a meeting in Enugu, which was on December 31. There were about 8 or 9 senators who were ready to join ADC.
Yeah.
Atiku has not accepted one single senator from Adamawa or from any other part of the north to the party. So when you look at the contributions of P2OB, for instance, and the fact that he has not only brought the largest number of elected representatives to join ADC, he's also from the south. He already has a name recognition. So he is somebody that can actually give Asiwaju a run for his money. But that's not to say he win the next election.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jideojo, for joining us this morning on the conversation.
My pleasure. Do enjoy your week.
And you
Happy
too.
Easter.
All right. Thank you. All right, and so we just had to let him go. He has some engagement at the moment. Let's open the phone lines and see what we can make from some of the issues we've raised. 0704 1001905 0915 0905905. I take that again. 0704 1001905 or 0915 0905905. Hello. All right, that's from your end. Let's take some of the comments we have. Good morning. Still on PDP convention. Since Wike and Fayoshe have achieved their aim by installing their stewards, the case of PDP and Fayoshe vis-a-vis the 2027 election and beyond is the proverbial okay. Hello.
Good morning, Esther.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Mr. Oshegun from Adokiti.
All right.
I'm at a loss at the type of politics that Wike and Co are playing. And I think Nigerians could see what they are doing. And Wike now is a national leader in PDP.
Yeah.
And he's promoting Tinubu in APC. So I don't know what type of politics that they are playing. And they say the anti-party is open. And you see, one thing, they used to refer to Uncle Bola Ige, that Bola Ige was participated in the governance of Obasanjo. And Obasanjo did not, Bola Ige did not at one moment supported campaign for Obasanjo when he was the minister under Obasanjo presidency. So, and he did not support PDP against AD then. So the type of policy that they are playing now is a very strange something to Nigerians. So thank you.
Thank you for your opinion right there. It said, okay, the proverbial case of selling your relative cheaply, you won't be able to buy them back even at a higher price. It also reflects the selfish and chop-chop nature of Nigerian politics. Ola from Irekite. Thank you so much for your opinion. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good day.
Thank
this
you.
For
all right.
According to Fauci that said, big names do not matter. Big names matter. But one thing with big names, all the people that are crossing to ADC, every one of them want to be the president of this country. That is why the big names, any of them do not want to step down. Like Amechi say, if people have supported him, how many people know Amechi in other parts of the country, in the north, in everywhere? In River State. Wike too is from River State. Those big men, every one of them wants to become the president. Then concerning Fayoshe that they will produce candidates, but it is not going to win. Before saying that, arrangement was been taking place. All the money that person spends will be handed over back to him.
Hopefully.
So I'm not a politician, but I follow politics, even international politics. There's one film in the 80s, swap votes. It's in America. They will need only one vote. Everybody know what it is to that person.
All right.
Yes, everything, so that vote will swap to them. So there are small parties now that are coming up. They will say they will support one big party. They will regain their money back. They are not just doing for nothing. The person that will become the presidential candidate, the money that he has spent, even more than that, will be given to him. They are not losing anything.
All right.
I'm just advising us, we the masses, we should not sit at the corners of our room then be complaining. Let every one of us go out there and vote
Thank
for
you.
your own Messiah. Everybody have a Messiah among them, but my own Messiah is Jehovah Shammah.
Thank you.
Messiah. Go out and go and vote.
Thank you so much for your opinion right there. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, my name is Deacon calling from Atu.
All right, talk to us quickly.
I want to clear for Wike, being the national chairman of PDP.
National leader.
Of PDP. And then being the leader of APC in Rivers. Wike should clap for himself.
All right.
If let him come out 2031, we'll go to vote him.
President. All right, that's your opinion right there. Let's pick this final one. Hello.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is Lion Thomas calling from Ado.
All right, talk to us.
There are some points that our guest made that is not actually correct.
Or does not sit well with you.
There's no any president, there's no any city president, that the people who are now in ADC, the political heavyweights, that will not be a threat to such a sitting president.
Okay.
Those people divided in the last presidential election, and look at the results, each of them, gather together. Now that they are coming together,
you think they are a force?
A particular president will be able to withstand the heat and the defeat.
All right. You doubt it. All right. Thank you so much for your opinion. Owola Folusha, thank you. Jegede Taiwo says, good morning. What I know is that after 8 years of Tinubu, there will be no more APC. Good morning. Tony Bello from Joinkite. We'll be back next time on another edition of Prime Discuss. Until then, I'm asking you to do your own best for your country. Play your part. Go out and vote. Endeavor you have your voter's card. And in the end, we can start to have real conversations about governance this time around. I am Esther Isa.